Chapter 1. Binding the Demon God System. The path of invincibility. Gu Changge traversed into a fantastical realm, binding himself to the Demon God System. Through relentless slaughter, he could effortlessly and brutally enhance his demonic cultivation, acquiring various rare treasures from heaven and earth. Thus began his journey of vengeance, founding the Heavenly Demon Sect and establishing the most formidable demonic power in the world. A decade later, Gu Changge transformed into an ancient demon god, capable of collapsing the very heavens with a mere wave of his hand, slaying gods and Buddha alike. Even the noble and powerful ancestral dragon willingly consented to serve as Gu Changge's mount. In the ancient, quaint residence of the Gu family in Qingzhou, an enraged roar echoed, reminiscent of a hellish demon. To the palace of no extremes, the Heavenly Sword Sect, and the Sacred Spirit Academy, may your celestial boards be cursed. If it were not for you, how could I have fallen to such depths? If given the chance, I shall surely rend you into pieces and scatter your ashes. The young man possessed striking features, yet his hair was disheveled. Particularly alarming were his blood-red eyes, which sent shivers down the spine. His memories seemed to transport him back to the bloody turmoil of 3 years prior. On that fateful day, for so-called righteous sects had united to annihilate him. Tens of thousands of Gu family disciples were mercilessly slaughtered, their wails echoing across the land, rivers of blood flowing. The reason behind this massacre was Gu Changge's extraordinary talent, which incited fear among the four great powers. 16 years ago, he had crossed into the immortal domain of Qingzhou, and on the day of his birth, the heavens roared, and an extraordinary phenomenon emerged, giving rise to the Great Wilderness Divine Body. It was believed that the Gu family would ascend to greatness because of this, but instead, they attracted the wrath of the four powers. Although these four powers prided themselves as righteous sects, they covertly colluded with the Sacred Spirit Academy, capturing Gu Anlin, who was cultivating within the academy, as leverage to coerce the Gu family into submission. Gu Anlin was the biological daughter of the family patriarch, Gu Yuanhong, and also Gu Changge's sister. Gu Changge understood that all of this turmoil stemmed from him. Resolutely, he left the city gates, sacrificing his own cultivation to rescue Gu Anlin and quell the conflict. Ultimately, Lu Ping, the son of the Palace of No Extremes, stripped Gu Changge of his Great Wilderness Divine Body, rendering him utterly powerless. The Gu family lost vast tracts of land and faced sustained oppression from the four great powers, never to regain their former glory. Clenching his fists tightly, his nails digging into flesh, blood dripped onto the ground, yet he remained oblivious to the pain. If in this life I can exact vengeance, I would willingly descend into the depths of the 9 hells. Gu Changge's blood-red eyes glinted with fury as he spoke through gritted teeth. These 3 years had been a living hell for him. Every time he closed his eyes, the gruesome scene from 3 years ago would replay in his mind. Lu Ping had stripped him of his divine body, trampling upon his bloodied form, mocking him as a worthless being. Consumed by boundless rage, Gu Changge vowed that if he could achieve revenge, he would pay any price. Beep. Host's intense desire for vengeance detected. Demon God System is now activating. Demon God System activated. Congratulations, host, for acquiring the supreme technique, the Divine Demon Nirvana Method, and the advanced earthly martial art. Demon God Palm. Host, Gu Changge. Killing value, 0. Demonic cultivation level, none. Technique, Divine Demon Nirvana Method, not yet cultivated. Martial arts ability, Demon God Palm, not yet cultivated. A crisp electronic voice echoed in Gu Changge's ears. Subsequently, a panel of information materialized in his mind. The Demon God System? Has my system arrived? Gu Changge's eyes sparkled with excitement as he spoke fervently. As a transmigrator, he understood the significance of a system. It is no exaggeration to say that with a system, even the most inept can rise to become an unparalleled powerhouse. When the time comes for revenge, wouldn't hope be within reach? Gu Changge suppressed his exhilaration and eagerly inquired, "System, please reveal your functions." The Demon God System is specifically designed to aid the host in vengeance, adhering to the principle of better I betray the world than the world betray me, granting the host demonic powers. By slaying enemies, the host can accumulate killing value, thereby enhancing their demonic cultivation, ultimately transforming into an ancient mad demon, slaughtering the heavens. The system soon responded. Gu Changge's eyes burned with fervor, and his heart raced with excitement. Slaying enemies to gain killing value, which then elevates his demonic cultivation. It appears the Demon God System intends for me to become a demonic cultivator. Although the reputation of demonic cultivators is not particularly favorable, they are bold and unyielding, avenging wrongs without hesitation, infinitely superior to the hypocrites among the 4 major factions. If I can achieve vengeance, what does it matter if I become a demonic cultivator? Gu Changge's eyes narrowed, a sharp glint flashing within. Since heaven has bestowed upon him a chance for retribution, he must seize it at any cost. Please choose whether to begin cultivation of the Divine Demon Nirvana method immediately. Once cultivation commences, the host's dantian will be restored, and the spiritual energy accumulated over the past 3 years will be converted into demonic energy, enhancing the host's demonic cultivation. The system's voice resonated once more, and Gu Change's heart raced. His dantian, which had been crippled for 3 years, could actually be restored. Furthermore, the spiritual energy that had been pent up within him for 3 years due to his shattered dantian could be transformed into demonic cultivation. This demon god system is truly remarkable. It has already bestowed upon him such a grand gift upon binding. System, commence the cultivation of the Divine Demon Nirvana method. Gu Changge sat cross-legged upon his bed, commanding the system, initiating comprehension of the Divine Demon Nirvana method for the host, Buzz. A surge of demonic energy suddenly coursed through Gu Change's body, and soon, the room was filled with a dense aura of demonic energy. A towering mad demon roared towards the heavens, embodying the path of rebirth through nirvana. The path of demonic cultivation encompasses a total of 12 realms, ranging from the initial stages of demonic entry to the realms of human demon, earth demon, heaven demon, profound demon, true demon, demon king, demon emperor, demon sovereign, demon saint, demon emperor, and finally to the ancient mad demon. Each of these stages corresponds with the martial arts realms. To ascend to the pinnacle of demonic cultivation is to transform into the ancient mad demon, capable of annihilating gods and Buddhas alike, and wreaking havoc upon the heavens. Boom. Gu Change's dantian felt as though it was ablaze with fierce flames. A sharp pain surged through him, eliciting a cry of anguish, yet he gritted his teeth, resolutely enduring it. Time passed, though he could not discern its length, when suddenly, a brilliant divine light radiated from his dantian. Had he truly recovered? Moreover, the spiritual energy that had been suppressed for 3 years swiftly transmuted into demonic power, stored within his dantian. Boom. Gu Change's eyes turned pitch black, his entire being suffused with a violent demonic aura, resembling a primal true demon. His proficiency in demonic cultivation began to soar uncontrollably, entering the realm of the demon, human demon, earth demon, and then the initial stage of heaven demon. Heaven demon at full circle. In the blink of an eye, Gu Changge had broken through to the perfected state of heaven demon. The raging demonic energy filled his body, distorting the very fabric of space around him. With a sudden motion, Gu Changge unleashed a palm strike. The might of the demonic god palm erupted, the demonic energy surging forth, wreaking havoc across the skies. Boom. The entire room was instantly reduced to dust, the residual force sweeping outward, leaving the expansive courtyard in utter disarray. Gu Change's eyes gleamed with excitement, his countenance filled with joy. The sensation of power had finally returned to him. From this day forth, Gu Changge would officially embark upon the path of demons. Tianjin Sect, Fengqing Sect, Wujigong, Taniage, and the infamous Holy Spirit Academy, all of you shall await your reckoning. It is only a matter of time before I obliterate you, leaving not a trace behind. Gu Change's eyes turned crimson, his entire being enveloped in demonic energy, resembling a world-destroying demon. Chapter 2. The first discovery of a target for slaughter. Young master, what has happened? Are you all right? The butler, Fu Bo, hurriedly approached, his expression fraught with concern. Gu Changge quickly retracted his aura, causing the violent demonic pressure to dissipate, until he was certain of annihilating the 4 major factions. He could not reveal his identity as a demonic cultivator, otherwise, it would spell disaster for the Gu family. Do not worry, Fu Bo, I am fine. Gu Changge replied with a light-hearted smile. Fu Bo was momentarily taken aback, unable to believe his eyes, for it had been a long time since he had seen a smile on the young master's face. What could have transpired today to elicit such joy? As Fu Bo's gaze fell upon the ruins scattered throughout the courtyard, his face froze in shock, and he asked in astonishment, Young master, what happened to this courtyard? Cough, cough, it was merely an earthquake. Do not panic. Gu Changge coughed lightly, casually providing an excuse to deflect the inquiry. Upon hearing this, Fu Bo furrowed his brow in suspicion. He gazed towards the other courtyards, only to discover a scene of tranquility, save for the desolation that had befallen the young master's courtyard. Fu Bo's puzzled gaze once more settled upon Gu Changge. It was merely a localized earthquake. What is so strange about that? Gu Changge replied nonchalantly, her eyes glimmering as her heart remained unperturbed. A localized earthquake? Such a notion exists? It appeared that the old servant had indeed read too little. Furrowing his brow, Fu Bo felt a sense of incredulity wash over him. Fu Bo, please arrange for someone to restore my courtyard. Considering the time, today should be the day of the family banquet, correct? Gu Changge seemed to have recalled something. And with that, she stepped towards the courtyard's exit. At the Gu family's main hall, a grand banquet was being laid out. The Gu family had a tradition of holding an annual family banquet. The family head, Gu Yuanhong, along with his wife, Luo Yingtong, were in attendance, as were their 3 children. Following them were the 3 elders and their offspring. At the forefront, the family head Gu Yuanhong donned a long robe and a resplendent crown, exuding an air of dignified authority. Beside him stood a graceful woman, her skin as smooth as jade and her features exquisite. She was Gu Changge's mother, Luo Yingtong. Next in line were the 3 elders, followed by the younger generation of the Gu family, led by the second son, Gu Changge, and the third miss, Gu Anlin. Will elder brother be attending this year? Gu Anlin, clad in a flowing purple gauze gown, though still young, had already blossomed into a graceful figure. At that moment, she gazed towards the entrance of the hall, her beautiful eyes filled with a mixture of guilt and hope. 3 years prior, had it not been for her words, elder brother would not have discarded his own cultivation. Upon noticing her daughter's expression, Luo Yingtong's face similarly reflected a tinge of sorrow. Her eldest son, Gu Changge, had once been the subject of everyone's admiration, yet now he had become a figure of ridicule among the great powers, reduced to a mere shell of his former self. As a mother, she was acutely aware of the hardships Gu Changge had endured over these 3 years. The tip of her nose tinged with bitterness. Her eyes glistened with unshed tears, her heart pricked as if by needles. Yingtong, do not dwell on such thoughts. As long as the children are safe, that is enough. Gu Yuanhong comforted, pulling Luo Yingtong into his embrace. The passage of these 3 years had aged him considerably, strands of white now peppering his hair. My husband. After the family banquet, I intend to return to the Luo family. Perhaps they possess a means to restore Changge's dantian, Luo Yingtong declared resolutely. Gu Yuanhong's brow furrowed. Given the Luo family's callousness, how could they possibly assist in restoring Changge's dantian? Yet, denying Luo Yingtong's wish would only lead to her discontent. Master, madam, please take care of your health. Our Gu family is in a precarious situation. Should anything happen to you, the Gu family would be in dire straits, urged the 3 elders, expressing their concern to Gu Yuanhong and Luo Yingtong. Father, mother, it is all my fault. If it weren't for me, elder brother would not be in this predicament. Gu Anlin lamented, her cheeks wet with tears, her heart aching as if it were being torn apart. Sister San, you need not burden yourself with excessive guilt. When heaven bestows great responsibilities upon an individual, it is only natural to first temper their resolve and strengthen their sinews. I firmly believe that brother will not fall so easily. Gu Changge, clad in elegant white, spoke with an air of scholarly grace. The sentiments regarding Gu Changge among the assembly were difficult to articulate. In this flourishing realm of martial prowess, he paradoxically found solace in literature. At that moment, the sound of footsteps resonated from outside the grand hall. The gazes of the crowd instinctively turned, just in time to behold Gu Changge approaching with a smile. Dressed in resplendent attire and adorned with a fragrant pouch at his waist, he strode into the hall with an unhurried demeanor. Be brother. Gu Anlin stood frozen, as if caught in a dream. The expressions of all present at the banquet were frozen in astonishment as they gazed at Gu Changge. The eldest son had indeed graced the gathering with his presence, and his countenance radiated joy. Time seemed to rewind to 3 years prior. Xiaolon, you are no longer a child. Stop crying, Gu Changge chided gently, shaking his head before tenderly wiping away the tears from Gu Anlin's cheeks. Brother, I, Gu Anlin, feel an overwhelming sense of guilt and find it difficult to face you, she confessed. Yet Gu Changge merely smiled softly, ruffling her hair. It is all in the past. As long as you are safe, I am content. Gu Anlin gazed at him with her watery eyes, vowing to cultivate diligently, determined never to allow her brother to suffer harm again. If fortune permitted, she would seek celestial treasures to restore his dantian. Beside them, Gu Changge chuckled. I told you so, brother is not one to fall easily. Ah, indeed, you are the clever one, Gu Changge grinned. Let us see who can outdrink whom this time. Is that so? I recall a certain someone who, as a child, I outdrank, only to find him sprawled in a pigsty, reeking of filth the next day. The memory is still vivid, Gu Changge teased with a laugh. Can we perhaps refrain from recounting my childhood embarrassments? Gu Changge's face flushed crimson, embarrassment evident. Laughter erupted. The warm and carefree atmosphere reminiscent of 3 years ago enveloping the banquet once more. Gu Yuanhong, thoroughly intoxicated, reveled in the joy he hadn't experienced in ages. He felt an illusion wash over him, as if the confident and proud Gu Changge of yore had returned. As the family banquet concluded, the guests departed with satisfaction. Gu Changge's courtyard remained unfinished, necessitating a temporary relocation. Inside the room, Gu Changge sat cross-legged, emanating a turbulent aura of demonic energy. At one moment, he exhaled a breath of murky air, his eyes suddenly snapping open, flashing with 2 dark glimmers. He had reached the pinnacle of the heavenly demon realm. just one step away from breaking through to the profound demon realm. Since fate has bestowed upon me an opportunity for vengeance, I shall seize it with utmost determination. This time, I will safeguard my family and ensure that you, the so-called righteous sects, experience the despair I once endured. Clad in a dark robe, Gu Changge enveloped himself within its shadows. Subsequently, he transformed into a fleeting silhouette, slipping out through the back door of the Gu residence. Gu Changge prepared to engage in real combat, with the ideal location being the Cloud Mist mountain range. This mountain range, the largest in Qingzhou, spans nearly a third of its territory. Within the depths of a dense forest, Gu Changge unleashed a powerful strike, channeling the demon god palm to its zenith, unleashing a torrent of demonic energy that caused the very earth to tremble. A fifth-level entry-level demon beast before him was obliterated into a crimson mist, with no hesitation whatsoever. Demon beasts are classified from levels 1 to 12, with fifth-level beasts on par with the profound demon realm. By harnessing earthly-level martial arts, Gu Changge, at the Heavenly Demon realm, annihilated the fifth-level beast, showcasing the terrifying might of demonic power. He collected the beast's core, a satisfied smile gracing his lips. Indeed, demonic energy is far more ferocious than spiritual energy. In a confrontation of equal realms, no martial cultivator would stand a chance against me. The strongest of the four major factions reaches the reincarnation realm, equivalent to the demon sovereign realm, and once I attain the demon emperor realm, I will be able to contend with them. To the four major factions and the Sacred Spirit Academy, prepare yourselves. With blood-red eyes, Gu Changge felt the demonic energy within him surge, exuding the power to annihilate all. The martial arts realms are divided into body refinement, earth origin, heaven origin, core formation, nirvana, divine concealment, creation, ascension, reincarnation, life and death, emperor and holy emperor. To confront the four major factions, Gu Changge must possess strength equal to the reincarnation realm. With the ferocity of demonic power, he could achieve the demon emperor realm. Hurry! That sound of battle just now emanated from the forest ahead. If I am not mistaken, that aura belonged to a fifth-level demon beast. If we hurry, we may reap the benefits. Outside the forest, a dozen young individuals clad in uniform attire raced forward, all at the core formation realm, corresponding to Gu Changge's heavenly demon realm, the people of the Wujigong. After breaking through to the heavenly demon realm, Gu Changge's senses became exceedingly sharp, allowing him to immediately recognize the identities of these youths. Wujigong is one of the four major factions, and their divine son, Lu Ping, had even stolen Gu Changge's Great Wilderness Divine Body. This debt of blood cannot be forgotten. Ding! Revenge target detected. The host can obtain 840 slaughter points upon their massacre, along with additional rewards. Host, Gu Changge, slaughter points, 0, demonic cultivation, perfect heavenly demon realm, requires 700 slaughter points to break through to the profound demon realm. Kill. With blood-red eyes, Gu Changge's demonic energy erupted violently, the overwhelming power teetering on the brink of losing control. Chapter 3. Breaking through the abyss of demonic realms. A surge of rewards 12 figures swiftly swept forward, their passage accompanied by the piercing sound of slicing winds. Warriors of the Tianyuan realm could soar through the skies, while those in the Jedon realm moved through the air as if treading upon solid ground, traversing vast distances in the blink of an eye. Confronted by the disciples of the Wuji Palace, Gu Changge stood resolute, his blood-red eyes glaring defiantly at them. This aura, are you a demonic cultivator? Could it be that this fifth-level beast was slain by this demon? To have vanquished a fifth-level beast, has this demon already attained the abyss of demonic realms? Upon their arrival, the disciples of Wuji Palace were momentarily stunned, their expressions grave. All were at the Jedon level, merely equivalent to the Tianma realm of the demonic path, a tier beneath the abyss of demonic realms. Demonic cultivators are known for their bloodthirsty nature, and they must be eradicated. As members of a righteous sect, we cannot allow this fiend to escape. Moreover, with our 12 united, even the most formidable demon can be confronted. Why should we fear him? Once we slay this monster, we shall be hailed as heroes, and rewards will surely follow upon our return. The leading disciple gripped a large blade, unleashing the full force of his Jedon cultivation, causing the surrounding void to tremble with explosive energy. My brother is right. If we eliminate this fiend, bountiful rewards await us all. The remaining 11 disciples summoned their weapons, their cultivation energies surging forth to encircle Gu Changge. Righteous sect? Huh, a congregation of hypocrites. Beneath his black robe, Gu Changge's voice dripped with icy scorn. The four major factions boast of their righteousness, yet when they besieged the Gu family, they shamelessly resorted to using a 9-year-old girl as a hostage to force their surrender. This is the so-called righteous sect, a mere assembly of sanctimonious hypocrites. Do you dare insult the Wuji Palace? You seek death. Charge. The leading disciple advanced, his jet-on pressure crashing down, the blade's light and shadow aimed at Gu Changge. The other disciples of Wuji Palace joined the fray, unleashing a terrifying assault that shook the very mountains and forests. You shall all perish today. Gu Change's eyes blazed crimson, the power of the demonic path erupting violently, its dark energy flooding the entire forest. Bang! The onslaught of the 12 Wuji Palace disciples unexpectedly froze in midair. The demonic might unleashed by Gu Changge was overwhelming, although he was merely at the Tianma realm. His power rivaled that of the abyss of demonic realms. How is this possible? How can his demonic energy be so fearsome? It is as if an ancient demon has awakened. When did Qingzhou give rise to a demonic cultivator of such pure bloodline? We are no match for him. Retreat quickly and report to the palace master, requesting the sect's intervention to eliminate him. The disciples of Wuji Palace exerted all their strength, but could not contend with Gu Changge. Left with no choice, they prepared to withdraw. Attempt to flee? I have declared that all from Wuji Palace must perish. Gu Changge suddenly struck, his claws sharp and swift as lightning. Alas, as his claws descended, the leading disciple let out a harrowing scream. His neck was gruesomely severed, and his head rolled away. With a single step, Gu Changge crushed the disciple's head into a mist of blood, while his body was violently torn asunder. The air was thick with the acrid scent of blood. Cackling. All those from the Wuji Palace deserved to perish. The demonic energy within Gu Changge surged uncontrollably, invigorated by the bloodshed, as he charged forth once more. Master, brother is dead. Demon, you are a demon. Run. The remaining 11 disciples turned pale with terror, hastily retreating in disarray. Demon Goddess Palm. Gu Changge unleashed a mighty blow, the demonic energy raging like a tempest, transforming into an unparalleled demon. The colossal demonic hand descended from the heavens. With a thunderous crash, the entire forest was reduced to dust. The 11 disciples of Wuji Palace were instantaneously crushed into a pool of blood, not even a scream escaping their lips. Ding! Congratulations, host, for slaying 12 enemies at the core formation stage. Earning 840 slaughter points. Host, Gu Changge, slaughter points, 840. Demonic cultivation, perfected celestial demon realm, requires 700 slaughter points to break through to the profound demon realm. Shall the host immediately advance to the profound demon realm? Gu Changge, drenched in blood, reveled in the ecstasy of vengeance. What of being possessed by the demonic? As long as he could exact revenge, he would gladly pay any price, even with his life. Moreover, even as a practitioner of the demonic arts, he was infinitely superior to those hypocritical righteous pretenders. System. Initiate the breakthrough to the profound demon realm. Gu Changge commanded with piercing intensity. Boom. The demonic energy within Gu Changge erupted violently, warping the very space within a radius of several dozen miles. Simultaneously, his demonic cultivation ascended, leaping into the profound demon realm. Gu Changge transitioned from being devoid of cultivation to the profound demon realm in a mere span of 10 days. The sensation of his power surging was immensely gratifying. Ding! As this is the host's first completion of a system revenge task, a significant reward is granted. Congratulations, host, for acquiring the supreme immortal weapons, Ganjiang and Moxia. Continuing to complete revenge tasks will allow for weapon upgrades. Congratulations, host, for obtaining a high-tier swordsmanship technique. One sword determines life and death. Congratulations, host, for acquiring a high-tier movement technique. Demonic wave soul, severing step. The system's voice resonated within his mind, and 2 swords emanating blood-red demonic energy materialized before him. They were indeed the famed demonic swords, Ganjiang and Moxia. Starting at the grade of immortal weapons, if they were to be upgraded further, could they not reach the status of divine artifacts? Gu Changge's expression was one of fervent excitement. Weapons were classified into 6 grades: magical artifacts, spiritual artifacts, precious artifacts, immortal artifacts, divine artifacts, and imperial artifacts. The celestial artifacts have become exceedingly rare, with only the core elders of the 4 major factions possessing them. As for divine weapons, they are considered the treasured heirlooms of first-rate powers. Imperial artifacts, however, are exclusively found within superlative forces. For instance, the Gu family possesses but a single divine weapon: the Great Wilderness Divine Spear wielded by the family head, Gu Yuanhong. Gu Changge suppressed the excitement within him and proceeded to examine the other 2 rewards. The system has automatically initiated the cultivation of the newly acquired martial arts abilities for the host. As Gu Changge opened the information panel, the system's voice echoed forth. How splendid indeed. Gu Changge smiled with satisfaction. Subsequently, he began to channel the demonic energy within him into the dual swords, Ganjiang, and Moi. The two demonic blades awakened as if by a divine call, their blood-red malevolence soaring into the heavens. At that moment, Gu Changge swung the twin swords with great force. One sword to determine life and death. The crimson blade slashed forth with a ferocity that spanned over 1,000 zhang, instantly obliterating a mountain in its path. This strike was sufficient to vanquish any opponent of equal cultivation level. Even against those in the nirvana realm above, Gu Changge harbored confidence in his ability to contend. The high-tier celestial grade swordsmanship truly exuded an overwhelming power. Gu Changge remarked with a satisfied smile. Since embarking on the path of demonic cultivation, his strength had surged at a visible pace. At this rate, retribution against the four major factions would soon be within his grasp. With this thought, a fierce glint flickered in his eyes. He then activated the demonic wave soul severing step, manifesting demonic runes upon his feet, surging with mighty waves of demonic energy. As Gu Changge moved, his figure vanished from sight, akin to a phantom. The path he traversed erupted with terrifying demonic might, wielding immense destructive power. This demonic wave soul severing step, as a high-tier celestial grade movement technique, not only enhanced his agility, but also unleashed such formidable offensive capabilities. Just imagine, if faced with a formidable pursuer, this onslaught would undoubtedly pose significant challenges for them. Moreover, should Gu Changge desire to ambush an opponent, he could execute it with utmost ease. This technique was nothing short of a game-changer. Wuji Palace, prepare yourselves. Despair shall soon be your fate. Gu Changge declared with a menacing aura. With the demonic god system at his disposal, the day of vengeance would swiftly arrive. Chapter 4. Seizing the Phoenix Blood Immortal Herb. Little Lon in grave peril within the mountain range, Gu Changge gripped the two demonic swords. Standing atop the remains of dismembered corpses, they were disciples of the Tianjian sect, who had come to the Yunwu mountain range for training, only to encounter Gu Changge and meet a tragic end. Over the past 3 months, whenever he found the time, Gu Changge would venture into the Yunwu mountain range. Whenever he discovered disciples of the four major factions, he would strike them down mercilessly. However, the disciples training in the Yunwu mountain range were predominantly at cultivation levels below the nirvana realm. The demonic god system only granted a token amount of slaughter value for repeatedly slaying foes of equal cultivation. In the span of 3 months, Gu Changge had slain no fewer than 200 disciples from the four major factions, yet his slaughter value remained at a mere 1,200. Host, Gu Changge, Demonic Path Cultivation, Entry-Level Xuanmo Realm. To break through to minor accomplishment of Xuanmo Realm requires 900 slaughter points. Slaughter value, 1340. Technique, Divine Demon Nirvana Art. Martial Arts Abilities. One sword determines life and death. Demon Wave Severing Soul Step, Demon God Palm. Weapons, Ganjiang, Emosia. It appeared that to expedite the enhancement of his demonic path cultivation, he must eradicate the inner disciples of the four major factions or targets such as elders and stewards. Gu Changge sheathed his two demonic swords, pondering within. Subsequently, he commanded the system, elevate my demonic path cultivation to minor accomplishment of Xuanmo Realm. Boom. The demonic energy within Gu Changge's dantian surged explosively, directly breaking through to minor accomplishment of the Xuanmo Realm. Host, Gu Changge, Demonic Path Cultivation, Minor Accomplishment of Xuanmo Realm. To break through to major accomplishment of Xuanmo Realm requires 1,200 slaughter points. Slaughter value, 440. Each major realm is further divided into 4 sub-realms. Entry level, minor accomplishment, major accomplishment, and perfection. To transcend into the true demon realm, Gu Changge would need to traverse 2 sub-realms. The true demon realm is comparable to the divine concealment realm in the martial path. Those who attain the divine concealment realm are already considered powerful and can serve as outer elders or inner stewards within first-rate factions. Let the slaughter continue. Perhaps he might encounter inner disciples or stewards from the 4 major factions. Gu Changge's figure flickered and he vanished from his original position. Meanwhile, deep within the mountains, a graceful figure approached alone. It was Gu Anlin, the 3rd young lady of the Gu family. At merely 12 years of age, Gu Anlin had already achieved major accomplishment in the Nirvana realm. During her time at the Sacred Spirit Academy, her exceptional talent earned her the title of a quasi-saintess, making her the prime candidate for the role of saintess. However, the Sacred Spirit Academy, driven by selfish desires, had secretly accepted benefits from the 4 major factions, even going so far as to surrender Gu Anlin as a means to coerce the Gu family into submission. It is said that within the depths of the Yunwu Mountains, a precious herb is coming to fruition. I must find it for my elder brother. Gu Anlin's beautiful eyes sparkled with determination as she hastened deeper into the mountains. The depths of the Yunwu Mountains are home to 5th-level magical beasts, and generally, disciples from the four major factions dare not venture forth lightly. Gu Changge's solitary journey was fraught with peril. Along the way, she dispatched 3 fifth-level magical beasts before finally arriving at the entrance of a cave. The cave emanated a blood-red glow, accompanied by the enticing fragrance of a precious herb wafting through the air. Could this aura belong to the phoenix blood immortal herb? A flicker of fervor ignited in Gu Changge's beautiful eyes. It is said that the phoenix blood immortal herb is nourished by the blood of the phoenix, absorbing the essence of heaven and earth, and takes 5,000 years to yield a single stalk. It possesses remarkable healing properties for severe injuries. If my elder brother were to refine the phoenix blood immortal herb, perhaps his dantian could be restored? The more Gu Changge contemplated, the more exhilarated she became. If she could obtain the phoenix blood immortal herb, then her journey would not have been in vain. However, she was aware that such invaluable treasures were typically guarded by formidable beasts, which deterred her from recklessly entering the cave. Gu Changge summoned a sword, its rank having reached that of a precious artifact. Subsequently, she channeled her internal spiritual energy, continuously infusing it into the sword, readying herself for battle at a moment's notice. Having completed these preparations, she finally stepped into the cave. Inside, a blood-like crimson glow filled the space, and there, amidst the spiritual pool, grew the naturally formed phoenix blood immortal herb. It was indeed the phoenix blood immortal herb. Gu Changge's expression brightened with joy, and she gracefully moved forward, positioning herself before the herb. Just as she extended her hand to grasp it, a furious roar echoed from behind her. Quickly turning around, Gu Changge clutched the phoenix blood immortal herb tightly. Before her stood a towering purple-winged lion king, measuring a full 10 meters in height. A 6th-level perfected purple-winged lion king. Gu Changge's face turned pale. She had never anticipated that the phoenix blood immortal herb was guarded by a 6th-level beast. With her mere nirvana realm cultivation, even with all her might, she could not possibly contend with a 6th-level purple-winged lion king. Shameless human. Release my phoenix blood immortal herb at once. The purple-winged lion king bellowed, speaking in human language. Gu Changge gritted her teeth fiercely, declaring, "This phoenix blood immortal herb is mine. You shall not take it from me. You seek death," roared the purple-winged lion king as it swiped its paw, unleashing a fierce gale that caused the entire cave to erupt in an explosion. Boom. The terrifying aftermath swept outward, the colossal noise resonating even 100 miles away. In the surrounding mountains, Gu Changge, who had been resting, was abruptly awakened. This presence, it was the 6th-level purple-winged lion king. Gu Changge stood up, his eyes ablaze with fervor. His demonic cultivation did not solely rely on slaughtering enemies to ascend. Refining celestial treasures or the cores of powerful beasts could also facilitate breakthroughs. However, in the periphery of the mountains, the highest-level beasts rarely exceeded 5th level, rendering their cores somewhat inconsequential. Yet this 6th-level purple-winged lion king would undoubtedly be of great benefit to Gu Changge. With my Xuanmo realm strength, I am more than capable of dealing with a 6th-level beast. Kill. The demonic energy within Gu Changge erupted, his eyes turning crimson, and he vanished from his original spot. Deep within the misty mountain range, a graceful figure was propelled backward, blood spewing forth, her body drenched in crimson, clothes tattered. Human, do you now comprehend the might of this king? A mere nirvana realm dares to covet my phoenix blood immortal herb? Truly foolish. Once I devour you, it will surely be a grand feast. Ha ha ha. The purple-winged lion king spread its wings, instantly darkening the sky. An overwhelming aura of lion majesty pressing down upon them. Gu Changge was enveloped by the formidable aura of the purple-winged lion, the very space around her contorting and warping. Her limbs seemingly retracting as if they were about to be crushed into a sanguine pulp. Her mind grew foggy, consciousness fading. Yet her hands clung tenaciously to the phoenix blood immortal herb. Elder brother, I am sorry. It is my inadequacy that has prevented me from bringing the phoenix blood immortal herb back to you. Tears glistened in her beautiful eyes, dampening her cheeks. In her hazy mind, the gentle visage of her elder brother, Gu Changge, materialized. Chapter 5. Slaying the Purple-Winged Lion King. Achieving perfection in the Xuanmo realm, a fearsome roar echoed as the Purple-Winged Lion King swiftly approached, its immense wings casting a shadow over the entire sky. The ferocious aura descended, rendering Gu Changge pallid, blood spilling from her lips. Pitiful human, submit and become my sustenance. Ha ha ha. The Lion King opened its cavernous maw, intent on devouring Gu Changge. Suddenly, a ghostly figure appeared, causing the surrounding void to erupt. Clad in a flowing black robe, it was Gu Changge. Shaolong. What is happening? Beast, how dare you? Gu Changge stood momentarily stunned, for the figure lying in a pool of blood was none other than his own sister. Gu Changge, another insignificant ant? Hee hee, once I consume this little girl, I shall deal with you. The purple-winged Lion King dismissed Gu Changge entirely, its gaping maw lunging toward Gu Anlin. You seek death. With a roar, Gu Changge's eyes turned crimson as the demonic energy within him erupted, transforming him into a formidable demon. The twin demonic swords, Ganjiang and Moi, flew forth, grasped tightly in his hands. The chaotic energy surged relentlessly into the blades. What? A demon cultivator? Such terrifying demonic might. What manner of being are you? The purple-winged Lion King's expression shifted drastically, sensing the impending aura of death emanating from Gu Changge. One strike to determine life and death. Gu Changge bellowed in fury, swinging the twin swords with ferocity. The blood-red blade cleaved through the heavens, stretching thousands of feet, casting a crimson shroud over the once clear sky. Boom. The fabric of space began to warp before collapsing violently. The vast expanse of hundreds of miles fell under the onslaught of the blood-red strike, shattering the purple-winged Lion King's offensive instantly, crushing it mercilessly. No, human, spare me. I am willing to submit to you. The Lion King's anguished cries pierced the air as its once iron-like body cracked like a spider's web, flesh and blood intertwining grotesquely. You are unworthy of life. Die. The image of Gu Anlin, drenched in blood, ignited a burning rage within Gu Changge. With that, the colossal sword strike descended violently, as if the very heavens were fracturing. Boom. The deafening roar reverberated, causing the mountains within hundreds of miles to tremble incessantly. The system's voice resonated in Gu Changge's mind. The purple-winged lion has harmed the host's younger sister and is thus designated as a target for vengeance. Upon successfully slaying the purple-winged lion, he received a reward of 500 kill points and an advanced martial arts technique, the divine elephant suppressing prison force. After the purple-winged lion was annihilated, the voice of the system echoed in Gu Changge's consciousness. Was the purple-winged lion truly marked for revenge? After vanquishing it, he directly obtained 500 kill points. Gu Anlin, gravely injured, struggled to open her eyes. In her blurred vision, she perceived a shadow clad in black robes, a figure that seemed somewhat familiar. Ultimately, she could no longer endure and succumbed to unconsciousness. Gu Changge stowed away the beast core of the purple-winged lion and swiftly turned to Gu Anlin. Xiaolon, his gaze fell upon her, and the sight of her distressing wounds pierced his heart like 1,000 needles. Had he arrived just a moment later, Gu Anlin would have been devoured by the purple-winged lion. Was that the phoenix blood immortal herb? Had Xiaolon ventured deep into the mountains for his sake? Gu Changge furrowed his brow, fixated on the phoenix blood immortal herb clutched in Gu Anlin's hand. This miraculous healing herb was undoubtedly sought after by her to mend his damaged dantian, even in the face of death. His third sister held onto the herb with unwavering determination. Gu Changge felt a surge of emotion, mingled with profound sorrow. For 3 years, Gu Anlin had harbored resentment towards him, living in a state of guilt while shouldering the burdens of the Gu family. Why are you so foolish, my dear sister? I have never blamed you. So what if my cultivation was crippled and my divine body taken? I am not so easily defeated. What does not belong to them shall never be theirs, and one day, he would make them pay for their transgressions. Gu Changge gritted his teeth, a cold glint of murderous intent flashing in his eyes. He then produced a pill, administering it to Gu Anlin. As the eldest son of the Gu family, he possessed ample resources in medicinal pills. After feeding her the pill, he infused her with internal energy to aid her in refining and absorbing it. Once all was accomplished, he finally exhaled in relief. Gu Anlin's life was secured. At that moment, the sound of hurried footsteps echoed, a cacophony of urgency. This is sheer madness. How could Xiaolon, merely at the nirvana stage, venture deep into the mountains alone? Search. Find her at once. Gu Yuanhong's anxious and furious voice resounded. If anything happens to Xiaolon, I shall risk my life to ensure that the beasts within these mountains pay dearly. The 3 elders of the Gu family, 10 stewards, and over 100 core disciples all converged upon the mountain range to conduct an exhaustive search. Gu Changge furrowed his brow, sensing the presence of his father, Gu Yuanhong, and he subsequently exhaled in relief. Without further delay, he deftly employed the demon wave soul severing step, swiftly making his way toward the outskirts of the mountains. Gu Yuanhong was a formidable being of the reincarnation realm. Should he draw near, Gu Changge's identity could be jeopardized. Until he was absolutely certain of vanquishing the 4 major factions, Gu Changge would not easily reveal his identity as a practitioner of demonic arts. Otherwise, should such information leak, it would undoubtedly spell disaster for the entire Gu family. Master, the 3rd young lady is here. A steward from the Gu family spotted Gu Anlin, prompting Gu Yuanhong and the others to rush over in haste. Within the antiquated and elegant chambers of the Gu family, Gu Changge sat cross-legged, his information panel materializing before him. Host, Gu Changge, Demonic cultivation level. Minor accomplishment in the profound demon realm. To advance to major accomplishment requires 1200 slaughter points. Slaughter points. 1940. Upon noting that he possessed sufficient slaughter points for an upgrade, Gu Changge wasted no time and commanded the system, elevate my demonic cultivation to major accomplishment in the profound demon realm. Boom. The demonic energy within Gu Changge surged explosively, rapidly intensifying and breaking through to the major accomplishment in the profound demon realm. After achieving this breakthrough, Gu Changge did not pause. He retrieved all the beast cores he had collected over the past 3 months. In total, there were more than 30 beast cores, with the highest grade being the core of the purple-winged Lion King. Gu Changge activated the divine demon nirvana technique, and the terrifying demonic energy began to devour the beast cores. Refined a level 4 iron-horned rhinoceros beast core, gained 12 slaughter points. Refined a level 5 long-armed ape beast core, gained 33 slaughter points. Refined a level 6 purple-winged Lion King beast core, gained 90 slaughter points. Host, Gu Changge. Demonic cultivation level. Major accomplishment in the profound demon realm. To advance to perfection requires 1500 slaughter points. Slaughter points, 1640. After refining the 30-plus beast cores, Gu Changge accumulated a total of 900 slaughter points. Coupled with the previously remaining 740 slaughter points, his total reached 1,640. Continue to enhance my demonic cultivation. Gu Changge instructed without hesitation. Power was of utmost importance. Only by elevating his cultivation could he unleash his desire for slaughter. Boom. Gu Change's demonic cultivation surged once more, directly breaking through to perfection in the profound demon realm, now just a step away from the true demon realm. Chapter 6. The Body Cultivation Martial Art. Divine Elephant Suppressing Prison Technique. Refining Phoenix Blood, Immortal Herb. Once his cultivation was solidified, Gu Changge began to examine the newly acquired body cultivation martial art, the Divine Elephant Suppressing Prison Technique. Gu Changge had already mastered swordsmanship and agility techniques, but he lacked a body cultivation martial art. This Divine Elephant Suppressing Prison Technique was an advanced martial art of heavenly rank, promising to significantly enhance his physical prowess upon cultivation. In that moment, whether in agility or physical form, Gu Changge could effortlessly overpower martial cultivators of the same realm. And even combat across realms posed no challenge. With a mere thought, a surge of ferocious power awakened within him. A colossal elephant materialized behind Gu Changge, surrounded by radiant divine rings, as an explosive force erupted from its being. The terrifying power of the divine elephant filled Gu Changge, his flesh radiating a blinding divine light, intermittently accompanied by the sound of thunderous explosions. With a firm grip of his fists, the power of the divine elephant erupted, warping the very fabric of space. Before the might of the colossal elephant, the entire room trembled perilously, showing signs of impending collapse. The divine elephant suppression technique was divided into 4 stages. The initial stage was the power of the colossal elephant, followed by the power of the primordial elephant, the power of the mystical elephant, and finally, the power of the divine elephant. Presently, Gu Changge resided at the stage of the colossal elephant. It was no wonder that such a heavenly-level martial art was so formidable, even at its initial stage. Should he cultivate to the level of the divine elephant, one could only imagine the cataclysmic force he could unleash. A slight smile graced Gu Changge's lips, a reflection of his satisfaction. Just then, hurried footsteps echoed from outside the room. "Young master, it's bad. Third miss is in trouble," exclaimed Uncle Fu, his expression fraught with anxiety. Gu Changge's face remained impassive. He had anticipated this turn of events. Fortunately, he had swiftly tended to Xiao Lan's injuries, and with his father and others arriving soon, her wounds should be healed shortly. With a creak, Gu Changge opened the door, immediately encountering the anxious visage of Uncle Fu. "What has happened to Xiao Lan?" Gu Changge feigned ignorance, inquiring. "Well, young master, Third Miss ventured alone into the mountains for training and has sustained severe injuries," Uncle Fu replied, his eyes shifting nervously, nearly betraying the truth. Uncle Fu refrained from revealing the full reality, likely due to his father's instructions, fearing that Gu Changge would feel guilt upon learning the truth, especially since Xiao Lan had ventured deep into the misty mountains in search of a precious herb for him. "I shall see for myself," Gu Changge stated expressionlessly, hastily departing. Uncle Fu sighed in relief. However, just as he turned to follow Gu Changge, the room behind him suddenly collapsed with a thunderous roar. "What on earth? Another localized earthquake?" It seems the young master spoke the truth. Such phenomena truly exist. Uncle Fu turned, his aged face filled with astonishment as he gazed at the ruins of the room, muttering to himself. Meanwhile, at the courtyard where Xiao Lan was located, her mother, Luo Yingtong, her second brother Gu Changge, and 3 elders anxiously gathered outside the door. "Long Gu is here," announced Elder Gu Changge. Everyone turned their attention toward Gu Changge. Elder brother, Gu Changge called out, his expression grave. Gu Changge nodded, then stepped forward to pay his respects to the three elders. There was no need for excessive formalities. The expressions of the three elders were complex. They dared not disclose the truth to Gu Changge. Mother, how is my younger sister now? Gu Changge inquired as he approached his mother. Although Luo Yingtong felt anxious, she maintained a gentle tone as she replied, Changge, you need not worry. Your father is inside, tending to Xiaolan's injuries. She will be fine. Indeed, Changge. Xiaolan must have received the assistance of a powerful figure in the mountains. When we found her, she possessed a surge of true energy and several medicinal properties that protected her meridians, the elder remarked with a sense of fortune. It is truly fortunate that Xiaolan encountered a 6th-level purple-winged lion king. Without that powerful figure's assistance, she would have faced dire peril. Little did they know that the so-called powerful figure was, in fact, Gu Changge himself. After 6 hours of waiting outside the door to Xiaolan's room finally opened. Gu Yuanhong, with graying hair and a somewhat haggard countenance, emerged and forced a smile, saying, Xiaolan is fine. There is no need for anyone to worry. Seeing her father in such a weary state stirred feelings of unease within Gu Changge. So much had transpired over the past 3 years. First, Gu Changge had his cultivation crippled and his divine body taken. Then the Gu family faced oppression from the 4 major forces, with their territorial borders being incessantly encroached upon. The overall strength of the Gu family was on the verge of falling out of the ranks of elite powers in Qingzhou. All the pressure and burdens rested on Gu Yuanhong's shoulders. A determined light flickered in Gu Changge's eyes. He vowed to grow swiftly and share the burdens with his father. As everyone entered the room, they found Xiaolan lying on the bed, tightly clutching the phoenix blood immortal mushroom. Fortunately, her complexion had improved, and her breathing had become steady. Gu Changge gazed at the phoenix blood immortal mushroom in Xiaolan's grasp, feeling deeply moved. He swore to protect his sister and his family for life, ensuring they would never suffer harm again. Suddenly, Xiaolan emitted a soft cough. No, I cannot die. My elder brother is still waiting for me, she exclaimed, abruptly opening her eyes to see Luo Yingtong, Gu Changge, and others before her. Mother, elder brother, I am not dead. No, someone save me. It was that man in the black robe. Gu Anlin recalled vividly, initially believing she was dreaming, but now it seemed all too real. The man in the black robe? From what I witnessed, that purple-winged lion king was slain with a single strike. That figure's power must be at least at the divine concealment realm. If only we could ascertain his identity, I would be grateful to repay him. Gu Yuanhong spoke with solemnity. Gu Changge maintained a calm demeanor, revealing no hint of his involvement. Elder brother, this phoenix blood immortal mushroom is for you. I stumbled upon it during my training, and I believe it will be of great use to you. Gu Anlin promptly presented the phoenix blood immortal mushroom, deliberately concealing the truth to spare Gu Changge any feelings of guilt. Gu Changge, understanding her intent, chose not to expose her deception. Instead, he affectionately patted her head, admonishing, Silly girl, you must not venture out alone for your training any longer. I understand. Brother, when you find the time, please refine the phoenix blood immortal mushroom. Perhaps it will yield some improvement in my dantian? Gu Anlin expressed with hopeful enthusiasm. Observing the siblings, a sense of unease washed over the onlookers. Had it not been for the underhanded tactics employed by the 4 major factions, Gu Changge's dantian would not have been shattered. Subsequently, the crowd dispersed, leaving only Luo Yingtong to care for Xiaolan. Within the confines of the room, Gu Changge retrieved the phoenix blood immortal mushroom and began to refine it using the divine demonic nirvana technique. This rare treasure, infused with a trace of phoenix blood, was invaluable and exceedingly sought after. Upon its refinement, Gu Changge would undoubtedly convert a significant amount of slaughter value. Ding, refining phoenix blood immortal mushroom. Acquired 1800 slaughter value. Host, Gu Changge, demonic cultivation realm, perfected Xuanma realm. To advance to the entry level of the true demon realm requires 1900 slaughter value. Slaughter value, 1940. After completing the refinement of the phoenix blood immortal mushroom, Gu Changge wasted no time and commanded the system, elevate my demonic cultivation realm to the entry level of the true demon realm. Boom. The demonic energy within Gu Changge's dantian surged explosively, rapidly intensifying until, in a mere moment, he broke through to the true demon realm. In less than 4 months, Gu Changge had restored his dantian and ascended to the true demon realm. This realm was on par with the divine concealment realm in martial arts, where even a practitioner of the latter could hold the position of an outer elder in a first-rate faction. With his entry into the true demon realm, Gu Changge had indeed become a formidable force. Chapter 7. The 4 major factions enraged. The Council of Elders mobilizes the Divine Concealment Realm is regarded as a stronghold because reaching this stage allows for the manifestation of the 4 divine concealments. The divine concealment of the heart, the divine concealment of the liver, the divine concealment of the lungs, and the divine concealment of the kidneys. At this realm, the body's 5 vital organs are fortified, rendering both the internal and external aspects of the individual remarkably robust. Although Gu Changge followed the path of demonic cultivation, the true demon realm also necessitated the cultivation of the 4 divine concealments to ultimately break through to the Demon King realm. Currently, Gu Changge was at the entry level of the true demon realm, focusing on refining the divine concealment of the heart. Once this process was complete, he would swiftly advance to the minor completion of the true demon realm. As half a month swiftly passed, Gu Changge dedicated himself to honing his divine concealment of the heart. His heart now beat at a significantly slower pace. Yet he felt an unmistakable surge of vitality coursing through him, rendering him resilient even in the face of severe injury. "Brother, are you resting?" came Gu Anlin's voice from outside the room. Shaolin. Gu Changge quickly exited his meditative state and opened the door. Standing outside were Gu Yuanhong and Gu Anlin, both wearing smiles of warmth. "Father." Gu Changge bowed respectfully. Gu Yuanhong hastily offered his support, then smiled and said, "Do not concern yourself with such formalities in my presence." Gu Changge chuckled softly, and then led Gu Yuanhong and Gu Anlin into the room. The moment his father made contact with him, Gu Changge felt a surge of energy coursing through his body, as if his state was being assessed. Fortunately, the system had concealed Gu Changge's cultivation aura, rendering him undetectable even to the mightiest of sacred emperors. In Gu Yuanhong's perception, Gu Changge still bore no trace of spiritual energy, appearing no different from an ordinary mortal. A flicker of disappointment crossed Gu Yuanhong's aged eyes, but he quickly masked it. "It seems that even the phoenix blood immortal herb cannot restore Changge's dantian," he lamented inwardly. "Brother, have you refined the phoenix blood immortal herb?" Gu Anlin asked with eager anticipation. Seeing the hopeful expression on Shaolan's face, Gu Changge felt a pang of guilt, but ultimately shook his head. "Very well then." Gu Anlin's beautiful eyes dimmed momentarily, but soon regained their luster. "It's all right. I will diligently cultivate. Once I become an emperor, or even a sacred emperor, I will have the opportunity to access more rare herbs and treasures, and then I will find a way to heal your dantian." At her words, a warm current flowed through Gu Changge's heart. Gu Yuanhong, witnessing the bond between the siblings, felt a deep sense of contentment. Regardless of whether Changge can cultivate, as long as he remains safe and sound, what matter is it if he leads a mundane life? After a pleasant conversation, Gu Yuanhong took his leave with Gu Anlin. Meanwhile, a significant event had transpired in Qingzhou, one that had captured the attention of nearly everyone. The disciples of the 4 major factions had been brutally slaughtered by a mysterious figure clad in black during their training in the Yunwu mountain range. Among them, the Wujigong suffered the most devastating losses, with over 100 disciples perishing. This incident sent shockwaves throughout Qingzhou. The 4 major factions held an unassailable position in Qingzhou, and few dared to provoke them. However, the enigmatic figure's targeted assault on their disciples was utterly outrageous. The 4 factions were filled with fury, vowing to apprehend the black-robed figure and publicly execute him to assuage their anger. In Qingzhou, within the Wujigong, a first-rate faction sprawling across thousands of acres with 108 peaks, the palace master, Lu Nanjie, wore a grim expression in the grand palace atop the main peak. Below him, the 10 core elders and 100 ordinary elders bowed their heads in silence. The news of the black-robed figure's massacre of Wujigong disciples had spread throughout Qingzhou, bringing immense shame to the faction. How outrageous it is that someone dares to kill our Wujigong disciples within this territory. Moreover, to slaughter over 100 disciples in succession is clearly an affront aimed directly at us. Lu Nanjie struggled to contain his rage, his aura fluctuating, rendering it difficult for anyone to discern his true form. Lu Nanjie was also a formidable being of the reincarnation realm, possessing terrifying strength. "Calm your anger, master. The mere figure in the black robe dares only to target the disciples within my palace, clearly lacking in prowess. In my humble opinion, it would be prudent to dispatch several ordinary elders to protect the disciples undergoing training in the mountain range. Should that black-robed individual appear again, it would be advantageous to apprehend him." Stepping forward, the Grand Elder Si Kongqing voiced his thoughts. Upon hearing this, Lu Nanjie nodded in agreement and turned to the 100 ordinary elders, instructing the leader, Zhou Ming, "You shall lead 10 ordinary elders to the Cloud Mist Mountains immediately. If you encounter that black-robed figure, you must capture him and bring him back to the palace. I wish for everyone in Qingzhou to witness the consequences of offending my Wujigong." Elder Zhou Ming replied with a respectful gesture, "I shall diligently obey the palace master's decree." In the cloud mist mountains, within a secluded valley, Gu Changge donned his black robe, refining several beast cores before him. During this period, he had either been honing his mental fortitude in the Gu family or hunting demonic beasts in the mountains. When encountering disciples from the four major factions, he unleashed a frenzied slaughter. In a mere 10 days, Gu Changge amassed a staggering 800 points of killing value. However, to elevate himself to the minor completion of the true demon realm, he required 2,300 points, with a deficit of 1,500 points. It seemed imperative to escalate the intensity of his slaughter. The demonic energy surrounding Gu Changge surged as he spoke coldly. Due to his recent carnage, the disciples from the four major factions had grown exceedingly cautious, nearly refraining from entering the mountains for training, which vexed Gu Changge greatly. Quickly, there is a level 5 wind speed leopard ahead. Let us drive it into the valley and then encircle it. Footsteps echoed from outside the valley. A flicker of excitement ignited in Gu Changge's eyes. Was fate delivering prey to him? Today felt rather unusual. How audacious of the disciples from Wujigong to act so recklessly. Gu Changge murmured in confusion. Ding! 11 elder-level killing targets detected. One has reached the entry level of the creation realm, while the remaining 10 are at the divine concealment realm. If the host slaughters them all, a maximum of 5,000 killing points may be obtained. The system's voice resonated in Gu Changge's mind. No wonder the disciples of Wujigong dared to act so brazenly. It turns out there were elders secretly providing protection. The creation realm, how intriguing, Gu Changge thought, his gaze igniting with fervor, filled with martial ambition. Currently, at the true demon realm, he stood on par with the divine concealment realm. The creation realm surpassed the divine concealment realm by a significant margin. However, with his extraordinary physical strength and agility, Gu Changge felt confident he could contend even with a creation realm practitioner. If faced with a fully realized creation realm master, he might feel some pressure. Yet, a mere entry-level creation realm was not something he regarded with any seriousness. Elders of Wujigong, it has been a long time. The despair you brought upon me 3 years ago shall now be returned to you. A grin spread across Gu Changge's face as the demonic energy within him erupted violently. He unleashed the soul-severing step, a terrifying aura of malevolence enveloping him, and then vanished from sight, leaving behind shattered voids in his wake. Chapter 8. Frenzied Slaughter. Awakening the chaotic sword body. A dozen disciples of the Wujigong rushed towards the valley, pursued by a fleeing wind-speed leopard. You wretched beast! You shall not escape my grasp today. Quick, drive it into the valley. As the disciples brimmed with excitement, a shadow suddenly descended upon them. The once clear sky darkened ominously. Swoosh! The shadow swept past, unleashing a tempest of malevolent energy. The disciples of Wujigong cried out in despair, only to be mercilessly torn apart, becoming mere blood mist. Such is the terror of the soul-severing step. Death in an instant. This is bad. The figure in the black robe has appeared. He is a demon cultivator? How can his malevolent energy be so horrifying, despite only possessing the true demon realm? Zhou Ming, leading the 10 elders, charged forth. Upon sensing the overwhelming aura emanating from Gu Changge, they were taken aback. The true demon realm corresponds to the divine concealment realm, yet the malevolence radiating from Gu Changge was akin to that of a world-destroying demon. Moreover, Gu Changge's speed was astonishing. Even Zhou Ming, at the creation realm, could hardly react, leaving him helpless to watch the disciples of Wujigong being slaughtered. Whoever you are, demon cultivator, dare to harm my Wujigong disciples, and you shall meet your demise today. Let us act together and capture this demon alive. Zhou Ming's face was grim, a treasured sword appearing in his hand. Gu Changge's brutal killing of the Wujigong disciple had ignited his fury. Beneath the black robe, Gu Changge's blood-red eyes fixated on Zhou Ming. Zhou Ming, the chief elder of Wujigong, had once led an assault against the Gu family, slaying many of its members. What terrifying eyes! Why do they seem so familiar? After locking gazes with Gu Changge, Zhou Ming felt a chill run down his spine. Those blood-red eyes resembled those of a hellish Azura. Kill! Gu Changge surged forward, the legendary sword Ganjiang and Mo Xia materializing in his grasp. As the demonic sword emerged, a blood-red sword aura ravaged the heavens and earth. Boom! The might of the demonic sword was unstoppable, sending the foremost elders of the divine concealment realm flying. Such power in the demonic sword. Where did this demon cultivator spring from? Why had I never heard of him before? Zhou Ming felt his scalp tingle. He could not afford to hesitate. He immediately unleashed his sword technique. Striking towards Gu Changge, the world was filled with the brilliance of sword light, and the valley trembled violently. Come. Only through slaughter can the hatred in my heart be resolved. Gu Changge summoned the might of the divine elephant, unleashing a tremendous force that surged forth and infused into the legendary swords, Ganjiang and Moxie. With a single strike, he determined life and death. The blood-red demonic energy soared into the skies, instantly obliterating even Zhou Ming's onslaught. The thousand-zhong crimson sword descended, cleaving the heavens as if splitting them in twain. To everyone's astonishment, the 10 elders, each at the peak of the divine concealment realm, were mercilessly slaughtered. Most of them had attained the pinnacle of their cultivation, rivaling the true demons of the demonic path. Yet, before Gu Changge, who had merely entered the threshold of the true demon realm, they stood utterly powerless. Zhou Ming, possessing the nascent power of the creation realm, summoned all 4 of his divine concealments just to fend off that one sword strike. However, he himself was grievously injured, sent flying with such force that he obliterated a towering mountain in his wake. Boom! Zhou Ming crashed to the ground, collapsing in a pool of his own blood. Step! 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 Gu Changge, wielding dual swords, approached Zhou Ming slowly. Each footfall resonated like the tolling of a death knell. How is this possible? You are merely at the true demon realm, yet your strength is utterly terrifying. Zhou Ming gazed at Gu Changge with a look of dread, his face etched with despair. A being of the creation realm, alongside 10 of the divine concealment realm, was still being mercilessly dominated by this demon cultivator. This left Zhou Ming questioning the very essence of his existence. Boom! Gu Changge suddenly appeared, crashing down with a foot that landed squarely on Zhou Ming. Zhou Ming's bones shattered, and a gaping wound appeared in his body. Gu Changge's foot pierced through him, inflicting excruciating pain that rendered Zhou Ming's existence a living nightmare. Do you feel despair? Gu Changge's voice, cold as ice, cut through the air. You are. Boom. Terror filled Zhou Ming's eyes as he trembled uncontrollably. Yet, before he could finish his sentence, the horrifying demonic energy invaded his very being. Instantly, his 4 divine concealments were shattered, and his flesh and blood were devoured. In mere seconds, Zhou Ming was reduced to a mere skeleton. Ding! Congratulations, host, for slaying an elder-level foe, earning a total of 5,000 kill points. Congratulations, host, for unlocking the 5 consecutive supreme honors, receiving an additional 1,500 kill points, and acquiring a chaotic sword body. The divine elephant suppression technique has successfully advanced to the primordial elephant's might. Host, Gu Changge, demonic cultivation, true demon realm, breakthrough to minor success requires 2,300 kill points. Kill points, 7,300. Physique, chaotic sword body, awaiting awakening. A series of notifications resounded. With the divine elephant suppression technique cultivated to the primordial elephant's might, Gu Changge felt his physical strength surge once more. Though he was merely at the nascent stage of the true demon realm, his physical prowess rivaled that of a demon king. Undoubtedly, the greatest reward of all was the chaotic sword body. The sword body has already reached an impressive level. Yet the system has bestowed upon Gu Changge a chaotic sword body. The chaotic sword body was born in the era of chaos, and it has nearly vanished from the realms of immortality today. Once awakened, Gu Changge will unleash chaotic sword chi, elevating his swordsmanship to unparalleled heights. Even when compared to the formidable Great Wilderness Divine body he awakened at birth, it is undoubtedly superior. System, awaken the chaotic sword body. Gu Changge commanded eagerly, his eyes ablaze with fervor. Boom! Suddenly, chaotic sword chi erupted from within Gu Changge. The 2 demonic swords, Ganjiang and Mo Xie, flew forth on their own, their terrifying demonic energy piercing through the heavens and the earth. Before the chaotic sword body, all other sword bodies must submit. Lu Ping. In the past you seized my Great Wilderness Divine body, but now I have awakened the chaotic sword body. Should we meet again, I shall surely trample you underfoot. You were never my match before, and now you are even less so. Gu Changge laughed ecstatically, his black robe billowing without wind, demonic energy enveloping the entire valley. As the chaotic sword chi soared into the sky, all the beasts within a radius of hundreds of miles fled in terror, not daring to approach the valley even a step. System, begin enhancing my demonic cultivation. Gu Changge suppressed his excitement and commanded the system once more. With 7,300 points of slaughter value, his demonic cultivation would soar once again. Chapter 9. A breakthrough to the true demon realm in one day. Shocking the Gu family. Boom. The demonic energy within Gu Changge's dantian surged rapidly, transforming into a world-destroying demon that ravaged the heavens and the earth. Subsequently, Gu Changge's cultivation directly broke through to the initial stage of the true demon realm. Yet this was not the end, with 5,000 points of slaughter value remaining. He required only 3,000 to reach the greater completion of the true demon realm. Thus, Gu Changge continued to elevate his demonic cultivation and, in a mere moment, broke through again, achieving the greater completion of the true demon realm. In a single day, Gu Changge ascended 2 minor realms. advancing directly from the entry level of the true demon realm to its greater completion, an almost impossible feat. However, with the demonic god system, as long as he engaged in rampant slaughter and completed slaughter tasks, he could swiftly enhance his demonic cultivation. Host, Gu Changge, demonic cultivation, greater completion of the true demon realm, requires 4,000 slaughter value for full breakthrough. Slaughter value, 2,000, gazing at the information panel. Gu Changge's expression was one of exhilaration. At this rate of growth, in less than 10 years, I shall have no rivals in this Qingzhou. The corners of Gu Changge's mouth lifted slightly, his eyes flashing with a bloodthirsty glint. The day he eradicates the four great forces is drawing near. Although his demonic cultivation has advanced rapidly during this period, the four divine caches have yet to be fully refined. To break through to the Demon King realm, the four divine caches must be adequately tempered. It seems more time will be needed going forward, Gu Changge pondered. Never has there been a cultivator of demonic or martial arts who has achieved a breakthrough as swiftly as he. For a martial artist to refine the four divine reservoirs, it typically requires no less than a decade. To completely transcend the threshold of the divine reservoir realm, one must invest a period ranging from 15 to 30 years. However, Gu Changge cannot afford to wait that long. Fortunately, he possesses the demon god system and has cultivated the divine demonic rebirth technique, enabling him to refine the divine reservoirs at a speed several hundred times that of an ordinary martial artist. Thus, he is capable of completing this process within mere months. Gu Changge drew in his breath and transformed into a fleeting shadow, departing from the cloud mist mountain range. At the Gu family's main hall, 3 elders, the 10 core stewards, and 100 other stewards were all gathered. Yuancheng, is the news true? Gu Yuanhong inquired excitedly of the Grand Elder. Gu Yuancheng nodded, stating, this information was relayed to us by our family's spies at the earliest opportunity. It won't be long before the news of that dark-robed figure slaughtering several elders of the Wujigong spreads throughout Qingzhou. Ha ha ha, this is truly satisfying, Gu Yuanhong exclaimed, feeling a sense of relief. The Wujigong has been arrogant and tyrannical over the years, committing numerous wrongdoings and unknowingly offending countless individuals. It is only natural that they face retribution now. The elders and stewards present were all taken aback, astonished that someone would dare to so brazenly slaughter the elders of the Wujigong within Qingzhou. However, they could not deny that this act was indeed gratifying. The Gu family had been oppressed by the 4 major forces, surviving in a precarious state, and every member of the Gu family harbored a sense of indignation. Patriarch, could that dark-robed figure be the same extraordinary person who saved Shaolin back then? The Grand Elder Gu Yuancheng inquired, seemingly struck by a thought. Upon hearing this, the others suddenly realized its possibility. The Grand Elder's deduction seemed remarkably accurate. Moreover, the Gu family also had disciples training in the mountains. Yet they had not encountered any slaughter, indicating that the dark-robed figure might have some benevolent ties with the Gu family. However, this could also mean that the 4 major forces would likely intensify their targeting of the Gu family. The second elder Gu Yuancheng and the third elder Gu Yuanming echoed these sentiments. Gu Yuanhong's expression hardened as he declared, they have long wished for the destruction of our Gu family. Since that dark-robed expert has shown such kindness towards us, we cannot neglect our gratitude. If we encounter him in the future, we should offer our discreet assistance. Gu Yuanhong was a man of deep loyalty and righteousness. Since the dark-robed figure had saved Gu Anlin, he felt compelled to repay this kindness. In the courtyard where Gu Changge resided, he sat cross-legged on his bed, his eyes tightly shut. Gu Changge was channeling the divine demonic rebirth technique, refining the magical energy within him to strengthen the 4 divine reservoirs. The divine abodes of the heart and liver have now been meticulously refined, and Gu Changge has begun the process of honing the divine abode of the lungs. Elder brother, are you there? Outside the room, the excited voice of Gu Anlin resonated. Shaolin. Gu Changge opened his eyes, swiftly drawing the demonic energy within the room into his body. Once he completed this, he rose to open the door. Gu Anlin, adorned in a flowing purple gauze dress, appeared lively and adorable. Upon seeing Gu Changge, a sweet smile blossomed on her face. Shaolin, what brings you to seek your elder brother? Gu Changge gently inquired, ruffling Gu Anlin's hair. Gu Anlin entered the room, casually choosing a seat before speaking with fervor. Elder brother, have you heard about the recent happenings in the Yunwu mountain range? Gu Changge's eyes flickered, and he feigned confusion as he asked, has something significant occurred in the Yunwu mountain range? Gu Anlin was not at all surprised by Gu Changge's response, considering he rarely left the confines of the Gu family, often isolating himself in his room. Elder brother, the black-robed expert who saved me last time has actually slaughtered 11 elders of the Wujigong in the Yunwu mountain range. Moreover, Zhou Ming was among them. It's truly gratifying, Gu Anlin exclaimed, her expression brimming with excitement. To dare to slay the elders of the Wujigong is indeed quite formidable. Gu Changge replied with a smile. Certainly formidable. I can only imagine how the Wujigong must be in chaos now. Haha. However, that black-robed figure bears a striking resemblance to you, elder brother, Gu Anlin murmured softly, seemingly recalling something. At her words, Gu Changge felt a jolt of surprise, pondering if he had somehow revealed himself. Third sister, I must confess, that black-robed figure is indeed me, Gu Changge said earnestly, looking directly at Gu Anlin. Initially taken aback, Gu Anlin soon responded with a smile. Elder brother, I believe you. In my heart, you are even more formidable than that black-robed figure. Gu Changge smiled faintly. Yet he was aware that every word he spoke was the truth, though others remained skeptical. In Qingzhou, within the Wujigong's grand hall, Lu Nanjie slammed his palm upon the table, erupting in anger. Elder, did you not assert that the black-robed figure was of no consequence? How could he have slain even the likes of Zhou Ming, who is at the creation realm? Below, the Grand Elder Si Kongqing's countenance was grim, not daring to utter a word. He had not anticipated that the black-robed figure possessed the strength to vanquish those at the creation realm. It is noteworthy that a strong individual at the creation realm could become an inner elder even in a first-rate force, representing a pillar of strength. Calm yourself, Palace Master. The Grand Elder made an erroneous judgment in haste. The pressing matter now is to recall all disciples training within the mountain range to prevent further calamity. Second Elder Kai Xiong interjected respectfully. Recall the disciples? Humph. If word of this spreads, it would imply that our Wujigong fears that black-robed figure. That very figure has already slain over 100 of our disciples, and now 11 elders, including Zhou Ming. This palace master shall not rest until retribution is achieved. Lu Nanjie let out a cold snort, his face adorned with a fierce killing intent. Elder, arrange for 10 inner sect elders. Their cultivation must not be lower than the perfection of the creation realm. Have them lie in wait within the Yunwu mountain range. Inform them that if they cannot procure the head of the man in the black robe, they need not return to the Wujigong. With a sweep of his sleeve, Lu Nanjie commanded in a chilling tone. Chapter 10. The 8th level 9 Nether Magic Flood Dragon, the Beast Egg of Bloodline Reversion. Within merely half a month, Gu Changge had refined all the remaining divine treasures, the Divine Lung Repository and the Divine Kidney Repository. Once the 4 divine treasures were successfully refined, Gu Changge felt his body grow increasingly powerful, especially within his internal organs, which had become as resilient as steel, now virtually indomitable. As for his physical body, having cultivated the divine elephant suppression technique, his corporeal strength was explosive, capable of overwhelming even those at the creation realm in direct combat. Though Gu Changge's true cultivation was merely at the great completion of the true demon realm, his actual combat strength had reached the peak of the Demon King realm, equivalent to the perfection of the creation realm in martial arts. As long as no ascended beings intervened, Gu Changge was an invincible presence. This level of power would place him among the top 20 even within the Gu family. However, it had only been half a year since Gu Changge restored his dantian. Such a rate of cultivation was nearly surreal. Within the Yunwu mountain range, Gu Changge continued to hunt demonic beasts to hone his practical combat skills. After slaying 3 6th-level shadow wolves, he prepared to refine their beast cores. Just then, a terrifying roar echoed, causing the ground to tremble. Gu Changge furrowed his brow, directing his gaze towards the source of the roar. What a formidable beastly aura. It must be an 8th-level demonic beast, he said in astonishment. 8th-level demonic beasts were comparable to powerful ascended beings, akin to the Demon Emperor in demonic cultivation. Roar. Bang. However, the next moment, a distinctly different roar erupted, accompanied by the sounds of fierce combat. Were 2 8th-level demonic beasts engaged in a brawl? Gu Changge swallowed hard in surprise. The commotion emanated from deep within the mountains. If he was not mistaken, it was likely that 2 8th-level demonic beasts were locked in a deadly struggle. Intrigued, Gu Changge swiftly made his way deeper into the mountains. The Demon God system cloaked his presence, rendering him undetectable even to the keen senses of 8th-level demonic beasts. If 2 8th-level demonic beasts were fighting fiercely, perhaps he could achieve a double kill? Should he succeed in refining the 8th-level beast cores, Gu Changge might have the chance to break directly into the Demon King realm. Deep within the mountains, amidst dense foliage, a towering black magic flood dragon, standing 100 meters tall, roared in fury. Opposite it was a bloodthirsty ghost tiger. The magic flood dragon was engulfed in violet flames, warping the surrounding space with its immense lethality. Good heavens, it is indeed an 8th-level 9 nether magic flood dragon. Gu Changge gasped in astonishment. The 9 nether demon serpent, as a branch of the dragon lineage, possesses a remarkably potent bloodline, rendering it nearly unparalleled among 8th-tier magical beasts. However, The bloodthirsty ghost tiger opposite it is no trifling opponent. This bloodthirsty ghost tiger not only boasts ferocious strength, but also exhibits astonishing speed, akin to a phantom. Once ensnared by it, survival becomes a slim hope. The outcome of the fierce clash between the 9-nether demon serpent and the bloodthirsty ghost tiger remains uncertain. Gu Changge, of course, harbors the desire for them to engage in a near-fatal confrontation, thus providing him the opportunity for a double kill. Ghost tiger, should you fail to retreat today, do not blame this king for his lack of courtesy, the 9-nether demon serpent declared, its voice human-like and laden with fury. The bloodthirsty black tiger, unperturbed, responded with a mocking laugh. Were you in your prime, I would certainly not dare provoke you. But having just given birth, do you truly believe I fear you? Once I consume the beast egg you have birthed, I shall effortlessly ascend to the 9th tier, rendering you nothing more than an insignificant mudfish. You seek your demise. The 9-nether demon serpent, incensed by the black tiger's intentions toward its offspring, erupted in wrath. Die! Enveloped in violet ethereal flames, it surged forth, shattering the surrounding space instantaneously. The emergence of the violet flames incinerated the forest to ashes. Roar! The bloodthirsty black tiger did not yield, deftly evading before confronting the 9-nether demon serpent head-on. The earth trembled, the void fractured, and darkness descended, as if the end of days had arrived. 8th-tier magical beasts stand shoulder to shoulder with Ascension realm powerhouses, sharing the common trait of harnessing the great forces of heaven and earth to unleash cataclysmic power. In the shadows, Gu Changge gazed in awe. Indeed, 8th-tier magical beasts are terrifying beyond comprehension. Should he engage them, even with all his might, he would undoubtedly be no match. It is imperative to grow stronger swiftly. Only by breaking through to the Demon King realm will he possess the capability to contend with those in the Ascension realm, Gu Changge mused. There are over 30 Ascension realm powerhouses within the Wuji Palace, and any one of them would easily overpower him. To challenge a being of the Ascension realm, Gu Change's cultivation must at least reach the realm of the Demon King. Ding! The system detects a bloodline-reverted beast egg within the cave, which holds the potential to grow into a true dragon. Should the host acquire it, 1,000 kill points will be awarded. Just as Gu Changge was deep in thought, the voice of the system echoed in his mind. A bloodline-reverted beast egg, potentially growing into a true dragon. Gu Changge's eyes sparkled. A true dragon is a significant entity within the entire immortal domain. Should he manage to obtain it as a spirit pet, it would undoubtedly prove to be an invaluable ally in the future. Exert yourselves a bit more. This way, you cannot hope to vanquish each other. Gu Changge silently urged. Roar! Old tiger, even if I perish today, I shall ensure you accompany me. The 9-nether dragon serpent was enraged, having just given birth. She was willing to expend her blood essence to fight. You lunatic! This king is not to be trifled with. Today, I shall surely devour your offspring. The bloodthirsty ghost tiger, equally unwilling to back down, ignited its own life force to battle. Well done! Gu Changge secretly rejoiced. The two beast kings were finally locked in a fierce confrontation. Furthermore, as they fought, they gradually distanced themselves from the cave, providing Gu Changge with an opportune moment. It seemed unrealistic to wait for these two to annihilate one another. Thus, he decided to infiltrate the cave first. With a grin, Gu Changge seized the moment, activating the magic wave soul severing step, transforming into a shadow that flitted away. The 9-nether dragon serpent and the bloodthirsty ghost tiger were so engrossed in their battle that they failed to notice Gu Changge entering the cavern. Deep within the cave lay a spiritual pool, in which a beast egg floated. The egg stood a full meter tall, radiating a brilliant divine light, with an indistinct aura of draconic might. Good child, come along with your uncle. Gu Changge licked his lips and promptly stored the beast egg within his spatial ring. The spiritual liquid in the pool was also a valuable resource. He would take it as well. Gu Changge, not being greedy, only siphoned off 9/10 of the spiritual liquid, leaving behind a mere 10th due to a lack of containers. After completing this, Gu Changge swiftly departed, the entire process taking no more than 3 minutes. Chapter 11. Who is the true prey? Upon exiting the cave, Gu Changge dared not linger, exerting himself fully as he utilized the magic wave soul severing step to flee. After approximately 10 minutes, he heard the furious roar of the 9-nether dragon serpent. Who has touched my child? I swear to rend you to pieces. The 9-nether dragon serpent spewed forth fire lotus, recklessly charging toward the bloodthirsty ghost tiger. The latter was relentlessly pressured, retreating in disarray. 9-nether mud eel, have you lost your mind? I did not harm your child. The bloodthirsty ghost tiger felt deeply wronged. He had coveted the 9-nether dragon serpent's offspring. Yet after a fierce battle, he gained nothing, instead benefiting another. Now, the 9-nether dragon serpent was madly attacking him, and the bloodthirsty ghost tiger was clearly overwhelmed. Meanwhile, Gu Changge had successfully made his escape, finding a secluded cave, where he entered without hesitation. Sitting cross-legged, he retrieved the bloodline ancestral dragon egg. The faint draconic aura sent a shiver down his spine. This little one would likely require some time before hatching, so for now, he would place it within his dantian. He nestled the beast egg within his dantian, and the previously wild magical energy, under Gu Changge's guidance, became gentle, enveloping the egg and nurturing it. The beast egg fervently absorbed the magical energy to bolster itself. Gu Changge felt an inexplicable connection with the beast egg. Once it hatched, the little creature would undoubtedly become utterly obedient to him. A satisfied smile graced Gu Changge's lips as he retrieved the beast cores he had collected over the past few days, along with over 30 vials of spiritual liquid. After successfully acquiring the beast egg, he had completed the task assigned by the system, earning 1,000 killing points. Now, Gu Changge possessed a total of 3,000 killing points, and with just another 1,000, he could achieve the pinnacle of the true demon realm. Let the endeavor commence. Gu Changge grinned broadly and began to channel the divine demon rebirth technique, unleashing a terrifying demonic aura that enveloped the entire cave. An unparalleled great demon materialized, devouring a dozen beast cores and more than 30 vials of spiritual liquid in an instant. Refined 13 level 5 beast cores, gaining 230 killing points. Refined 35 vials of dragon spirit liquid, gaining 3,000 killing points. Host, Gu Changge, demonic cultivation level, complete true demon realm, requires 4,000 killing points to break through to the pinnacle of true demon realm. Killing points, 6,230. Physique, chaotic sword body, technique, divine demon rebirth technique. The information panel materialized, revealing that Gu Changge had amassed sufficient killing points to elevate his cultivation. System, elevate my demonic cultivation to the pinnacle of the true demon realm. Gu Changge commanded. Boom. The demonic energy within Gu Changge's dantian surged wildly, shattering the threshold and reaching the pinnacle of the true demon realm. His eyes flew open, a flash of crimson flickering within. The demonic aura raged around him, causing the void within the cave to explode. Having reached the pinnacle of the true demon realm, he was merely one small realm away from breaking into the Demon King realm. Gu Changge narrowed his eyes, anticipation filling them. Once he ascended to the Demon King realm, he would be capable of slaying Ascendant Realm powerhouses with ease. Ascendant Realm beings were exceedingly rare within first-rate forces. Even the entire Wuji Palace boasted no more than 30. Beyond the Ascendant Realm lay the Reincarnation Realm, the highest level of cultivation within first-rate forces. My day of vengeance approaches swiftly. Gu Changge's malice surged, the demonic energy within him nearly spiraling out of control. He transformed into a shadow, darting out of the cave in search of targets for slaughter. Only through killing could he quell the fury within his heart. Gu Changge charged forth, mercilessly slaying any disciples of the 4 great forces he encountered. With no inner door elders dispatched by the other 3 forces aside from Wuji Palace, his massacre proceeded with remarkable ease. In a secluded forest, Gu Changge was drenched in blood, treading upon the broken bodies beneath him, a look of ecstasy etched upon his face. Yet this was not enough. Having embraced the demonic path, he would wash the entire Qingzhou in blood. Not a single soul from the 4 great forces would be spared. To show mercy to enemies is to be cruel to oneself. In the misty peaks of the Yunwu Mountains, before an obscure waterfall, a dozen disciples of the Wujigong rested. Senior brother, do you think that fiend will dare to show himself? One inquired. I actually hope he does. Only then can Elder Deng and the others vanquish him. Another whispered eagerly. Lower your voices. If word gets out, the palace master will not spare you. The leading disciple admonished. Gu Changge, having approached with lethal intent, sensed the presence of the Wujigong disciples by the waterfall. Ding! 10 targets of inner sect elder rank detected, the highest cultivation reaching the pinnacle of ascension. The lowest at the consummate stage of creation. The host can gain 7,000 kill points by eliminating them. Gu Changge refrained from acting recklessly. He concealed himself in the shadows, and the system's voice echoed in his mind. The pinnacle of ascension, HM, it seems Wujigong has truly been driven to madness by me. Gu Changge narrowed his eyes, speaking coldly. Even within Wujigong, those at the pinnacle of ascension are formidable, second only to the 10 core elders. Given Gu Changge's current combat prowess, he could only hope to eradicate cultivators at the consummate stage of creation. As for those at the pinnacle of ascension, even with all his might, he would not stand a chance. Fortunately, the system's advantage provided him a lifeline. Otherwise, once he made his move, he would merely become prey for the ascended experts. It seems today is not suitable for confrontation. I shall return once I break through to the Demon King realm and claim your lives. Gu Changge declared coldly. Just as he turned away, he sensed a familiar aura. Is that the 9 nether demon serpent? Ha ha ha. Truly a stroke of fortune for me. It will be intriguing to see who becomes the prey. A spark of inspiration ignited within Gu Changge, and he vanished from his position, darting toward the 9 nether demon serpent. Despicable human, where are you? Return, my child. The 9 nether demon serpent roared furiously, leaving a trail of devastation scorched by the flames of the 9 nether. Suddenly, the serpent's eyes lit up, fixating on a point ahead, for there lay the scent of her offspring. My child, my dear child. The 9 nether demon serpent shrieked, lunging forward. Her gaze locked onto a figure cloaked in black with blood-red eyes. It is you. Return, my child. The serpent unleashed a torrent of fiery petals, charging toward Gu Changge. Gu Changge paid no heed to the enraged serpent. Instead, he swiftly pivoted, executing the soul-severing step to perfection. The two figures, one pursuing and the other fleeing, sped toward the waterfall, shattering the void in their wake, leaving behind wounds that would not heal for ages. Chapter 12. Trouble. We have fallen into a trap. Boom. Thunderous rumbles shook the earth, sending the disciples of Wujigong before the waterfall into a state of shock. What is happening? Is that fiend really upon us? It cannot be. Even the most formidable demon could not possibly create such a tremendous uproar. The disciples of the Wujigong, trembling with fear, huddled together, their vigilant eyes scanning the surroundings. Suddenly, a shadow darted forth, accompanied by a malevolent aura that ravaged the heavens. This is bad. It is indeed that demon. Quick, flee. Upon spotting Gu Changge, every disciple of the Wujigong was gripped by terror, their faces paling in an instant. After all, over the past 6 months, nearly 200 of their brethren had perished at Gu Changge's hands. Without a moment's hesitation, they turned to flee. Can you escape? Gu Changge grinned sinisterly, his demonic wave of soul-severing propelled to its utmost limits. Hundreds, even thousands of afterimages materialized, his figure appearing like a wraith. Die. Wherever the malevolent aura swept through, the disciples of Wujigong were reduced to mangled corpses. Blood gushed forth, saturating the air with a pungent stench of carnage. Bathed in blood, Gu Changge wore a grotesque smile. You wretched fiend, you seek death. The 10 inner elders of Wujigong simultaneously soared into the air. Among them, 5 had reached the Ascension realm, their speed aided by the forces of nature. Yet, they were still unable to halt Gu Changge's massacre. Indeed, the loss of a few disciples was but a trifling matter for Wujigong. Their purpose was merely to draw out Gu Changge. Quickly, set up the Wujigong's celestial array. We must not allow this wretch to escape. The leader, Deng Feng, shouted loudly. From within Deng Feng, 4 divine relics emerged, drawing upon the spiritual essence of the heavens and earth, forming vast seas of energy. Subsequently, the aura of his ascension realm surged forth, channeling the might of the cosmos, transforming every blade of grass and tree into instruments of death. Gu Changge sensed the space around him constricting, his speed diminishing. Wretched fiend, today you shall not escape. To dare slay Wujigong disciples in Qingzhou, you shall pay a grievous price. The 10 inner elders, led by Deng Feng, began to weave a grand formation that enveloped the heavens and earth. The area spanning dozens of miles was sealed by the celestial array. Beneath the shadow of his dark robe, Gu Changge's blood-red eyes fixated intently on Deng Feng. As a powerful figure of the Ascension realm, Deng Feng held a status within Wujigong second only to the 10 core elders. During the siege of the Gu family, he had slaughtered many of their kin. What a terrifying gaze. Under Gu Changge's scrutiny, Deng Feng felt as though he were standing at the precipice of the abyss. Moreover, the demonic energy radiating from Gu Changge instilled in him a profound dread. Should they occupy the same realm, Deng Feng was certain he would be utterly crushed by this demonic cultivator. Those of the demonic path are bloodthirsty and devoid of mercy. They deserve to be exterminated. You would do well to lay down your weapons and surrender. Perhaps this elder will grant you a complete corpse. Deng Feng's aged eyes narrowed slightly, radiating a fierce and deadly glimmer. To kill me? Huh. Gu Changge regarded Deng Feng with a mocking gaze. You vile creature, once the boundless heavenly formation is unleashed, even the mightiest of ascended beings would find it arduous to escape. Yet you, merely at the true demon realm, dare to entertain thoughts of evading the formation. Deng Feng let out a cold laugh, then summoned the formation's power, unleashing it upon Gu Changge. Boom. The boundless heavenly formation erupted with terrifying might, causing the earth to tremble and the very void to shatter. Gu Changge exerted all his strength, activating the divine elephant-s suppressing prison technique, while simultaneously unleashing the Chaos Sword body, with the twin demonic swords, Ganjiang and Moxie, wreaking havoc in the skies. Clang. Boom. The Chaos Sword chi exploded forth, accompanied by a terrifying demonic aura. The two forces collided midair, sending forth a cataclysmic wave of residual power sweeping across the surroundings. Thud thud thud. Gu Changge was caught in the aftermath, rapidly retreating. The 10 elders, including Deng Feng, managed to dissipate the residual force using the formation. What? This is the long-lost Chaos Sword Body. How can a mere demon cultivator possess the Chaos Sword Body? His physical form is astonishingly formidable. Though merely at the true demon realm, his physical strength rivals that of a demon lord. The 10 elders were utterly astounded. This fiend must not be allowed to live. We must exert all our strength to slay him. Deng Feng's expression darkened with apprehension. That last strike would be difficult to withstand even for the pinnacle of ascended beings. Yet Gu Changge endured it with his monstrous physique. Roar! You shameless humans, return my son at once. Just as the 10 elders prepared to unleash their full power, the 9 nether demonic flood dragon finally charged forward. Upon seeing the boundless heavenly formation ahead, it erupted in fury. A mere broken formation dares to hinder me? Be obliterated. The 9 nether demonic flood dragon roared in rage, spewing forth fiery lotus flames, while its iron-black tail lashed out. Boom. The 8th tier 9 nether demonic flood dragon possesses strength comparable to the pinnacle of the ascended realm. The boundless heavenly formation sustained heavy damage, immediately showing signs of rupture. What transpired? The formation shattered, and the 10 elders, including Deng Feng, were injured, spitting blood as they stumbled backward. Hee. Enjoy yourselves slowly. As the formation crumbled, Gu Changge seized the opportunity to dart away, vanishing in an instant. Once again, it is you despicable humans. All shall perish. The 9 nether demonic flood dragon charged forth, its fury ignited upon seeing Deng Feng and the others. What the hell? This is an 8th tier 9 nether demonic flood dragon. We're trapped. Deng Feng's voice trembled with fear. The 9 nether demonic flood dragon is renowned for its monstrous physique, and the 9 nether flames surrounding it can incinerate everything. Once targeted by the 9 nether demonic flood dragon, even the mightiest of ascended beings would suffer greatly. Boom. The 9 nether magic flood dragon unleashed a fiery lotus from its mouth, and then surged forth with unstoppable might. The 10 elders, having just suffered severe injuries, found themselves once again targeted by the 9 nether magic flood dragon, enduring unimaginable anguish. A misunderstanding. Indeed, this is truly a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Ha ha ha. You must all be in collusion. I shall eradicate every last one of you despicable humans. The 9 nether magic flood dragon raged furiously, disregarding Deng Feng's attempts at clarification. The 10 elders exerted all their strength, yet they were relentlessly crushed, coughing up blood and retreating in disarray. In the shadows, Gu Changge did not depart. He awaited the opportune moment to strike, aiming to take the lives of Deng Feng and his companions in one fell swoop. 7,000 points of slaughter value must not be missed. Chapter 13. Slaughtering Ascended Beings. Breaking through to the Demon King realm faced with the relentless pursuit of the 9 nether magic flood dragon, the 10 elders unveiled all their hidden cards. They even sacrificed their vitality to fight. Ultimately, they managed to escape the clutches of the 9 nether magic flood dragon at the cost of severe injuries. Within a dense forest, the 10 elders, dragging their wounded bodies, sought refuge. Cough, cough. This despicable and shameless demon cultivator actually set a trap for us? How infuriating. Should I encounter that demon cultivator again, I vow to flay him alive. Keep your voice down if you wish to survive. Whether it be that demon cultivator or the 9 nether magic flood dragon, either could easily take our lives. Deng Feng glared at several of his companions with a grim countenance. These individuals only knew how to chatter after the fact. When confronted by the 9 nether magic flood dragon, they had all screamed in terror and fled in panic. Now that they had narrowly escaped, they began to chatter again. Deng Elder, what shall we do now? Should we return to the sect? One elder tentatively inquired. Deng Feng gritted his teeth fiercely, stating, The palace master has decreed that if we cannot slay that demon cultivator, we shall not return to the palace. Upon hearing this, the other 9 elders sighed in resignation. This time, the Wujigong had spared no effort in dispatching ascendant beings with the sole purpose of eliminating that demon cultivator. Yet now, the demon cultivator remained unscathed, while they were gravely wounded. If they return now, the Wujigong would undoubtedly be ridiculed by the various forces of Qingzhou. We shall find a concealed location within the mountains to recuperate our injuries. Once our strength is restored to its peak, we will pursue that demon cultivator once more. Deng Feng commanded the group. However, just as they prepared to rise and leave, a terrifying surge of demonic energy swept through the area. You shall have no chance to survive. Gu Changge, wielding 2 demonic swords, unleashed chaotic sword energy that soared into the heavens. Simultaneously, the divine elephant suppression technique was activated, unleashing the full force of the Yuan elephant. With a sword that determined life and death, Gu Changge descended from the skies. cleaving a blood-red sword strike that spanned the heavens. This is bad. It's that demon cultivator. He has been following us in the shadows all along. How is that possible? How did he conceal his demonic energy? The 10 elders, including Deng Feng, were momentarily struck dumb. Yet, the blood-red sword slashed swiftly towards them, offering no time for defense. Damnable. Deng Feng's face was filled with terror as he cursed vehemently. I cannot perish. With my innate talent, I am destined to transcend to the reincarnation realm. I must survive. Gritting his teeth, Deng Feng retreated rapidly, pushing the 9 elders ahead of him out of the way. Deng Feng, you. The 9 elders were struck by the sword slash, instantly turning into a mist of blood. The chaotic sword energy and the power of primordial symbols were formidable enough to challenge even the mightiest of ascendants. Moreover, they were already gravely injured. Boom. The sword struck the ground with a thunderous crash, splitting the earth as blood mist swirled chaotically, a scene of utter devastation. Gu Changge, drenched in blood, was enveloped in a shroud of demonic energy. The taste of vengeance was one he savored immensely. 3 years ago, he had been engulfed in despair. Now, Deng Feng was experiencing an equal measure of hopelessness. Boom. Deng Feng was sent flying, crashing to the ground after what felt like an eternity. Spitting blood, his bones shattered. He lay there, utterly weakened. Though he had narrowly escaped death, he had lost all combat capability, rendered no different than a cripple. With heavy steps, Gu Changge approached, wielding the legendary sword Dantian Emocia, exuding an overwhelming aura of malevolence. You proclaim yourselves as righteous, yet in the face of death, you swiftly betray your comrades. Such disgrace. Gu Changge sneered, mocking Deng Feng. Meanwhile, the demonic energy within him enveloped Deng Feng entirely. A suffocating sensation enveloped Deng Feng, as if he were trapped in the depths of hell. No, please. Deng Feng's face turned ashen, his body trembling in fear. Now you know fear? Did you ever consider this day would come when you slaughtered the Gu family's kin 3 years ago? Gu Changge's blood-red eyes fixated on Deng Feng. Upon hearing this, Deng Feng's pupils constricted violently, as if struck by a bolt from the blue. You are from the Gu family. Deng Feng appeared as if he had seen a ghost. When did the Gu family ever have a demonic cultivator? Who I am is of little consequence. What truly matters is that you are about to meet your end. Gu Changge replied with a chilling laugh, vanishing from sight only to reappear before Deng Feng. I shall peel your flesh away piece by piece, allowing you to experience true despair. Gu Changge spat through clenched teeth. With that, the demonic sword swung forth, its fierce blade descending upon Deng Feng. Deng Feng's flesh was torn away, falling to the ground as he let out the most heartrending cries. As the sword light continued to descend, he quickly became nothing but bones, yet he did not die immediately, clinging to the last vestiges of life. How does it feel? Quite despairing, isn't it? You shall not be alone, for I shall soon eradicate every soul within the infinite palace. Gu Changge let out a piercing laugh. The day of vengeance approaches swiftly. This is merely the beginning. Who are you truly? Kill me. Please, I implore you, kill me. Deng Feng found himself in a state of despair, yearning for death yet unable to escape. It was a veritable nightmare from which there was no waking. Then I shall grant your wish. Gu Changge thrust his sword, shattering Deng Feng's dantian in an instant. Boom. Following this, a surge of demonic energy erupted, ravaging Deng Feng's entire being, reducing him to mere ashes. Ding! Congratulations, host, for completing the intersect elder level slaughter mission, earning 7,000 slaying points. With an additional reward, the ever-changing ice silkworm mask. The ever-changing ice silkworm mask is a treasure of divine caliber. When worn, it allows the host to alter their appearance at will, even mimicking the opponent's cultivation aura. Host, Gu Changge, demonic cultivation level, perfect true demon realm, requires 5,000 slaying points to break through to the Demon King realm. Slaying points. 9230. The voice of the system resonated, revealing that Gu Changge had not only acquired 7,000 slaying points, but also the divine grade, ever-changing ice silkworm mask. With this mask, Gu Changge could assume any guise and even replicate the aura of his adversaries, an extraordinary boon indeed. Upon accepting his rewards, Gu Changge's eyes burned with fervor. His slaying points were now sufficient to transcend to the Demon King realm. The Demon King realm stands alongside the transformation realm of martial cultivation, second only to the Ascension realm. However, with his cultivation of the divine elephant suppression technique and being endowed with the Chaos Sword body, once he breaks through to the Demon King realm, he would be capable of contending with those of the Ascension realm. System. Elevate my demonic cultivation to the Demon King realm. Gu Changge commanded the system eagerly. Boom. Suddenly, the heavens shifted in hue. The once clear and cloudless sky was now shrouded in demonic energy, darkening in an instant. An unparalleled demon ravaged the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Gu Change's cultivation surged directly into the entry level of the Demon King realm. Now, even without the 9 nether demon flood dragon, Gu Changge could defeat Deng Feng, who had reached the pinnacle of the Ascension realm. Chapter 14. Slaying the bloodthirsty demon tiger beyond his level. The news of the slaughter of the 10 inner sect elders of the Infinite Palace spread like wildfire throughout Qingzhou. Ever since the siege on the Gu family 3 years prior, the 4 great powers had witnessed no losses of Ascension realm experts. Yet now, in a mere few months, the Infinite Palace had suffered the loss of 5 Ascension realm elders, several Transformation realm elders, and over 200 disciples. This left all factions within Qingzhou utterly astounded. Ascension realm warriors are only second to those of the Reincarnation realm, which represents the pinnacle of first-rate powers. How could the lurking demonic cultivators within the Cloud Mist Mountains possibly possess the capability to slay Ascension realm experts? Should that malevolent cultivator be allowed to continue developing, the consequences would be utterly unimaginable. The Wujigong dared not delay any longer, thus summoning the leaders of the other 3 major factions to convene within the palace. Within the main hall of Wujigong, presiding at the forefront was the palace master, Lu Nanjie. Below him were 3 grand chairs occupied by Pan Minglong, the master of Tian Sword Sect, Yuan Taoqiang, the head of Fengqing Sect, and Shui Hong, the lord of Tianya Pavilion. It was they who, 3 years prior, had proposed the assault on the Gu family and clandestinely bribed the Sacred Spirit Academy to capture Gu Anlin, who was then cultivating within the academy. Esteemed colleagues, I trust you are all somewhat aware of the situation regarding the malevolent cultivator in the Yunwu mountain range? Lu Nanjie inquired, his expression devoid of emotion. Although Wujigong had suffered the most significant losses, the circumstances for the other 3 factions were equally dire, with their disciples having been slaughtered by the malevolent cultivator. In my humble opinion, that malevolent cultivator is clearly targeting our 4 factions, spoke Pan Minglong, the master of Tian Sword Sect, his tone frigid. What Brother Pan says holds merit. The disciples training in the Yunwu mountain range hail from various factions, yet it is only our 4 factions that have borne the brunt of the assault. That malevolent cultivator must be seeking revenge upon us. Yuan Taoqiang of Fengqing Sect grimly concurred. Could it be that the Gu family is also involved in this targeting of our 4 factions? Shui Hong speculated, his brow furrowing. At this, Lu Nanjie and the others momentarily fell silent. Brother Shui's assertion does indeed carry weight. However, given that the Gu family has been barely surviving for years, what resources do they possess to retaliate against us? Furthermore, they should not have any malevolent cultivators among them. Lu Nanjie analyzed with a furrowed brow. While the Gu family may not possess a malevolent cultivator, they could certainly expend considerable resources to hire one to exact revenge on us. Let us not forget that the neighboring Daping continent is teeming with malevolent cultivators. Pan Minglong retorted with a cold snort. Everyone nodded in agreement, their eyes glinting with icy resolve. They had initially hoped that after incapacitating Gu Changge, the Gu family would behave more prudently. Yet it seemed this insignificant Gu family remained unrepentant. What course of action do you all propose? Lu Nanjie asked, his gaze imbued with murderous intent. The malevolent cultivator must be eradicated, and the Gu family cannot be spared. However, with the imminent opening of the Divine Source Secret Realm, perhaps we should wait until the matter of the Secret Realm has passed before dispatching our strongest to eliminate the threat in the Yunwu mountain range? Shui Hong suggested, his expression somber. That sounds reasonable. The others agreed, nodding in unison. Meanwhile, within the depths of the Yunwu mountain range, the 9 nether demon Jiao, gravely injured, continued its search for its offspring, while the bloodthirsty ghost tiger, long eager to strike, approached once more. Ha ha ha, little 9 nether mudfish, you are now gravely wounded. With little time left, though I cannot devour your offspring, consuming you would still be a substantial boon. The bloodthirsty ghost tiger's deep brown eyes were filled with greed. You again, little ghost tiger? Had it not been for you, my child would never have been stolen away by that human. A furious roar erupted from the 9 nether demon serpent as it surged forth, re-engaging in battle with the bloodthirsty ghost tiger. Ha ha, little 9 nether mudfish. You are gravely injured. How could you possibly be my opponent? Submit and become my nourishment. The bloodthirsty ghost tiger moved with extraordinary speed, manifesting countless afterimages. And the 9 nether demon serpent found itself unable to inflict harm upon its true form. Had the 9 nether demon serpent been at its peak, it would have effortlessly crushed the bloodthirsty ghost tiger. However, having just given birth and sustained serious injuries, it was left with barely 70% of its power, rendering it no match for the bloodthirsty ghost tiger. With a thunderous crash, the immense body of the bloodthirsty ghost tiger appeared like a specter, its claws striking fiercely, sending the 9 nether demon serpent flying. The impact was tremendous as the 9 nether demon serpent crashed to the ground, and the bloodthirsty ghost tiger advanced once more, offering no respite. Another devastating blow struck, piercing the robust body of the 9 nether demon serpent, leaving it on the brink of death. Ha ha, little 9 nether mudfish. Once I consume you, I shall ascend to the 9th level. The bloodthirsty ghost tiger's gaze was insatiable, and just as it prepared to open its gaping maw, a terrifying demonic aura surged forth. Is this a demon cultivator among humans? The bloodthirsty ghost tiger's pupils contracted sharply, and it quickly retreated. A sword descended with a thunderous crash, the chaotic sword energy so fearsome that the ground where the bloodthirsty ghost tiger had stood was transformed into a 100-meter-deep pit. What terrifying sword energy! The bloodthirsty ghost tiger looked on in trepidation as Gu Changge approached, wielding 2 demonic swords. Just the target I need for some practice. A sinister smile crept across Gu Change's lips. Having stepped into the realm of the Demon King, he was now capable of slaying 8th-level beasts. The 8th-level bloodthirsty ghost tiger was comparable to those in the Ascension realm. Yet Gu Change's current combat prowess was sufficient to vanquish powerful beings of the Ascension realm. Human, I advise you not to. But before the bloodthirsty ghost tiger could finish its warning, Gu Changge had already vanished from sight. What? So fast? The bloodthirsty ghost tiger, known for its speed, found itself unable to discern Gu Change's trajectory. With a swift motion, Gu Changge unleashed the demonic wave soul-cutting step. A terrifying aura of demonic energy enveloping the bloodthirsty ghost tiger. This is bad. The bloodthirsty ghost tiger attempted to retreat, but it was too late. It could only brace itself for impact. The clash of ghostly and demonic energies produced a deafening roar. How can your power be so terrifying? With a single collision, the bloodthirsty ghost tiger was sent flying, its body marked with ghastly wounds. Heh, can you not endure this? I have merely just begun. Gu Changge let out a cold laugh, and then the force of the primordial image erupted, conjuring a colossal figure that seemed poised to rend the very heavens apart. What manner of technique is this? Human, do not provoke the tiger beyond measure. The bloodthirsty demon tiger's expression drastically changed in fear, yet in the next instant, the primordial image came crashing down. With a thunderous impact, it shattered the celestial dome. Boom. The terrifying force descended upon the bloodthirsty demon tiger, instantly obliterating its corporeal form, sending its massive body flying through the air. Along its path, it crushed a towering mountain. It was utterly vulnerable. Gu Change's eyes glowed crimson. He hesitated no longer, unleashing the 2 demonic swords in his grasp. One sword to determine life and death. The chaotic sword body was activated, and the chaotic sword energy rampaged across the heavens, followed by 1,000-foot blood-red blades slicing through the air. No, please. Spare me, I beg you. The bloodthirsty demon tiger cried out in desperation. Yet Gu Changge paid him no heed. Boom. The 1,000-foot blade descended, reducing the bloodthirsty demon tiger to a cloud of blood mist. Subsequently, the core of the 8th-level bloodthirsty demon tiger soared forth, grasped tightly in Gu Change's hand. This 8th-level core radiated with the ferocity of a tiger, and once refined, it would yield immeasurable benefits. Beside him, the nearly breathless 9 nether magic flood dragon was struck with awe by Gu Change's prowess. Even at her peak, she could never have matched his strength. She found it hard to believe that Gu Changge had advanced so rapidly. Just half a month prior, she had been chasing him relentlessly, yet now, she was no longer his rival. Human, I hope you will treat my child with kindness. The 9 nether magic flood dragon spoke weakly. Gu Changge cast a glance, but remained silent. In a world governed by the law of the jungle, only the strong are entitled to survive. I shall transform into a demon core, and once my child is born, I hope you will pass this core to him. The 9 nether magic flood dragon summoned all her strength, infusing it into the beast core, perfectly transforming it into a demon core. The core flew toward Gu Changge and landed in his hand. This demon core contained the entirety of the 9 nether magic flood dragon's life force. Even if a beast of lower rank and weaker bloodline were to refine it, their cultivation would soar dramatically. Rest assured, I will see it through. Gu Changge pocketed the demon core and then turned to leave. With this demon core, the little one within the beast egg would hardly need to cultivate and could swiftly break through to the 8th level upon birth. Chapter 15. The bookish second brother is no simpleton in Eastwater County, the Gu family. Within a chamber, Gu Changge practiced the divine demon nirvana technique, unleashing torrents of demonic energy that enveloped the bloodthirsty demon tiger's core. A roar echoed. From within the core came the furious roar of a tiger. As a phantom of the bloodthirsty demon tiger materialized, clawing and gnashing its teeth, seeking to disperse the demonic energy. Gu Change's eyes glimmered with cold disdain as he proclaimed, "Even your true form is no match for me, let alone a mere shadow. Perish." The demonic energy within Gu Changge surged once more, coalescing into a colossal world-destroying demon. With a furious punch, the demon distorted the very fabric of space, and with a resounding boom, the bloodthirsty ghost tiger's spectral form was obliterated. Subsequently, the world-destroying demon devoured the core of the bloodthirsty ghost tiger, and a torrent of fierce power continuously flowed into Gu Changge's dantian. Notification: refine the 8th level bloodthirsty ghost tiger core, gaining 2,300 slaughter points. Host: Gu Changge. Demonic cultivation level. Initial stage of the Demon King realm. To break through to the minor completion of the Demon King realm requires 6,000 slaughter points. Slaughter points: 6,530. Physique: chaotic sword body. Technique: divine demon nirvana art. Martial arts: one sword determines life and death. Divine elephant suppresses hell technique. Demonic wave soul, severing step. Demon god palm. Weapon: Ganjiang moxie, celestial artifact. Ever-changing ice, silkworm mask, divine artifact. Upon refining the bloodthirsty ghost tiger's core, Gu Changge amassed a total of 2,300 slaughter points, with a cumulative total of 6,530 slaughter points. He was now poised to advance to the minor completion of the Demon King realm. System: elevate my demonic cultivation. Gu Changge commanded. Boom. The demonic energy within his dantian began to swell, and he smoothly transcended to the minor completion of the Demon King realm. The overwhelming demonic might surged forth, capable of toppling mountains with a mere gesture, a sensation of empowerment that Gu Changge relished. Notification: due to the continuous enhancement of the host's demonic cultivation, the 2 demon swords Ganjiang and Moxie have been upgraded to divine artifacts, and the divine elephant suppresses hell technique has cultivated to the level of profound elephant power. Boom. The 2 demon swords, Ganjiang and Moxie, erupted forth, saturating the room with their formidable presence. Ethereal laws of heaven and earth emanated from the swords, their terrifying might instilling a sense of dread. Clenching his fists, Gu Changge manifested a profound elephant behind him, radiating a divine brilliance, colossal in stature, exuding unfathomable power. The flesh of Gu Changge crackled with thunderous sounds as his physical strength surged once more. With my current physical prowess, a breakthrough to the major completion of the Demon King realm would enable me to contend with ascendant beings. Gu Changge's eyes burned with fervor, his entire being infused with the spirit of battle. If I could possess power on par with those in the ascendant realm, then aside from the sect leader and a few core elders, none among the 4 great factions would stand a chance against me. Elder brother, are you there? A gentle voice drifted in from outside the room, belonging to Gu Changge. Second brother? Gu Changge reined in his aura and opened the door. Gu Changge's gaze fell upon Gu Changge, and with a hint of astonishment, he remarked, Elder brother, you appear to be in far better spirits than before. Moreover, your vitality is remarkably vigorous, imparting an impression of a true powerhouse. At these words, Gu Changge felt a jolt of surprise within him, veiled by a systematic concealment. Even his father, Gu Yuanhong, remained oblivious to his vital energy. Yet, surprisingly, his bookish younger brother discerned it at a glance. An instinctive feeling told Gu Changge that his younger sibling was far from ordinary. However, Gu Changge harbored no concern. Even if Gu Changge could sense his vital energy, he would never fathom his true cultivation level. The system had entirely obscured his demonic cultivation, rendering it imperceptible even to the most formidable of sacred emperors. Perhaps the Huang blood immortal herb that my third sister gifted me previously has indeed worked wonders, Gu Changge mused with a smile. Upon hearing this, Gu Changge nodded skeptically. Subsequently, Gu Changge led Gu Changge to his chamber, and the 2 brothers clinked their cups together as they had done in times past. After a few rounds of drink, their cheeks flushed with warmth, Gu Changge remarked with delight, Elder brother, it has been quite some time since we last indulged in such spirited revelry, hasn't it? Ever since that night you drunkenly embraced a sow, we truly haven't enjoyed ourselves in this manner. Gu Changge chuckled in playful retort, Ah, brother, you are once again bringing up my past misfortunes. As Confucius wisely stated, do not speak ill of others, do not expose their shortcomings, do not dwell on their mistakes. Such is the path of the wise. Gu Changge's expression darkened, and he shook his head in response to Gu Changge's teasing. Hearing his younger brother recite poetry gave Gu Changge a headache, compelling him to interject, Enough. If you keep rambling on, we might find ourselves in darkness. Now tell me, what brings you here today? Gu Changge shook his head and replied, Elder brother, these are profound sayings. Since you are unable to cultivate at the moment, why not join me in some scholarly pursuits? It would surely broaden your horizons. Get to the point, Gu Changge retorted with an exasperated glance. Very well. Gu Changge conceded with a resigned smile, then produced a flower emanating a violet divine radiance from his sleeve. Is that the purple spirit body-forming flower? Gu Change's pupils constricted in shock as he exclaimed. The purple spirit body-forming flower was indeed a rare treasure, on par with the Huang blood immortal herb, possessing remarkable healing properties capable of mending even the gravest of wounds. Indeed, it is the purple spirit body-forming flower. I suggest you refine it when you have time and see if it has any effect on your dantian, Gu Changge said, extending the flower with a smile. A warmth enveloped Gu Change's heart, yet curiosity compelled him to inquire, "Younger brother, this purple spirit body-forming flower is highly sought after and rare. Where did you acquire it?" Upon hearing this, Gu Changge's eyes twinkled, and he replied, "Well, I visited the black market a few days ago, and a clueless old man happened to be selling it. I spent a few dozen spirit stones to procure it. Dozens of spirit stones for that." Gu Changge found it hard to believe. Sensing that his younger brother was spinning tales, he increasingly suspected that Gu Changge possessed secrets far beyond his comprehension. In the eyes of the various factions in Qingzhou, the Gu family's eldest was deemed a wastrel, while the second son was merely a useless bookworm, with the family pinning all hopes on the young girl, Gu Anlin. However, it is now apparent that Gu Changge is by no means an ineffectual scholar. Could it be that my second brother follows the Confucian path? Gu Changge suddenly pondered. The celestial realm is vast and boundless, divided into 9 major continents, where martial arts, demonic arts, swordsmanship, and Confucianism coexist. Yet, Confucianism often feels ethereal and impractical, as not everyone can attain the status of a great Confucian or even a Confucian sage simply through scholarly pursuits. "Eldest brother, what are you contemplating?" Gu Changge inquired tentatively. Gu Changge quickly replied with a smile, "Oh, it's nothing. I merely feel that you have stumbled upon a great fortune. The purple spirit body refining flower is indeed a rare treasure. Ha ha ha. I hope it proves beneficial for your dantian, dear brother." Gu Changge sighed in relief, then laughed heartily. The two brothers continued to exchange pleasantries until dusk, when Gu Changge finally took his leave. As he gazed at his brother's receding silhouette, Gu Changge murmured thoughtfully, "Second brother, how many secrets do you conceal from me?" Chapter 16. Gathering at Xinyuan Mountain. Conspiring after Gu Changge departed, Gu Changge began to refine the purple spirit body refining flower. This flower is an invaluable medicinal herb, said to have the power to restore life to the deceased, though here, the term deceased refers to those who still cling to life. Buzzing. Upon refining the purple spirit body refining flower, pure medicinal energy coursed through his body, subsequently being transformed into an abundance of magical power. Ding. Refined the purple spirit body refining flower. Gaining 2,800 slaughter points. Host. Gu Changge. Magical Realm. Minor completion of Demon King Realm. Requires 7,000 slaughter points to break through to major completion. Slaughter points. 3,330. Gazing at the information panel, Gu Changge sighed. Advancement in the realm of demonic arts becomes increasingly arduous. To achieve major completion of the Demon King realm requires a staggering 7,000 slaughter points. It seems I must continually complete slaughter tasks. A glint of determination flickered in his eyes, and he settled into a meditative posture, striving to cultivate diligently. The following day, Gu Yuanhong summoned all the elders and core disciples to the hall. The Xinyuan secret realm, which opens once every 5 years, was approaching, and Gu Yuanhong deemed it of utmost importance, preparing to make arrangements personally. The Xinyuan secret realm is a significant opportunity for Qingzhou, rumored to have been established by a formidable being of the life and death realm. Within it lies a plethora of heavenly materials and earthly treasures, along with powerful martial arts techniques. Moreover, access to the Xinyuan secret realm is restricted to young martial artists, specifically those under the age of 25 and below the Ascension realm. In the hall, the core disciples, led by Gu Anlin, numbered over 100. Throughout the past 6 months, Gu Anlin had been diligently in seclusion, striving to seize as many opportunities as possible within the Xinyuan secret realm. Her cultivation had made remarkable progress, now reaching minor completion of the divine concealment realm. Of course, among the Gu family disciples, the one with the highest cultivation was not Gu Anlin, but rather Gu Chun, the eldest elder's son, who at the age of 23 had achieved major completion of the creation realm. Following him was Gu Guanxing, the second elder's son, who at 21 had attained minor completion of the creation realm. The two individuals surpassed Gu Anlin in cultivation, having dedicated nearly a decade more to their training. It would be entirely reasonable for them to possess a higher realm of power, should Gu Anlin be afforded an additional decade of cultivation. It is quite likely she would ascend to the realm of transcendence. Esteemed guests, in 10 days, the sacred source secret realm shall be unveiled. This time, our Gu family is granted 30 spots. Any disciple ranked within the top 30 of the Gu family's combat rankings may accompany me, the family head, to Sacred Source Mountain. Gu Yuanhong announced to the gathering of core disciples. Upon hearing this, reactions among the disciples varied. Some were elated while others were disheartened. Naturally, those within the top 30 were jubilant, for entering the Sacred Source secret realm represented an extraordinary opportunity. Should they obtain rare treasures or formidable martial arts techniques, their martial prowess and innate talents could witness unparalleled enhancement. Yuan Chang, during my absence at Sacred Source Mountain, you shall oversee the affairs of the Gu family. Yuan Chang. Yuan Ming, you too shall accompany me to Sacred Source Mountain. Gu Yuan Hong instructed the three elders. Yes, family head. The three elders responded with deep bows. Gu Anlin, with resolute eyes, had prepared for this opportunity for 6 months. She was determined to seize as many fortuitous encounters as possible within the secret realm. If she were to discover healing treasures, she would ensure her elder brother obtained them. After the assembly concluded, Gu Yuanhong visited Gu Changge's courtyard. As the expedition to the Sacred Source secret realm would prevent his return for at least a month, he wished to see Gu Changge before his departure. Inside the room, Gu Changge's eyes suddenly opened wide as he sensed his father's presence. Changge, are you resting? Gu Yuanhong's deep voice resonated. Gu Changge opened the door and greeted, Father. Haha, Changge, you appear to be in excellent spirits. Gu Yuanhong exclaimed, patting Gu Changge on the shoulder with a smile. Previously, Gu Changge had a pallid complexion, appearing listless each day, but now he seemed transformed. Father, please take a seat. Allow me to pour you some tea, Gu Changge offered, leading Gu Yuanhong into the room. After they were seated, he poured a cup of tea. Seeing Gu Changge in good condition, a satisfied smile spread across Gu Yuanhong's face. Even if Changge cannot cultivate, what of it? As long as he remains safe and sound, I am content. I shall bear the family's burdens alone. Changge, tomorrow I will lead the family's disciples to Sacred Source Mountain. If you require anything, seek your mother or the elder, Gu Yuanhong advised, taking a sip of tea. Gu Changge nodded in acknowledgement. The Sacred Source secret realm held immense significance, requiring the collaborative efforts of 5 fully realized beings of reincarnation to unlock it. Thus, Gu Yuanhong felt compelled to make the journey himself. Father, go with peace of mind. There is no need to worry about me and my younger brother. Gu Changge assured with a smile. In the Gu family, 2 sons exist, one whose dantian has been rendered useless, and the other a mere bookworm, both unable to enter the Sacred Source secret realm. After a brief conversation between father and son, Gu Yuanhong departed. In the evening, Gu Anlin arrived at Gu Changge's courtyard. The siblings sat together in the garden, basking in the night breeze and listening to the chirping of crickets, as if momentarily forgetting all their troubles. Before long, Gu Anlin fell asleep on Gu Changge's shoulder, murmuring in her slumber, Elder brother, I will surely find the precious medicine to heal your dantian. Witnessing this, Gu Changge felt a pang of tenderness in his heart. Silly girl, my dantian has long since recovered. Once I possess the absolute strength to vanquish the 4 great forces, I shall reveal it to you. He gently lifted Gu Anlin and laid her on the bed, tucking her in before stepping outside to cultivate in the courtyard throughout the night. The following day, Gu Yuanhong and 2 elders led 30 core disciples of the Gu family to Sacred Source Mountain. Their steed, a swift shadow eagle, soared with remarkable speed, capable of covering 10,000 miles in a day. Departing from the Gu family, they would reach Sacred Source Mountain in no more than 6 days. The entire family gathered to bid them farewell, including Gu Changge and Gu Changge. Ding, entering the Sacred Source secret realm, slaying the elite disciples of the 4 great enemies. An estimated reward of 8,000 kill points. At that moment, a voice from the system echoed. The prospect of 8,000 kill points caused Gu Changge's pupils to constrict sharply, followed by a flash of icy killing intent in his eyes. The Sacred Source secret realm only permits young martial cultivators below the Ascension realm to enter, completely isolating them from the outside world. Should Gu Changge manage to infiltrate the Sacred Source secret realm, a massacre would ensue. Not long after the Gu family's departure, Gu Changge donned a black robe and similarly made his way to Sacred Source Mountain. At the foot of Sacred Source Mountain lay a small town named Lufeng Town. At this time, the 4 great forces had all arrived at Sacred Source Mountain, as the secret realm would not open for another 5 days. The elders and disciples of each faction took up residence in the town's modest inns. Within the somewhat rudimentary inn, the leaders of the 4 great forces convened once more. Alongside the most distinguished prodigies from their sections, a sinister killing intent hung in the air, as if they were conspiring. Chapter 17, Assassination, disguised as Shui Guangtian esteemed colleagues. The 3rd miss of the Gu family, Gu Anlin, has also arrived at Lufeng Town, and she will enter the Sacred Source secret realm alongside the Gu family disciples. This presents us with a splendid opportunity. 3 years ago, we had incapacitated Gu Changge. While Gu Changge remains a useless scholar, these 2 no longer pose a threat. Now, Only Gu Anlin remains as a potential hazard among Gu Yuanhong's children. If we could eliminate Gu Anlin, Gu Yuanhong would undoubtedly crumble, and the morale of the entire Gu family would suffer a severe blow. Lu Nanjia's gaze swept over everyone present, his voice laced with malice. Though the Gu family is already on the brink of collapse, the four great forces remain unconvinced and seek to eradicate any future threats. 3 years ago, the four major powers intended to annihilate the Gu family. However, Gu Yuanhong, a formidable being at the pinnacle of the reincarnation realm, along with the overall strength of the Gu family, posed a significant challenge. A direct confrontation would undoubtedly result in immense casualties for the four powers. Consequently, they resolved to gradually wear down the Gu family, especially since Gu Changge and Gu Changge had become effectively incapacitated. By subtly eroding the Gu family's foundation, they believed that its eventual demise was inevitable. During this period, the demonic cultivators began slaughtering disciples and even elders from the four powers, leading them to suspect that the Gu family was manipulating events from the shadows, seeking vengeance for the blood feud of 3 years prior. After all, in Qingzhou, the only entity capable of orchestrating such retaliation against the four powers was indeed the Gu family. I concur with Master Lu's assessment. The Gu family is a latent threat that cannot be allowed to persist. If we can eliminate Gu Anlin and others within the secret realm, it would be a devastating blow to the Gu family, said Pan Minglong, immediately echoing the sentiment. I agree as well. This time, not only is Gu Anlin present, but also Gu Chun and Gu Guanqing, both of whom possess considerable talent and bear the hopes of the Gu family. Should we succeed in their extermination, the Gu family would truly be left without successors. Yuan Tao Chong, the leader of the Wielding sect, spoke with a chilling demeanor, dismissing Gu Chun and Gu Guanqing as mere wastrels, both in their 20s yet only at the early stage of the creation realm, utterly unremarkable. Shui Guangtian, the son of the Tianya Pavilion, coldly mocked. This time, the younger generation of Tianya Pavilion would be led into the divine source secret realm by Shui Guangtian. Among the younger generation of the Gu family, only Gu Anlin was of note. Rest assured, father, I assure you that I will not allow Gu Anlin to leave the divine source secret realm, exclaimed a youth beside Pan Minglong. He was Pan Zijian, the son of the Tianjin sect, and at merely 17 years of age, he had already attained great mastery in the creation realm. Excellent. Upon entering the secret realm, your primary task is to join forces to eliminate the Gu family's younger generation. Leave no survivors. When we exit the secret realm, you will firmly assert that the Gu family's juniors were slain by powerful demonic beasts. After all, there will be no witnesses. If they dare to protest, we shall declare war on the Gu family directly. A sinister smile crept upon Pan Minglong's lips. Lu Nanjia and the others exchanged knowing smiles. Meanwhile, Du Fangxiu, the son of the Wielding sect, Shui Guangtian of the Tianya Pavilion, Pan Zijian of the Tianjin sect, and Zheng Kuan, the second-ranked prodigy of the Wuzhigong, all bore expressions filled with murderous intent and anticipation. Unbeknownst to them, a young attendant outside the door had overheard their entire conversation. A fierce crimson glint flashed in his eyes. He was none other than Gu Changge in disguise, with the concealment abilities granted by the Demon God system. Lu Nanjia and the others were completely unaware of his presence. Descending the stairs, Gu Changge's murderous intent intensified. 3 years prior, it was this very group that had besieged the Gu family, leading to the destruction of his dantian and the seizure of his divine body. 3 years have passed. Yet this group continues to conspire against the disciples of the Gu family. Lu Nanjia and Pan Minglong prepare to be astonished. Gu Changge thought coldly to himself. After midnight, the representatives of the four great powers finally departed. With over 600 elders and disciples in attendance, a single inn could hardly accommodate them. Thus each faction secured its own lodging. At the inn of Tianya Pavilion, the pavilion master Shui Hong and the divine son Shui Guangtian had returned. Tian, do not let your guard down in the next 5 days. The stronger your power becomes, the greater your chances of seizing opportunities in the secret realm. Shui Hong advised his son. Father, rest assured, I shall not disappoint your expectations. Shui Guangtian replied confidently. Hearing this, Shui Hong retired to his room with satisfaction, while Shui Guangtian ascended to the second floor to his own quarters. As soon as Shui Guangtian settled onto his bed, a knock echoed from the door. Furrowing his brow, he wondered, who could it be? Divine son, it is your humble servant, came an elderly voice from outside. Realizing it was Elder Wu, Shui Guangtian opened the door to find the aged figure before him. Elder Wu, what brings you here at such a late hour? He inquired, puzzled. Elder Wu smiled. The pavilion master has instructed me to deliver an item to you, saying it will be of great use in the divine source secret realm. Oh, what could be so urgent? Shui Guangtian's eyes sparkled with anticipation. It is of great importance, Wu replied with a faint smile, then closed the door behind them. What could it be that is so shrouded in mystery? Shui Guangtian pressed eagerly. Divine Son, you will see for yourself, Elder Wu said, extending a clenched fist. Shui Guangtian focused intently on the gesture. Suddenly, a sharp flash of sword light erupted, revealing the legendary swords, Ganjiang and Moi. In an instant, Shui Guangtian's head was severed, blood spraying as life swiftly ebbed away. A sinister smile crept upon Wu Xing's lips. Shui Guangtian, 3 years ago you were beneath me, and now you remain firmly beneath my heel. Removing his icy silkworm mask, he revealed a handsome visage, the true face of Gu Changge, who had assumed Wu Xing's appearance. Gu Changge incinerated Wu Xing's body completely, then meticulously cleaned the bloodstains before transforming into his likeness, even replicating his aura. Ah, this ever-changing icy silkworm mask is truly remarkable. Gu Changge mused, admiring his new face with a satisfied smile. With Shui Guangtian's visage, he could seamlessly infiltrate the divine source secret realm. Isolated from the outside world, Gu Changge anticipated a spree of chaos within the secret realm. Moreover, the disciples who enter the sacred source secret realm are the elite prodigies of the 4 great powers. Should they be slaughtered, the 4 factions will find themselves without successors, and even their very foundations will be shaken. Chapter 18. The uninvited arrival of the Holy Spirit Academy. The doomed Lusong 5 fleeting days passed swiftly, as the 4 great powers, alongside the Gu family, departed from Lufeng town, making their way towards Sacred Source Mountain. Towering into the clouds, Sacred Source Mountain rises majestically to a height of 90,000 meters, renowned throughout Qingzhou as a celestial mountain. In a picturesque valley, rich in spiritual energy, the 4 great powers arrived first. Gu Yuanhong, accompanied by the disciples of the Gu family, addressed the assembly with caution. Once you enter the Sacred Source secret realm, remember to exercise utmost vigilance and do not act alone. A flicker of concern crossed Gu Yuanhong's aged eyes. The 4 great powers eyed the Gu family with predatory intent, and no one could ascertain whether they might resort to treachery within the secret realm. However, it was imperative for the Gu family to partake in the Sacred Source secret realm, for it presented a rare opportunity. Over the years, the Gu family had been suppressed by the 4 great powers, leaving their resources scarce. If they failed to seize the Sacred Source secret realm, the gap between them and the younger generation of the 4 great powers would only widen. Rest assured, family head, we will exercise caution once we enter the Sacred Source secret realm, responded Gu Chun, Gu Guanxing, and the others earnestly. Gu Yuanhong nodded, and then proceeded into the valley. Ah, Brother Gu has arrived. Lu Nanjia greeted with a smile that concealed a blade. The elders and disciples from the other 3 great powers cast disdainful glances toward the Gu family members. 3 years ago, the Gu family was the foremost clan in Qingzhou, their overall strength comparable to the top-tier forces. However, after 3 years of struggling for survival, they had fallen behind the 4 elite powers significantly. Take the younger generation for instance. Neither Gu Chun nor Gu Guanxing could match the prodigies of the 4 great powers in cultivation. Moreover, Gu Chun and Gu Guanxing were the oldest among them, and their talents paled in comparison to the young elites of the 4 factions. Of course, had Gu Changge's cultivation not been rendered useless, all the prodigies present would have been overshadowed. Would you have been able to enter the Sacred Source secret realm if I had not come, Gu Yuanhong? He scoffed coldly. Ah, Brother Gu still maintains his assertiveness. However, your Gu family is no longer what it was 3 years ago. One must learn to bow. Only obedient dogs find a place to survive, Lu Nanjia openly ridiculed. Ha ha ha. The other 3 great powers erupted in laughter. Crack. Gu Yuanhong's face darkened, his fists clenched tightly. The aura of a powerful figure from the reincarnation realm subtly manifested, causing the atmosphere within the valley to become thick and oppressive. Several weaker disciples felt their faces flush and struggled to breathe. Gu Yuanhong, do you wish to start a war here? Pan Minglong, Shui Hong, and Yuan Taoqiang stepped forward, standing alongside Lu Nanjia to counter the mounting pressure. With gritted teeth, Gu Yuanhong had no choice but to relent. The Gu family no longer possesses the strength to engage in battle with the 4 major powers simultaneously. At this moment, the elders and disciples of the Gu family are filled with intense anger, their veins visibly throbbing. The audacity of these 4 formidable factions is nothing short of a blatant humiliation towards the Gu family. Shui Guangtian, the leader of the disciples from the Tianya Pavilion, briefly harbors a barely perceptible glimmer of murderous intent in his eyes. Today is indeed a lively spectacle, just as the atmosphere grows particularly tense. A hearty laugh resonates from outside the valley. An elder, exuding an aura of ethereal grace, clad in a flowing white robe, appears, accompanied by over 100 disciples, all dressed in matching attire. Gu Anlin's pupils constrict abruptly as her gaze falls upon the elder at the forefront, a surge of overwhelming killing intent surging within her heart. This man is Mu Weiming, the vice president of the Sacred Spirit Academy, who once led the 4 major powers to capture Gu Anlin. What brings the Sacred Spirit Academy here? The 4 major factions are equally taken aback. The Divine Source secret realm belongs to both the 4 powers and the Gu family, a coveted opportunity for their first-rate factions. Yet, does the Sacred Spirit Academy, a quasi-superior power, intend to partake as well? Are you all not welcoming the Sacred Spirit Academy? Mu Weiming's smile gradually fades, and he coldly inquires. Cough, how could that be? We are more than delighted to have you here, Director Mu. The crowd responds with feigned enthusiasm. Ha ha ha. Yes, we welcome all the prodigies from the Sacred Spirit Academy. Lu Nanjia and others step forward with smiles to greet them. The Sacred Spirit Academy, a quasi-superior force in Qingzhou, boasts a principal, Su Lianan, whose cultivation has reached the threshold of life and death. Both vice presidents are at the pinnacle of reincarnation. With merely the Sacred Spirit Academy, they could easily overpower the 4 major factions. Thus, Lu Nanjia and the others dare not utter a word of dissent. Ha ha ha, I knew you would not mind. Mu Weiming grins, expressing his satisfaction. Behind him stand 2 prodigies, a man and a woman, who are a couple. The man, named Lu Songquan, and the woman, Jin Yeye. Both occupy prominent positions on the Sacred Spirit Academy's prodigy list, ranking 2nd and 3rd, respectively. The former has reached the peak of the creation realm, while the latter has attained full mastery of the creation realm. Their innate talents and strength alone are sufficient to crush everyone present. Xiaolan, it's been a long time. Lu Songquan's gaze lingers on Gu Anlin, tinged with a hint of greed and lasciviousness. He had pursued Gu Anlin during their time at the Sacred Spirit Academy, but was harshly rebuffed. After Gu Anlin left the academy, he had reluctantly settled for Jin Yeye as his partner. Meanwhile, a flicker of displeasure crosses Jin Yeye's face, and a glint of malice appears in her eyes as she regards Gu Anlin. 3 years have passed, yet Lu Songquan remains infatuated with Gu Anlin. What is it about her that captivates him? Aside from her slightly better looks and superior talent, what makes her so special? Since leaving the academy, Gu Anlin's resources for cultivation have dwindled significantly, causing her to fall far behind Lu Songquan and Jin Yeye in strength. Ignoring Lu Songquan's greeting, Gu Anlin remained unresponsive, inciting Lu Songquan's ire. In the past, Gu Anlin had looked down upon him, elevated by her status just below the illustrious Deng Chun, the top contender on the celestial talents list. Yet now, reduced to merely possessing the cultivation of the divine concealment realm, what right did she have to maintain such arrogance? You vile woman, once we enter the secret realm, I shall relish the opportunity to trample you. A greedy smile crept upon Lu Songquan's lips. Enough. She is but a woman. Do not allow her to disrupt your resolve, Mu Weiming stated impassively. Yes, master. Lu Songquan nodded in agreement. At Tianya Pavilion, Shui Guangtian fixed his gaze upon Lu Songquan, having already placed him on his list of targets. To dare harbor ill intentions toward Xiaolan is a transgression deserving of 1,000 deaths. Initially believing that only the prodigies from the 4 major factions would attend, he was surprised to see even the Holy Spirit Academy had arrived. Nonetheless, this was fortuitous. It would allow Gu Changge to slaughter even more. Esteemed guests, it is time to initiate the opening of the Divine Source secret realm, Mu Weiming announced to the assembly. Please, Director Mu, let us commence immediately. Lu Nanjia replied with deference. Gu Yuanhong glared at Mu Weiming, his countenance darkened by simmering rage. Had Mu Weiming not surrendered Gu Anlin, his son Gu Changge would not have been forced to cripple his own cultivation. Gu Yuanhong, why do you linger? Do you require my invitation to act? Mu Weiming queried with a mocking tone. Gu Yuanhong, do not overstep, for offending the Holy Spirit Academy will bring ruin upon your Gu family. Will you not join us in opening the secret realm? Lu Nanjia and others rebuked vehemently. Gu Yuanhong's expression turned frigid. Were it not for the family behind him, he would have unhesitatingly struck back, willing to perish alongside these wretches. However, with hundreds of thousands of family members at stake, should he act recklessly, it would spell doom for the entire Gu clan. Reluctantly, Gu Yuanhong bore the humiliation and allied with Lu Nanjia and the others to unlock the Divine Source secret realm. Chapter 19. Entering the secret realm, must the Gu clan perish? The 5 formidable beings of the reincarnation realm unleashed their power in unison, overwhelming the sky with a terrifying force. Every disciple present felt a suffocating pressure. Masters of the reincarnation realm wield a fragment of reincarnation power. As long as a sliver of their essence remains, they cannot truly die, instead being reborn through the cycles of existence. This is a realm coveted by all martial cultivators. Yet, in Qingzhou, ascending to the reincarnation realm is no simple feat. Only the 4 great factions, the Holy Spirit Academy, the Gu family, and 3 superpowers possess such formidable beings. Boom. A thunderous roar echoed above the valley as the 5 reincarnation realm masters combined their might, unveiling an independent spatial gateway. Those who reach the life and death realm can forge their own space with their bare hands. The divine source secret realm was established by a formidable being at the life and death realm. Within it lie precious treasures of heaven and earth, along with martial arts techniques left behind by this powerful entity. At long last, the divine source secret realm has been unveiled. Songjin, Yu, lead the academy disciples into the secret realm, instructed Mu Weiming to his 2 disciples. Yes, master. Lu Songjin and Jin Ye, accompanied by over 100 disciples from the academy, leaped into the portal. Before the disciples of the Sacred Spirit Academy entered, the disciples from the 4 major factions could only watch and envy, not daring to act. Once the disciples of the Sacred Spirit Academy entered the secret realm, the disciples of the 4 factions swiftly followed through the portal. Shaolon, please ensure your safety. Gu Yuanhong admonished once more. Father, rest assured, we will look after ourselves. Gu Anlin replied, her beautiful eyes filled with determination, and then she led the Gu family disciples into the divine source secret realm. Isolated from the outside world, the realm was reminiscent of the divine source mountain, featuring majestic mountains and flowing waters. Roars of beasts echoed within, their ferocity unmistakable, indicating formidable levels. Gu Anlin cautiously surveyed her surroundings and instructed the group, everyone, stay close together. Do not act alone. Yes, third miss. The others understood that the 4 major factions had long been targeting the Gu family, so none dared to let their guard down. Gu Anlin chose a direction at random and led her kin forward. After approximately 6 hours, they arrived at the edge of a pond. Third miss. Could those fiery red fruits in the pond be fire lotus fruits? Exclaimed one disciple. What abundant spiritual energy. It must indeed be the fire lotus fruits. Another added excitedly. Heavens, there are over 100 fire lotus fruits. Ha ha ha, we are going to strike it rich. The Gu family disciples gazed eagerly at the pond, which was brimming with the vibrant red fruits, the fire lotus fruits. Gu Anlin's expression mirrored their joy. If she refined these fruits, her cultivation would soar. But let us not act recklessly. There may be powerful beasts guarding the area. Gu Anlin cautioned, drawing her jade sword and surveying the surroundings with vigilance. Gu Chun and Gu Guanqing followed closely behind, the 3 leading the way. Suddenly, a black leopard lunged forth, moving with astonishing speed toward the group. It's a level 6 black swift leopard. Everyone, be careful, Gu Anlin warned. Cloud-splitting slash. A fierce glint flashed in her beautiful eyes as she struck with her sword, landing a precise blow on the black swift leopard. Simultaneously, Gu Chun and Gu Guanqing unleashed their punches, and the leopard let out a wretched cry before dissolving into a mist of blood. Gu Anlin collected the leopard's beast core and then instructed the Gu family disciples to harvest the fire lotus fruits. Each fire lotus fruit is a rare treasure. Yet now they had over 100 in their possession. Each disciple of the Gu family is entitled to 3 fire lotus fruits, which, upon refinement, can elevate their overall strength by 1 or 2 minor realms. How fortunate you Gu family are to have discovered a pool of fire lotus fruits. Yet, it is a pity that your family lacks the fate to enjoy these resources, for today, all disciples of the Gu family shall perish. Just then, the disciples of the 4 major factions appeared simultaneously, as if they had been plotting this all along. Pan Zijian, Du Fangxiong, and Zheng Kuan from the 4 factions have all arrived. Have you conspired against the Gu family long before this? Gu Anlin furrowed his brow, his expression instantly growing grave. If it were merely a single faction's disciples, the Gu family might still have the means to retaliate. However, should the 4 factions join forces, the Gu family would stand no chance and would collapse in an instant. The Gu family ought not to exist at all, as long as you are slain. Gu Yuanhong's resolve will inevitably shatter, rendering the entire Gu family insignificant. Pan Zijian grinned, brandishing a sword of exceptional quality in his hand. The disciples of the 4 factions surrounded the Gu family members. Despicable, you vile and shameless rogues. Gu Chun gritted his teeth and cursed vehemently. Ha, Gu Chun. After 15 years of cultivation, you have only reached the pinnacle of the creation realm. Do you not feel ashamed? Pan Zijian stepped forward, also at the peak of the creation realm, and swung his sword fiercely at Gu Chun. Gu Chun dared not hesitate and immediately summoned all his strength to confront Pan Zijian. Attack! Du Fangxiong commanded the disciples of the Wind Clear sect. Kill! Not a single member of the Gu family shall be spared. The disciples of the Endless Palace charged forth as well. Du Fangxiong and Pan Zijian joined forces against Gu Chun, while Zheng Kuan faced Gu Guanqing. The highest-ranked Shui Guangtian could only contend with Gu Anlin. Under the siege, Gu Chun quickly fell. Gu Guanqing was similarly crushed. You seek death. Gu Anlin's expression turned icy, and he prepared to charge at the 4 factions. Brother Shui, Why do you hesitate to take action? Are you reluctant to harm a delicate flower? Hee, leave it to me. I assure you I will take good care of her. A lascivious grin spread across Pan Zijian's face. At that moment, Shui Guangtian's eyes turned blood red. A crimson sword light shot forth. Sizzle. Pan Zijian's hands were instantly reduced to a pulpy mess. Lord Sun, what transpired? Shui Guangtian, what are you doing? The disciples of the four factions were all taken aback, pausing in confusion to look at Shui Guangtian. They could not comprehend why Shui Guangtian had dealt such a severe blow to Pan Zijian. Shui Guangtian, are you seeking death? Pan Zijian roared in fury. How could one wield a sword without hands in the future? Shui Guangtian has utterly incapacitated him. The disciples of the Gu family were equally taken aback. Why would Shui Guangtian, the divine son of Tianya Pavilion, extend his assistance to the Gu family? Gu Anlin's beautiful eyes were fixed upon Shui Guangtian, her delicate face brimming with confusion. Divine son, what is the meaning of this? The expressions of all disciples from Tianya Pavilion turned ashen. What on earth is happening? Was it not agreed to join forces with the other three major factions to eradicate the Gu family disciples? Why has our own divine son suddenly changed his stance? Boom. Suddenly, the two enchanted swords, Ganjiang and Moxie, soared forth, a terrifying aura enveloping the heavens and the earth. Following this, countless sword lights descended, and in an instant, hundreds of disciples from Tianya Pavilion were transformed into a mist of blood. Hiss! Shui Guangtian, have you lost your mind? You even slay your own kind. Pan Zijian and others were so frightened that they staggered backward, their eyes filled with terror as they gazed at Shui Guangtian. They felt an unsettling strangeness about him, and questioned how he could possess such overwhelming power. Chapter 20. Frenzied Slaughter, 10 Consecutive Supremacies. Reward. A drop of primal true demon blood. Kill. The demonic energy within Shui Guangtian erupted violently as he gripped the two enchanted swords tightly. Thunderous roars. The dreadful demonic aura engulfed the surroundings, forcing the disciples of the other three factions to prostrate themselves upon the ground. You are that demon cultivator. The divine son of Tianya Pavilion is actually that cultivator of darkness. Shui Guangtian, have you gone mad? Spare us. We beseech you, spare us. At this moment, Pan Zijian, Du Fangxiong, and Zheng Kuan turned pale with fear, their eyes filled with despair. That demon cultivator has even slain formidable beings in the Ascension realm. What hope do mere novices like us in the creation realm have? Is he truly that demon cultivator? Was it he who saved me that day? Gu Anlin's pupils constricted sharply, and her gaze locked onto Shui Guangtian. You all must die. Shui Guangtian, who is actually Gu Changge, unleashed the demon wave soul severing step. A torrent of demonic energy rushing forth, turning the ground beneath into rivers of blood. The remaining disciples from the three major factions emitted the most harrowing screams. They were first shredded to pieces by the enchanted swords, only to be subsequently eroded by the demonic energy, leaving behind only fragmented bones. The air was thick with the acrid scent of blood. Out of over 600 disciples, only Pan Zijian, the divine son of the Tianjian sect, remained alive. These ants, who had not even ascended, posed no challenge for Gu Changge to eliminate. Of course, the reason for sparing Pan Zijian was to use him as a witness. Should he emerge from the secret realm, he would undoubtedly testify that Shui Guangtian is the merciless demon cultivator. At that time, it would be easy to frame Tianya Pavilion. Congratulations, host, for vanquishing the disciples of the four great powers, unlocking the extraordinary honor of 10 consecutive victories, and earning 8,000 points of slaughter value, along with an additional reward of a drop of primal true demon blood. The primal true demon blood will enhance the purity of the host's demonic lineage, allowing it to dominate all demon cultivators in the realm and amplify its demonic might, unleashing the formidable power of the primal true demon. Host, Gu Changge, Physique, Chaotic Sword Body. Primal true demon bloodline. Demonic cultivation level. Minor completion of Demon King realm. Requires 7,000 slaughter points to break through to major completion. Slaughter points. 11,330. As the primal true demon blood merged within Gu Changge, an uncontrollable surge of violent demonic power was birthed. Roar. Gu Changge howled at the sky, his entire being engulfed in blood-red demonic energy. In that moment, the heavens transformed, the previously clear skies replaced by a crimson hue. The might of the primal true demon erupted, instilling fear and pallor in the faces of all Gu family disciples. Fortunately, this demon cultivator did not turn against the Gu family, otherwise, none would have survived. This was undoubtedly the most terrifying demon cultivator they had ever encountered. Take the fire lotus fruit and leave. Gu Changge stated, devoid of emotion. Thank you for saving my life, senior. I, Gu Anlin, will remember this gratitude. Gu Anlin expressed her thanks to Shui Guangtian. After the Gu family disciples harvested the fire lotus fruit, they bowed once more to Shui Guangtian before departing. Third miss. Why did that demon cultivator help our Gu family? Gu Chun and Gu Guanqing were quite puzzled. Gu Anlin shook her head. I do not know, but I feel that gaze is familiar. Although he is enveloped in demonic energy, there is a hint of gentleness in that gaze. The world often speaks of demon cultivators as cruel and merciless. Yet I find them commendable for their audacity. They act decisively and eliminate those they despise without indiscriminate killing. This is the character that a cultivator should possess. Gu Chun unabashedly praised. After Gu Anlin and the others departed, Gu Changge commanded the system to elevate his demonic cultivation. Boom. The might of the primal true demon erupted, causing the demonic energy within his dantian to surge, propelling Gu Changge's cultivation directly to major completion of the Demon King realm. Host. Gu Changge, demonic cultivation level. Major completion of Demon King realm. Requires 8,000 slaughter points to break through to perfection. Slaughter points. 4330. A faint smile graced Gu Changge's lips. With the breakthrough to major completion of the Demon King realm, bolstered by the power of the mysterious phenomena and the might of the primal true demon, he was now capable of overpowering all ascended realm experts. Among the four great powers, aside from the formidable beings of the reincarnation realm, no one stood as his equal. Gu Changge stored the gravely injured and unconscious Pan Zijian into his spatial ring, then transformed into a swift shadow, darting away. His next target was the disciples of the Sacred Spirit Academy. 3 years ago, the Sacred Spirit Academy had exploited the four great powers, even offering up Gu Anlin. It was high time to settle this debt, especially that Lu Songjin, daring to harbor impure intentions towards Gu Anlin. Today Gu Changge will undoubtedly make him wish for life and death. In the secret realm of divine sources, within a cave brimming with spiritual energy. It is indeed Heart of the Earth Stone. Splendid. Once I refine these Heart of the Earth Stones, I shall swiftly ascend to the celestial realm. Lu Songjin's expression radiated delight, his eyes burning with fervor as he gazed at the translucent stones within the cave. Beside him, Jin Ye was equally elated. A single drop of Heart of the Earth Stone takes 100,000 years to form, and here, there are over 100 drops, requiring at least 1,000 or even 1 billion years to develop. Sizzle. Just as Lu Songjin prepared to collect the Heart of the Earth Stones, a shadow suddenly surged from outside the cave. Boom. A terrifying demonic aura erupted instantaneously. The hundreds of disciples from the Sacred Spirit Academy were instantly obliterated by the demonic might, their flesh and bones melding together in a gruesome display of bloodshed. This is dire. Reversal of fate. Lu Songjin, being the second-ranked prodigy of the Sacred Spirit Academy, displayed remarkable reflexes, promptly turning to unleash a martial technique. Bang! Lu Songjin's assault erupted, attempting to counter the demonic force. However, the next moment, Lu Songjin's offensive was utterly extinguished, and he was sent flying, spitting blood. Bang! Rumble! Lu Songjin crashed against the stone wall, causing the entire cave to tremble violently. The demonic energy invaded his body, making him tremble uncontrollably. As his bones and flesh began to contract, an utterly tragic sight. Songjin, Jin Ye, pale with fear, cried out in horror. Lu Songjin rolled on the ground. Howling in agony, Gu Changge, wielding the demonic sword, slowly emerged. The primal aura of true magic rendered Jin Ye speechless, rooted to the spot. She had no doubt that this demonic cultivator could extinguish her life with but a flick of his finger. You are Shui Guangtian? You are a demonic cultivator. Lu Songjin gritted his teeth, feeling as though millions of venomous insects were gnawing at him. Gu Changge paid no heed to Lu Songjin, unleashing the demonic sword. Its radiance sweeping through. Sizzle. Blood splattered, and Lu Songjin's pupils constricted sharply, before he clutched his groin and let out a wretched scream. Shui Guangtian, you shall meet a miserable end. Lu Songjin was rendered incapacitated, doomed to never be a man again. Jin Ye, her complexion ashen, fell to her knees, covering her mouth to stifle her cries. Yet, Gu Changge's demonic sword showed no signs of halting. Thousands of sword lights descended, peeling away Lu Songjin's flesh piece by piece. The pitiful wails echoed throughout the cave. Despair filled the eyes of Lu Songjin and Jin Ye, just as it had for Gu Changge 3 years prior. You may perish. After tormenting Lu Songjin to the brink of death, Gu Changge thrust the demonic sword forcefully. Boom. With a swift stroke, the sword fell, and Lu Songjin's body was reduced to mere powder, both bone and organ alike. Songjin, Jin Ye cried out, her body trembling. Gu Changge, wielding the enchanted sword, slowly turned to face Jin Ye, who harbored a fierce intent to kill against Gu Anlin as well. Please, spare me. I am willing to serve you for a lifetime. I shall do anything you desire. Jinya pleaded on her knees before Gu Changge. Yet, the enchanted sword in Gu Changge's hand struck out, and in an instant, Jinya's head was severed. Blood splattered against the stone wall, marking her demise. To harbor murderous thoughts against Shaolin means you must perish. Gu Changge declared coldly, his eyes blood-red. Ding, slayed 136 disciples of the Sacred Spirit Academy, earning 3,000 kill points. Host, Gu Changge, demonic path cultivation, major completion of Demon Lord realm, 8,000 kill points required for full completion. Kill points, 7330, the system's voice echoed. And Gu Changge was somewhat astonished to have slain several disciples of the Fate Transformation and Divine Concealment realms and be rewarded with 3,000 kill points. It seems the system also bears a grudge against the Sacred Spirit Academy. Sacred Spirit Academy, brace yourselves. This is merely the beginning. Gu Changge's eyes narrowed. Two icy beams of murderous intent shooting forth. Then, he gazed upon the crystalline heartstone milk, a treasure of immense value. Should he refine this heartstone milk, Gu Changge could directly break through to the full completion of the Demon Lord realm. Chapter 21. Full completion of the Demon Lord realm. Named Little Black approaching the heartstone milk, Gu Changge activated the divine demonic rebirth technique for refinement. With a thunderous roar, the primal true demonic bloodline erupted, and demonic energy surged forth, morphing into a fearsome and violent world-destroying demon. The heartstone milk was devoured by the world-destroying demon, transforming into a continuous stream of pure power. As Gu Changge absorbed the power of the heartstone milk, the beast egg within his dantian was also fervently drawing energy. Buzzing. The beast egg was enveloped in a violet flame, and tiny fissures began to appear. Could the nine-nether demonic flood dragon hatch soon? A glimmer of anticipation shone in Gu Changge's eyes. The nine-nether demonic flood dragon, returning to its ancestral bloodline, had the potential to evolve into a true dragon. Even within the entire immortal domain, true dragons are exceedingly rare. If Gu Changge were to acquire a true dragon as a spirit pet, his combat strength would undoubtedly soar. Ding, refined heartstone milk. Earning 4,000 kill points. Host, Gu Changge, demonic path cultivation. Major completion of Demon Lord realm, 8,000 kill points required for full completion. Kill points, 11,330, upon completing the refinement of the heartstone milk. Gu Changge received an additional 4,000 kill points. Full completion of the Demon Lord realm, breakthrough. Gu Changge commanded, and the demonic energy within his dantian surged violently. Boom. The formidable power of the primordial true demon enveloped the heavens and the earth, causing the entire space to tremble uncontrollably. A peerless great demon materialized, and with a mere wave of its hand, the very fabric of reality began to collapse. It was none other than that esteemed demon cultivator. Somewhere within the secret realm, Gu Anlin gazed reverently at the magnificent demon in the skies above. Such terrifying demonic might. Even ascendant beings would likely pale in comparison before this venerable demon cultivator. Fortunately, my Gu family has not offended this powerful figure, or else we would be in grave danger. Gu Chun and the others expressed their astonishment. The cave had long since transformed into a desolate ruin, and Gu Changge had successfully advanced to the pinnacle of the Demon King realm. He was now but a step away from the Demon Emperor realm. Once he breaks through to the Demon Emperor realm, Gu Changge would be capable of contending with the mighty beings of the Reincarnation realm. The Demon Emperor realm stands shoulder to shoulder with the Ascendant realm of martial arts. However, Gu Changge possesses the primordial true demon bloodline, the Chaos Sword Physique, and has cultivated the divine elephant suppression technique. Once he reaches the Demon Emperor realm, he would be able to challenge opponents of a higher level in the Reincarnation realm. Host, Gu Changge, demonic cultivation, pinnacle of the Demon King realm, 10,000 slaughter points required for breakthrough to the Demon Emperor realm. Slaughter points, 3,330, 10,000 slaughter points. You say? It appears I must take more lives. A chilling glint flickered in Gu Changge's eyes. At that moment, a melodious sound resonated from within his dantian. Upon inspecting his dantian, Gu Changge discovered that the young nine-nether demon flood dragon had been born. The little creature, with 4 claws and a sleek black body, exhibited a pair of majestic dragon horns. Why does this little one exude demonic energy? Gu Changge was taken aback, for he sensed the presence of demonic energy within the young nine-nether demon flood dragon. Could it be that, nourished by demonic energy, it has also birthed a seed of demonic essence within? Might my primordial true demon bloodline have been passed on to it as well? Gu Changge pondered with anticipation. If the young nine-nether demon flood dragon inherited the primordial true demon bloodline, its combat prowess would undoubtedly be greatly enhanced in the future. The young nine-nether demon flood dragon opened its eyes and locked gazes with Gu Changge. Its gentle eyes and playful tongue made it remarkably adorable. Gu Changge cradled it in his arms, and the little creature playfully licked his face. As the one who personally hatched the young nine-nether demon flood dragon, and with the presence of a demonic seed within, a bloodline connection existed between them. Thus, the little one harbored no resistance towards Gu Changge and regarded him as kin. Let me think of a fitting name for you, shall I? Gu Changge gently rubbed the little one's head, entering a state of contemplation. Suddenly, his eyes sparkled with inspiration. I have it. From now on, you shall be called Little Hay. This little one is entirely black, surrounded by demonic energy. It would be a pity not to name it Little Hay. The young nine-nether demon flood dragon seemed to understand Gu Changge's words and promptly let out a joyful cry. Ha ha! Gu Changge felt an immense joy in his heart. Subsequently, he took out the demon pill left behind by the nine-nether demon flood dragon before its demise. Upon catching a whiff of the demon core, Xiao Haizi's eyes widened in astonishment. However, a sense of familiar lineage rendered him momentarily entranced. This was a legacy bequeathed by your mother during her lifetime. Cherish it. Refine it, and soon you shall evolve into a formidable beast, Gu Changge encouraged Xiao Haizi. With a human-like nod, Xiao Haizi treasured the demon core particularly. Subsequently, Gu Changge exited the dantian while Xiao Haizi remained within, cultivating for growth. Now we await the conclusion of the divine source secret realm, Gu Changge remarked, glancing outside. He then released the unconscious Pan Zijian and disguised himself as Zhao Wen, Pan Zijian's attendant. Gu Changge feigned severe injuries and pretended to collapse to the ground. Several hours later, Pan Zijian awoke, startled by the pain coursing through his body. Ah, my hands. Is this not a dream? My hands are gone. Shuiguangtian. You shall not die a good death. He bellowed, his heart shattered, his cries filled with anguish. Shuiguangtian, at Tianya Pavilion, I shall ensure you pay dearly. Pan Zijian gritted his teeth, enduring the excruciating pain. Cough, cough. Your Grace, am I still alive? The devil, Shuiguangtian, is a devil. Zhaowen awakened, trembling as if struck by terror. Everyone else is dead? Pan Zijian surveyed his surroundings, fear still evident in his eyes. They are dead, all dead. Shuiguangtian slaughtered them all. Zhaowen spoke, his complexion pale. I shall make Tianya Pavilion pay dearly. Zhaowen, let us depart. Once we exit the secret realm, we shall be safe. With Zhaowen's support, Pan Zijian moved away into the distance. Outside the divine source secret realm, the four major factions, Holy Spirit Academy, Gu family, waited anxiously. 10 days had elapsed since the opening of the divine source secret realm. Surely, all the opportunities had been seized. With less than a day remaining before the realm's closure, a sinister smile crept across Lu Nanjie's lips. The disciples of the four factions had already conspired to massacre the Gu family's offspring upon entering the realm. Surely, the Gu family must have suffered total annihilation by now. Lu Nanjie exchanged knowing glances with his companions, eagerly anticipating Gu Yuanhong's impending breakdown. Once Gu Yuanhong crumbled, the four factions could effortlessly absorb the Gu family. Will Xiaolon be safe? Gu Yuanhong's heart sank upon noticing the sinister smiles of Lu Nanjie and the others. At that moment, he vowed silently, should Xiaolon come to harm again, he would risk everything to ensure the four factions would not have peace. Chapter 22. All of this is the doing of Shuiguangtian. He is that malevolent cultivator. As sunset approached, the spatial gate of the divine source secret realm reopened. 30 disciples from the Gu family, including Gu Anlin, were the first to be transported out. Xiaolon. Gu Yuanhong's tense heart instantly relaxed. Father, we are safe. Gu Anlin replied with a smile. Good, good, good. It's wonderful that nothing has happened. Little Lon, have you broken through to the initial stage of the creation realm? Gu Yuanhong asked, his eyes gleaming with astonishment. Gu Anlin nodded. Ha ha ha, splendid. Truly my daughter. Gu Yuanhong's face beamed with joy. Before entering the secret realm, Gu Anlin had only achieved minor success in the divine concealment realm. Yet now she had leaped 3 small realms to reach the initial stage of the creation realm. Gu Chun, have you reached the perfected stage of the creation realm? And there's even a hint of ascension realm aura about you. Could it be that you are on the verge of breaking through to the ascension realm? And Guancheng, you too have reached the perfected stage of the creation realm. Ha ha ha, this is marvelous. Gu Yuanhong and the 2 elders exclaimed excitedly. The Gu family's descendants had remarkably increased in strength after entering the secret realm. What is happening? However, Lu Nanjie and the others were bewildered. How could this be? The Gu family's descendants not only survived, but each had made astonishing advancements in their cultivation. Had the 4 great powers disciples worked together in vain? But wait, why had Feng Xiong and the others not emerged yet? Yuan Tao, the leader of the Wind Clear sect, furrowed his brow, a flicker of unease crossing his mind. Ma Wei Ming, the vice president of the Holy Spirit Academy, also wore a grave expression. What about Song Jin and Ye? Why were they still not seen? The over 100 students who entered the Divine Source Secret Realm were all prodigies of the Holy Spirit Academy. If anything were to happen, Ma Wei-ming would bear the responsibility. Gu family girl, have you seen any disciples from my Wujigong? And what of my disciples from the Wind Clear sect? Why have they not appeared? The four great powers erupted in chaos as Lu Nanjie and the others frantically inquired. All those who entered the secret realm were top-tier prodigies of the sect. If anything happened, the sect would be left with no successors. After all, the four great powers had expended countless resources to nurture them, especially Pan Zijian, the sole heir of the Heavenly Sword sect. Should anything happen to him, the Pan family might face extinction. After all, Pan Minglong was advanced in age, and having another child would be exceedingly difficult. I do not know, Gu Amlin coldly replied. Amlin, where are Song Jin and the others? Vice President Ma Wei-ming swiftly appeared before Gu Amlin, his demeanor commanding and his tone unmistakably authoritative. A cold glint flashed in Gu Amlin's eyes. It was this hypocritical Ma Wei-ming again. She loathed her lack of strength. Otherwise, she would have personally slain this false gentleman. What do you want, Ma Wei-ming? Gu Yuanhong stepped forward, positioning himself protectively in front of Gu Amlin. The two formidable beings from the reincarnation realm confronted each other, their terrifying pressure causing the air within several dozen miles to stagnate. Buzz. At that moment, two figures emerged from the portal, revealing the armless Pan Zijian and Zhao Wan. Jianer. Upon seeing Pan Zijian exit the secret realm, Pan Minglong's expression brightened with joy. But in the next instant, he froze, his countenance turning ashen. Jianer, where are your arms? Who did this? Pan Minglong was engulfed in fury. Their Tianjin sect had devoted generations to swordsmanship, and how could Pan Zijian wield a sword without his arms? As Pan Zijian stepped out of the labyrinth, Mu Wei-ming and others quickly gathered around him. Young friend Pan, why haven't the disciples of the Sacred Spirit Academy emerged? Mu Wei-ming inquired, his brow furrowed in concern. In the distance, Gu Amlin and others watched impassively. The disciples of the four major factions had long been slaughtered by the demonic cultivators. It was feared that the disciples of the Sacred Spirit Academy had met the same fate. How absurd it was for Mu Wei-ming and the others to hope for the return of their students from the Divine Source Secret Realm. They are dead, all of them. Pan Zijian's face was filled with terror as he recalled the brutal scene within the secret realm, sending chills down his spine. That would become the nightmare of his life, a memory from which he could never escape. What? Dead? Impossible. Mu Wei-ming exclaimed in shock. Song Jin is at the pinnacle of the transformation realm. Who could possibly kill him? The revelation struck him like a thunderbolt. All 130 prodigious students had perished, including Lu Songjin, ranked second on the prodigy list. How was he to explain this to the dean upon his return? Boom. The aura of a perfected reincarnation realm erupted, plunging the world into darkness. A terrifying pressure enveloped the area, leaving everyone feeling as though they were crushed beneath a mountain, unable to move. Mu Wei-ming was enraged. He had initially hoped to gain from the Divine Source Secret Realm, only to endanger the lives of over 100 prodigious students. Who dares to kill my Sacred Spirit Academy's disciples? Speak. Mu Wei-ming demanded angrily. Lu Nanjie and others were equally infuriated. Out of over 600 disciples from the four major factions, only Pan Zijian and Zhao Wan had survived. This inflicted immense losses on the four factions as well. Shui Guangtian, it was all his doing. Pan Zijian suddenly turned his gaze toward the members of Tianya Pavilion, his eyes bloodshot as he shouted. Upon hearing this, Pavilion Master Shui Hong was taken aback. His son was responsible? His son was a demonic cultivator? Why had he never known as a father? Pan Zijian, have you lost your mind? How could my son possibly be a demonic cultivator? And none of the disciples from Tianya Pavilion emerged alive. Did my son kill his own comrades? Shui Hong's face turned pale, overwhelmed by the fury of the three major factions and the Sacred Spirit Academy. A burden that Tianya Pavilion could scarcely bear. Was it so strange that Shui Guangtian had fallen into the demonic path, becoming a ruthless killer who slaughtered his own peers? Zhao Wan, please enlighten them. Upon hearing Shui Hong's defense, Pan Zijian's teeth ground in frustration. Zhao Wan trembled uncontrollably, his complexion ashen, radiating palpable fear. Yes, it was Shui Guangtian. He exuded a malevolent aura, wielding two cursed swords, slaughtering disciples from the three major factions. I fear that the disciples of the Sacred Spirit Academy have also met their demise, Zhao Wan stammered. Shui Hong was rendered speechless. Although Pan Zijian's testimony alone could be dismissed as deceit, the corroboration of two witnesses rendered Tianya Pavilion culpable. Boom. Shui Hong, you have truly raised a remarkable son. Over 130 disciples from our Sacred Spirit Academy have been mercilessly slaughtered by your son. Very well. Let the lives of these 130 disciples serve as a funeral offering for all of Tianya Pavilion. Mu Wei-ming roared in fury. his complete mastery of reincarnation erupting in a formidable aura. Shui Guangtian is that demonic cultivator? Does that imply that the more than 200 disciples and over 20 elders from the Wujigong met their tragic end at his hands? Tianya Pavilion. So it appears you are the orchestrators of this calamity. The master of Wujigong, Lu Nanjia, was equally incensed, unleashing a terrifying presence that bore down upon Xuehong. The four formidable beings of perfected reincarnation directed their ire squarely at Tianya Pavilion. Chapter 23, Dogs Bite Dogs. Xuehong, what further explanations could you possibly offer? Yuan Taoqiang, the leader of the Fengqing sect, and Pan Minglong, the master of the Tianjian sect, were similarly enraged. The four perfected reincarnation experts unleashed their profound energies, enveloping all Tianya Pavilion's powers, including Xuehong. Dean, this is undoubtedly a misunderstanding. Xuehong's face stiffened, his composure shattered. How could his own son have turned into a demonic cultivator? A misunderstanding? Huh. Mu Weiming scoffed coldly, then unleashed a palm strike. The wind howling and the air cracking. The palm strike of a perfected reincarnation master summoned the might of heaven and earth, shattering the void for miles around. Crack. As the strike landed, Xuehong was sent flying, emitting a cry of despair. Despite being a perfected reincarnation master himself, Xuehong dared not retaliate. For Mu Weiming was the vice president of the Sacred Spirit Academy. Offending the Sacred Spirit Academy would spell doom for Tianya Pavilion. Pavilion Master. The dozen elders who had accompanied him changed countenance, exclaiming in alarm, "And you lot of miscreants." Lu Nanjia's expression turned fierce, and with a swift movement of his body, he appeared before the dozen elders in an instant. Bang! With a punch unleashed, the full force of his perfected reincarnation erupted. Boom. The elders of Tianya Pavilion were sent reeling, crashing onto a mountain peak, their fates uncertain. Lu Nanjia, could you not be so impulsive? There must be some misunderstanding in this matter. Xuehong's face had swollen grotesquely, resembling that of a pig, as he roared in fury. He could not afford to offend the Holy Spirit Academy, but he felt capable of confronting the Wuji Palace, especially since the latter had recently suffered the loss of 10 ascended masters. Should a conflict arise between Wuji Palace and Tianya Pavilion, the outcome was far from certain. A misunderstanding? Your son has descended into the demonic path, becoming a demon cultivator, slaughtering over 20 elders and more than 300 talented disciples of my Wuji Palace. And you dare to claim this is a misunderstanding? Lu Nanjia's face flushed crimson, denying Xuehong any respite, as he unleashed a powerful palm strike. The Wuji Palm. This blow summoned the winds of heaven and earth, crashing violently towards Xuehong. You have gone too far. The broken wave dragon seal. Xuehong, unable to endure any longer, retaliated with a formidable earth-level martial art. Bang! The clash of two fully realized masters of the reincarnation realm caused the void to collapse and the earth to shatter. Xuehong, do you still have the audacity to fight back? Mu Weiming charged forth in rage once more. The Holy Spirit Academy had lost 130 talented disciples, and if he did not return with Xuehong's head, he would have no explanation for the Academy's president. Boom. Uft. Mu Weiming and Lu Nanjia joined forces, quickly overwhelming Xuehong. Severely injured, Xuehong staggered backward, feeling as if he were living a fate worse than death. Having lived most of his life, he had never felt so humiliated. Nearby, Gu Yuanhong and the others were left in disbelief. What was happening? That demon cultivator was actually Shui Guangtian? Once unified, the four great forces were now engaged in a fierce conflict, putting on a spectacle of mutual destruction. It was undeniably thrilling to witness. Standing beside Pan Zijian, Zhaowen wore a barely noticeable smirk. This was the outcome he desired, to manipulate the four great forces and the Holy Spirit Academy into chaos. Bang! Xuehong was crushed mercilessly, his breath growing shallow. Dean Mu, this is truly a misunderstanding. If my son has embraced the demonic path, how could I, as his father, remain unaware? Moreover, why are the Gu family disciples unharmed? This is clearly a frame-up. As he lay in a pool of blood, Xuehong desperately pleaded in his final moments. Upon hearing this, Mu Weiming and Lu Nanjia halted their assault. Indeed, they had overlooked a crucial point. Why had the corrupted Xuehong not attacked the Gu family disciples? Xuehong had annihilated all his own Tianya Pavilion disciples. It made no sense for him to spare those of the Gu family. Are you suggesting that the demon cultivator was one of the Gu family members, merely disguised as your son? A cold glint flashed in Mu Weiming's aged eyes. It must be so. That demon cultivator was likely adept at disguise. If Dean Mu harbored any doubts, he could investigate the Gu family disciples. No matter how skilled one might be in the art of disguise, it was impossible to fabricate a cultivation aura. A flicker of hope glimmered in Xuehong's eyes as he hurriedly responded. Upon hearing this, Gu Yuanhong's expression darkened instantly. Was Shuehong attempting to divert blame? Shuehong, what do you mean by this? Do you truly believe my Gu family is easily bullied? Gu Yuanhong gritted his teeth in anger. Isn't it clear that the actions were perpetrated by your Gu family disciples? A simple search would reveal the truth. Shuehong, suppressing excruciating pain, stood up and spoke with fervor. Beside them, Zhao Wen's eyes flashed with a hint of murderous intent, which quickly dissipated. After all, he was not part of the Gu family's ranks, making it nearly impossible for Shuehong and the others to uncover the truth. Moreover, Gu Changge, having disguised himself, could even fabricate his own cultivation aura, rendering Shuehong and his companions powerless to identify him. Gu Yuanhong, I shall personally investigate each disciple of your Gu family. Should it be revealed that you are indeed responsible, I will not let you off lightly. Mu Weiming stepped forward, unleashing his complete cultivation aura that enveloped all the Gu family disciples. A chorus of anguished cries erupted from the Gu family disciples, as they felt as though their bodies were being crushed into a pulp. Mu Weiming Gu Yuanhong clenched his fists, feeling as if the Gu family were mere lambs awaiting slaughter, at the mercy of their adversaries. Such humiliation was unbearable, yet Mu Weiming paid no heed to Gu Yuanhong, moving instead into the Gu family ranks to inject a trace of his energy into them for examination. This method was perilously risky, with a mere thought. The residual energy within the Gu family disciples could claim their lives in an instant. Mu Weiming, if you fail to uncover the truth, will your Holy Spirit Academy not owe my Gu family an explanation? Gu Yuanhong's eyes burned with fury. An explanation? Huh? Does the Holy Spirit Academy need to justify its actions? Mu Weiming scoffed, showing no regard for Gu Yuanhong whatsoever. The entire Gu family seethed with indignation. Simultaneously, they swore to diligently train, vowing that once they grew stronger, they would ensure that these contemptuous individuals faced retribution. After a thorough investigation, Mu Weiming found no anomalies. Shuehong, I have detected nothing unusual. What do you have to say for yourself? Mu Weiming snorted coldly, then abruptly turned, unleashing a formidable pressure that once again bore down upon Shuehong. Shuehong found himself utterly immobilized, rendered speechless by the circumstances. Since there is nothing more to discuss, let us return to the academy. Brother Liu, I trust that the three major factions will securely seal the Tianya Pavilion. No one is to be released until the truth has been ascertained. Mu Weiming bound Shuehong and stormed away. Rest assured, we shall keep a close watch on the Tianya Pavilion. Lu Nanjie and the others responded respectfully. This time, the Tianya Pavilion was utterly doomed. Even if it escaped annihilation, its fate would be far from favorable. This humiliation would be etched into the annals of the Gu family. Let us depart. Gu Yuanhong led the disciples of the Gu family away in a fit of rage. The unjust search conducted by Mu Weiming, which yielded no results and left them without an explanation, incited the ire of the Gu family. Each disciple harbored a smoldering anger within their hearts. Yet, they felt utterly powerless, for the current circumstances of the Gu family were dire, and there was a lack of capable successors. Had the eldest son, Gu Changge, not suffered the destruction of his dantian, his prodigious talents would have surely allowed him to dominate the entire Qingzhou within a decade. Alas, fate has conspired against the gifted, reducing the eldest son to a mere shadow of his former self. How much longer the Gu family could endure remained uncertain. As he gazed at his father's furious silhouette, a glimmer of determination flashed in Gu Changge's eyes. He vowed to break through to the Demon Emperor realm at the earliest opportunity, whereupon he would possess the strength to contend with formidable opponents of the reincarnation realm. At that juncture, the four great powers and the Holy Spirit Academy would find no respite. Chapter 24, Kill. The despair of Pan Minglong. The news of the Divine Source secret realm swiftly spread throughout Qingzhou. The four great powers and the illustrious disciples of the Holy Spirit Academy were mercilessly slaughtered by Shui Guangtian, who had succumbed to the demonic path, sending shockwaves across Qingzhou. No one had anticipated that the son of Tianya Pavilion, Shui Guangtian, would actually fall into the abyss of darkness. The Tianya Pavilion was now under the control of the four great powers, and the pavilion master, Shuehong, had been escorted by Mu Weiming to the Holy Spirit Academy, where his fate seemed grim. The greatest beneficiaries of this venture into the Divine Source secret realm were the Gu family. Although they endured some humiliation, the disciples of the Gu family gained opportunities for advancement in their cultivation. In stark contrast, the disciples of the four great powers and the Holy Spirit Academy were all mercilessly slaughtered, and it would likely take centuries for them to recover their vitality. In the ancient chambers of the Heavenly Sword Sect, Sect Master Pan Minglong summoned a renowned divine physician and laid out all the precious materials within the sect, hoping to restore his son, Pan Zijian's severed arms. Despite consuming an abundance of these treasures, Pan Zijian's complexion remained pale, and his eyes were filled with dread. Oldly, how is Zijian's condition? Pan Minglong inquired, his expression tense. Pan Zijian was his only son, and given Pan Minglong's current state, he could not possibly father another. Should anything happen to Pan Zijian, the Pan family would face extinction. The divine physician, referred to as Old Li, shook his head, responding, Sect Master. While the external injuries of the son can be healed and his arms can be regrown, the shattering of his Tao heart may prove insurmountable. What? Pan Minglong's pupils constricted sharply. Was there truly no hope? Unless they located that demonic cultivator and had the son personally slay him, the chances of restoring his Tao heart were quite slim. My suggestion is for the son to settle down and establish a family early, Old Li stated, rising to address Pan Minglong. Upon hearing this, Pan Minglong grasped Old Li's intention. Pan Zijian was effectively rendered a shell of his former self, living in perpetual fear, uncertain of when his life might extinguish. Thus, the most prudent course of action would be for Pan Zijian to marry and have children, ensuring the continuation of the Pan lineage. Alas, enough. The fact that Zijian is alive is already a stroke of fortune. Pan Minglong has resigned himself to this fate. After all, among the four great powers, nearly 800 disciples from the Sacred Spirit Academy entered the secret realm, yet only his son, Pan Zijian, emerged unscathed. This is indeed a rare blessing amidst misfortune. Zhaowen, keep a vigilant eye on Zijian. If anything happens, report directly to me, the Sect Master. Pan Minglong instructed Zhaowen outside the door. Yes, Sect Master. Zhaowen replied with a bow. Subsequently, Pan Minglong left with Elder Li, watching their retreating figures. A cold smirk crept onto Zhaowen's lips. Pan Zijian is the sole bloodline of the Pan family and the last hope of Pan Minglong. Yet, Gu Changge intends to extinguish this final hope. Creak. Gu Changge pushed the door open and strode toward the bed where Pan Zijian lay. Poor Pan Zijian, first rendered armless, then shattered in spirit, and now reduced to a mere tool by Gu Changge. Demon, you are a demon. Zhaowen, save me. Pan Zijian trembled at the recollection of the scene in the Divine Source secret realm, shouting in terror. Do not fear, my lord. I am here. Gu Changge, disguised as Zhaowen, approached slowly to offer comfort. Upon seeing Zhaowen, Pan Zijian's expression softened slightly. My lord, how about I take you to meet Zhaowen? Gu Changge suddenly flashed a wicked smile. Upon hearing this, Pan Zijian frowned. Aren't you Zhaowen? Am I? Gu Changge replied, his eyes widening, urging, look closely at who I truly am. He removed the ice silkworm mask, revealing his true visage. Gu. Pan Zijian's words were cut short, and in the next instant, his tongue was severed by a flash of sword light. Whoa! Pan Zijian shook his head frantically, as if he had stumbled upon an earth-shattering secret. An overwhelming demonic aura erupted from Gu Changge, and the terrifying demon he feared most re-emerged. It turned out that Gu Changge was that demon cultivator. Shui Guangtian and Zhaowen were merely his disguises. The four great powers and the Sacred Spirit Academy had all been played. The mastermind was none other than the so-called waste of the Gu family, Gu Changge. Gu Changge had fallen into the path of darkness. You are the only one who knows my true identity, but soon you shall perish. Yet, you shall not be alone. For I will soon annihilate the four great powers and the Sacred Spirit Academy, sending them to keep you company. Gu Changge's eyes glowed crimson, a sinister grin gracing his lips. Pan Zijian, terrified, shook his head vehemently. However, in the next moment, the demonic sword struck, severing his head cleanly. Blood splattered against the walls in a gruesome spectacle. Gu Changge smiled triumphantly as he retrieved the prepared corpse of Zhaowen, placing it in the room. Then, wielding the demonic sword, he inscribed a line of blood upon the walls. The three great powers besiege my Tianya pavilion, and the Sacred Spirit Academy has captured my father. This debt, I, Shui Guangtian, shall repay 100-fold, 1,000-fold. Pan Zijian is merely the beginning. After completing all these tasks, Gu Changge left with a sense of satisfaction. After all, Shui Guangtian had already become the scapegoat, so this minor accusation held little weight. He believed that upon learning of this, Pan Minglong would undoubtedly be enraged and rush to Tianya Pavilion, now that Shui Hong was no longer guarding it. Even a single perfected practitioner of the reincarnation realm could easily annihilate it. I wonder if I could acquire slaughter value by having someone else eliminate Tianya Pavilion? Gu Changge mused with interest in the darkness outside the Tianjian sect. The following day, Pan Minglong arrived at Pan Zijian's courtyard accompanied by a woman of exquisite beauty and graceful figure. If you can bear me a robust son for the Pan family, this sect master will surely reward you handsomely, Pan Minglong advised the enchanting woman. Rest assured, my little girl will do her utmost, the graceful woman replied with a bow. Good. Pan Minglong smiled in satisfaction, and then pushed open Pan Zijian's door. Blood-red characters met his eyes. The corpse of Zhao Wen, alongside the disfigured body of his own son, Pan Zijian. No, no, this cannot be true. This absolutely cannot be true. Heaven is unjust. Why must my Pan family be cut off from its lineage? Roared Pan Minglong. Tianya Pavilion. This sect master will not rest until we settle this score. Enraged, Pan Minglong's perfected reincarnation realm aura erupted fiercely. What has happened? The elders, stewards, and core disciples of the Tianjian sect rushed in, trembling with fear. Summon all elders and disciples above the creation realm. We shall march on Tianya Pavilion, Pan Minglong declared, his face contorted with rage, veins bulging, wielding a divine sword, and immediately soared into the air. Yes, Sectmaster. Over 10,000 elders and disciples of the Tianjian sect followed Pan Minglong, charging toward Tianya Pavilion. Chapter 25. The rapid advancement of Little Heizi, breaking through to level 6 beast in half a month on this day. Pan Minglong, the sect master of Tianjian sect, led the elite members of the sect into direct battle with Tianya Pavilion. Without Shui Hong to defend it, Tianya Pavilion was mercilessly slaughtered by Pan Minglong. Akin to lambs awaiting slaughter, utterly defenseless. Everyone recognized that one of the four great powers, Tianya Pavilion, was on the brink of destruction. The once thriving Tianya Pavilion, with a legacy spanning millennia, was ultimately brought to ruin by Shui Guangtian, a truly lamentable fate. Now, among the four great powers, Tianya Pavilion faced extermination. While the other three powers suffered significant losses, their young talents slaughtered and their vitality severely wounded. The Gu family, long oppressed, finally found a moment to breathe. Gu Anlin and others had gained considerable opportunities within the divine source secret realm, and upon returning to the family, they began to enter closed-door cultivation. In his chamber, Gu Changge had just completed his meditation. Ever since merging with the primordial true demon's blood, his demonic cultivation had become even purer, and his demonic might increasingly formidable. Tianya Pavilion should soon face annihilation. A sinister smile crept across Gu Changge's lips. He is now filled with anticipation, wondering whether he will gain slaughter points after the annihilation of the Tianya Pavilion. As one of the four major forces besieging the Gu family, the destruction of the Tianya Pavilion will undoubtedly yield a significant amount of slaughter points. Roar. Just as Gu Changge was lost in thought, a resounding dragon roar echoed from within his dantian. Simultaneously, a formidable beastly aura erupted, marking Little Heizi's breakthrough. Has he reached the 5th level? Gu Changge's expression was one of astonishment. He never anticipated that Little Heizi could ascend to a 5th level demon beast in merely half a month. 5th level demon beasts are comparable to the Nirvana realm in martial arts. Typically, a martial cultivator requires 5 to 10 years to reach the Nirvana realm. Yet, Little Heizi accomplished this in just half a month. However, this is to be expected, as Little Heizi possesses an exceptionally high bloodline, particularly with the presence of ancestral traits, which endows him with remarkable cultivation talent. Moreover, the 9 nether magic flood dragon transformed into a demon core before its demise. Once Little Heizi refined it, he could break through without encountering any bottlenecks. The demon core contains the entirety of the 9 nether magic flood dragon's life force, sufficient to allow Little Heizi to cultivate to the 7th level without hindrance. Gu Changge summoned Little Heizi. Despite being born only half a month ago, Little Heizi now stood at an impressive 2 meters in height. His dragon claws were exceedingly sharp, and a pair of dragon horns exuded terrifying power, while his entire body was enveloped in 9 nether flames. Greetings, Master. Little Heizi, now a 5th level demon, could articulate human speech. Gu Changge smiled with satisfaction and approached to pat his head. Little Heizi, you have now attained the 5th level. You can transform into human form, correct? Little Heizi nodded but hesitated, saying, Master, I have not encountered anyone other than you. I lack a reference for transformation. Fear not. Simply model your transformation after me. Gu Changge reassured him, showing no concern. Thank you, Master. Little Heizi extended his tongue to lick Gu Changge. He had initially feared that his master would scold him, but it seemed he had worried unnecessarily. Buzz. Little Heizi transformed into a handsome young man. His eyes and nose were remarkably similar to Gu Changge's, leading any onlooker to believe they were biological brothers. Master, how is this? Little Heizi asked with a cheerful smile. Gu Changge cleared his throat. That will suffice. Little Heizi, as a demon beast, mere cultivation is insufficient. You must also engage in constant combat. You need to cultivate your bloodthirst and ferocity. Gu Changge advised Little Heizi earnestly. Little Heizi nodded, expressing his willingness to follow his master's directives. Very well, let us proceed to the Yunwu mountain range. Gu Changge stealthily left the Gu family with Little Heizi, heading toward the Yunwu mountain range. deep within a dense forest of the Yunwu mountain range. A 6th-level iron rhinoceros beast was fleeing in disarray, hunted by a demon cultivator who had set his sights on it. The demon cultivator possessed the complete mastery of the Demon King realm, wielding dual swords. His mere presence instilled a tremor throughout the iron rhinoceros beast. Thus, disregarding all else, the beast turned tail and fled. Wretched creature, where do you think you are going? Suddenly, a shadow appeared before the iron rhinoceros, revealing Gu Changge. We have done you no harm. Why must you torment me so? The beast inquired, its voice quaking with fear. Gu Changge, however, paid no heed to its pleas. Instead, he emotionlessly asked, do you wish to receive a chance at life? Upon hearing this, the iron rhinoceros eagerly nodded. As long as the esteemed demon cultivator spares my life, I am willing to serve you as a beast of burden. That will not be necessary. Your bloodline is too inferior, Gu Changge coldly replied. Though rejected, the iron rhinoceros dared not speak further. Soon after, a figure emerged, Xiao Haizi, whose massive dragon-like form startled the iron rhinoceros. Is that the 9 nether demon dragon? Why does it exude such terrifying demonic energy? The beast uttered with trepidation. If you can defeat him, then today you may spare your life. Gu Changge declared to the iron rhinoceros. Are you certain? Though the 9 nether demon dragon possesses a powerful bloodline, it is merely of the 6th tier. How could it possibly be my opponent? The iron rhinoceros exclaimed, its eyes gleaming with arrogance. Upon hearing this, the bloodline within Xiao Haizi surged. The air reverberated with a thunderous roar as the 9 nether flames blazed fiercely, incinerating the surrounding trees. How? The disdainful words of the iron rhinoceros filled Xiao Haizi with indignation. He bore the bloodline of the 9 nether demon dragon. And although he was only at the 6th tier, he was more than a match for a 7th tier beast. You shall meet a most gruesome end. The 9 nether demon dragon surged forth, its tail sweeping the air with a tempestuous wind. How could such power exist? The iron rhinoceros was taken aback, immediately bracing itself with its most formidable defense. A terrifying force erupted from the iron rhinoceros, attempting to withstand the dragon's tail strike. Boom! Yet upon collision, the iron rhinoceros was sent flying, emitting a mournful cry. Roar! Xiao Haizi spared the iron rhinoceros no respite, soaring into the sky and enveloping the heavens above. Subsequently, he unleashed a fire lotus, engulfing the iron rhinoceros. No, please. Despair spread across the beast's face as it never anticipated meeting its demise at the hands of a 6th tier beast. Boom! The fire lotus descended, incinerating the iron rhinoceros entirely, leaving not even a trace of its bones. The beast's core flew forth, swallowed whole by Xiao Haizi, transforming into a surge of ferocious power. Very well done, Gu Changge remarked with a satisfied smile. Xiao Haizi had effortlessly slain a 7th tier beast with his 6th tier strength, showcasing an extraordinary level of power. The system's voice unexpectedly resonated. Ding! Due to the host's scheming, aside from Shui Hong, the entire Tianya Pavilion has been annihilated, and the host has acquired 12,000 points of slaughter value. Gu Changge felt a surge of delight at this revelation. The complete destruction of Tianya Pavilion had indeed yielded him a substantial amount of slaughter value, with a total of 12,000 points. He was now poised to transcend to the realm of the Demon Emperor. Once he achieved this breakthrough, Gu Changge would possess the strength to contend with formidable beings of the reincarnation realm. Chapter 26. Breaking through to the Demon Emperor realm. Lu Ping emerges, host. Gu Changge, physique, chaotic sword body. Primal true, demon bloodline. Demonic cultivation level. Perfect demon king realm. To advance to the entry level of the Demon Emperor realm requires 10,000 slaughter value. Slaughter value, 12,330. As Gu Changge scrutinized the information panel, a subtle smile graced his lips. He now possessed ample slaughter value to enhance his demonic cultivation. With a successful breakthrough to the entry level of the Demon Emperor realm, he was confident in his ability to confront any martial cultivator beneath the minor completion of the reincarnation realm. The 4 minor realms within the reincarnation realm were worlds apart in terms of power. The Demon Emperor realm was merely a step below the Ascension realm. Gu Change's capacity to traverse an entire major realm to engage in battle was nearly unprecedented. However, to overpower and eliminate a fully realized powerhouse of the reincarnation realm, his demonic cultivation must at least reach the great completion of the Demon Emperor realm. System, commence the enhancement of my demonic cultivation. Gu Changge commanded impatiently. Boom. The demonic energy within Gu Change's dantian erupted, the might of the primal true demon enveloping the heavens and the earth. The sky, spanning hundreds of miles, was shrouded in demonic energy, rendering visibility to mere inches. Is the master about to break through again? Little Black, standing nearby, was taken aback. The overwhelming demonic aura radiating from Gu Changge induced a sense of suffocation within him. With just a flick of his finger, the master could easily extinguish him. Such is the nature of the strong, forever to be revered from below. Rumbling. The demonic energy surged skyward, transforming into an unparalleled great demon, galloping through the cosmos. The firmament shattered, and the earth cracked. Even the formidable beasts of levels 7 and 8 in the cloud mist mountain range fled in terror. The sheer terror of this demonic might was beyond comprehension. Gu Changge exhaled a breath of turbid air, his eyes gleaming crimson. A tempestuous rage emanated from him. Even the fiercest of beasts would flee in terror upon witnessing it. Unparalleled Palace, Sky Sword Sect, Wind Clarity Gate, and the Sacred Spirit Academy, prepare yourselves. I shall soon come to obliterate you. A chilling glint flickered in Gu Changge's eyes. Having now broken through to the entry level of the Demon Emperor realm, few within the first-rate powers could rival him. Master, I too shall diligently cultivate and fight alongside you in the future, exterminating those hypocritical righteous cultivators. Little Black declared with unwavering determination. Gu Changge nodded in affirmation. Continue to accumulate practical combat experience. Yes, Master. A solitary figure and a beast gallop across the vast expanse of the cloud mist mountains. The fleeting passage of 3 months has brought about monumental changes in the realm of Qingzhou. The once preeminent Tianya Pavilion has been obliterated, its entire lineage extinguished. All subordinate factions under its banner have been absorbed by the remaining 3 dominant powers. As for the pavilion master, Shuehong, he has been coerced into bearing the mark of a slave, reduced to servitude at the Sacred Spirit Academy to atone for the grave misdeeds of his son, Shui Guangtian. Though the Sacred Spirit Academy suffered the loss of over 100 prodigies, gaining a perfected reincarnation servant is not entirely a loss. Yet, Shuehong's heart is heavy with anguish. He steadfastly refuses to believe that his son has fallen into the abyss of darkness. Someone must have conspired against him. Yet he finds himself powerless. You wretched scoundrel, should I ever discover your identity, I shall ensure your demise in the most brutal manner. Shuehong clenches his fists, his nails digging into his flesh. The agony of annihilation leaves him in a state of despair. Of course, this torment, this hopelessness, is a trial that Gu Changge endured 3 years prior. Now, it merely serves to let Shuehong taste the bitterness of despair. In Qingzhou, at the Wuji Palace, atop a serene peak rich in spiritual essence, an explosive surge of primal energy erupts. Instantly, the laws of the universe manifest, celestial lotuses descend, and sweet springs emerge from the earth, heralding a series of wondrous phenomena. The primal energy resembles an ancient, untamed beast, its terrifying might suppressing the ages. The entire Wuji Palace is engulfed in its presence. Is this truly the essence of the primal realm? Could it be that the Son of Heaven has fully integrated the primal divine body? Ha ha ha, the heavens have truly favored our Wuji Palace. What does it matter how gifted Gu Changge is? In the end, the primal divine body will undoubtedly benefit our Wuji Palace. The elders, deacons, and disciples of Wuji Palace gaze with fervent eyes toward the peak of the Son of Heaven, where Lu Ping has been in seclusion. 3.5 years ago, after seizing Gu Changge's primal divine body, Lu Ping declared his retreat. Now, after this span of time, he has finally completed the integration of the primal divine body. Ha ha. My son has emerged from seclusion at last. Splendid news. My son has merged with the primal divine body, and he shall surely dominate an era. From the summit, Lu Nanjia soars into the sky with a hearty laugh. Although Wuji Palace has lost hundreds of prodigies in the sacred source secret realm, as long as Lu Ping remains, the era belonging to Wuji Palace shall endure. Boom. At the peak of the Son of Heaven, the primal energy sweeps across the heavens and earth. A youth adorned with a jade crown and clad in white, possessing striking features, ascends into the air, his cultivation aura surging dramatically. The 3 years of accumulation finally erupts post-integration with the primal divine body. Boom. With a resounding blast, Lu Ping's cultivation instantly escalates to the minor completion of the Ascension realm. He continues to rise. Major completion of the Ascension realm. Perfected Ascension realm. He stands but a step away from the reincarnation realm. At merely 19 years of age, Lu Ping's talents and cultivation prowess are enough to overshadow his peers. Even the elders of previous generations may not be his match. Possessing the formidable Great Wilderness Divine Body, Lu Ping, even at the pinnacle of Ascension realm, is capable of challenging the nascent powers of the reincarnation realm. The Divine Son is valiant. Let the might of our Wuji Palace be proclaimed. The Divine Son is valiant. Let the might of our Wuji Palace be proclaimed. All elders, stewards, and disciples bow reverently before Lu Ping. In this moment, the entire Qingzhou is astir with celestial phenomena. Outside the grand hall of the Gu family, Gu Yuanhong gazes at the extraordinary spectacle in the sky, his countenance growing increasingly somber. This is the aura of the Great Wilderness, a presence he knows all too well. When his son Gu Changge was born, it was amidst such a cosmic display. Yet, the despicable Lu Ping of Wuji Palace has usurped Gu Changge's divine body for his own amalgamation. All of this rightfully belonged to his son, Gu Changge. It is the fault of his inept father, for otherwise, how could he allow such a loss of the divine body? Gu Yuanhong clenches his fists, veins bulging on his aged face. He despises his own impotence, lamenting his failure to protect his son. Meanwhile, Gu Changge, who was meditating in his chamber, abruptly awakens upon sensing that familiar aura of the Great Wilderness. His eyes, now a deep crimson, brim with a bloodthirst that engulfs the realm. The Great Wilderness Divine Body. Lu Ping has emerged from his seclusion. Gu Changge grits his teeth, the haunting memories of 3.5 years ago replaying in his mind. Lu Ping stripped him of his divine body and subjected him to relentless torment. Boom. The overwhelming demonic might erupts as Gu Changge yearns to rend Lu Ping asunder. What is not yours shall never be yours. Lu Ping, this time, I shall reclaim everything I lost, doubly, even 100-fold, Gu Changge declares through clenched teeth. At this moment, a chime resonates, heralding the system's notification. Presumably, the system is about to issue a mission concerning the elimination of Lu Ping. Chapter 27, A New Killing Mission, Heavenly Treasure Pavilion. Chime. The usurper of the host's Great Wilderness Divine Body, Lu Ping, has emerged from seclusion. Please proceed to eliminate him. Mission reward, 9,000 slaughter points, a high-tier heavenly swordsmanship, and the reclaimed Great Wilderness Divine Body will directly evolve into the Great Wilderness Holy Body. Gu Changge gazes at the mission details, his eyes igniting with fervent ambition. To slay Lu Ping grants an astounding reward of 9,000 slaughter points. Moreover, it includes a high-tier heavenly swordsmanship. Yet, the most enticing reward is the final one. The reclaimed Great Wilderness Divine Body can directly evolve into the Great Wilderness Holy Body. The Holy Body is far more powerful and terrifying than the Divine Body. It is said that when the Holy Body emerges, myriad divine bodies shall bow in submission. Regardless of how formidable one's innate divine body may be, it pales in comparison to the Holy Body. If Gu Changge can assimilate another Holy Body, his physical prowess will become extraordinarily formidable. At that point, even the mightiest of the reincarnation realm will find themselves overshadowed by Gu Changge's strength. But how shall I reach Lu Ping, ensconced within Wuji Palace, to vanquish him? Should I disguise myself as an elder and infiltrate the Wuji Palace? It is unwise. Lu Ping is not Panzijian, and it would be quite challenging to eliminate him in a short time. If Lu Nanjie were to be alerted, it could spell danger. Gu Changge closed his eyes in contemplation, rhythmically drumming his fingers on the table. After a considerable duration, he finally opened his eyes, an idea forming in his mind. He resolved to inquire at Tianbao Tower for information. He could not believe that Lu Ping would remain at Wuji Palace indefinitely after emerging from seclusion. Tianbao Tower is the largest trading guild in Qingzhou and also serves as the foremost intelligence agency. It is rumored that Tianbao Tower has 100,000 shadow guards dispersed throughout Qingzhou. Virtually all news within Qingzhou falls under the watchful gaze of Tianbao Tower. Its comprehensive strength surpasses even that of the Sacred Spirit Academy, nearing the prowess of the three major superpowers. Moreover, Tianbao Tower has its headquarters in the flourishing central continent, its influence stretching across the entire immortal domain. Gu Changge thus prepared to venture to Tianbao Tower to gather intelligence on Lu Ping. As long as Lu Ping dared to step out of Wuji Palace, Gu Changge was confident in his ability to bring him down. Draped in a black robe, Gu Changge pushed open the door and melded into the shadows, quietly exiting the Gu residence. Tianbao Tower is situated in the illustrious Tianbao City, which sprawls over 1 million acres. The city boasts a thriving commercial hub, replete with elixirs and weapons, effectively monopolizing all commerce in Qingzhou. Upon arriving at the foot of Tianbao City, Gu Changge observed that the throng resembled a dragon, with numerous martial practitioners clad in black robes, rendering him inconspicuous. The majority of those arriving in Tianbao City were there to procure treasures, often carrying substantial wealth. To avoid drawing attention, they typically disguise themselves. Entry into Tianbao City necessitates the payment of 100 spirit stones as a security fee. Before the city gates, several disciples of Tianbao Tower collected the spirit stones one by one, astonishingly all possessing strength at the divine concealment realm. In fact, such formidable beings merely served as gatekeepers in Tianbao City. After handing over 100 spirit stones, Gu Changge entered Tianbao City. He then proceeded directly to the front of Tianbao Tower, where grand edifices stood tall, embodying prosperity. Upon entering the main hall, a graceful young lady approached with a smile. Inquiring, "How may I assist you today?" "I wish to inquire about certain matters," Gu Changge replied in a mature tone. The young lady nodded and gestured for him to follow, saying, "Please, come with me." Following the young lady, Gu Changge arrived at a private room. "Sir, what information would you like to consult?" "You may proceed to inquire within as per our procedures," she stated before gracefully retreating. "Thank you," Gu Changge expressed, pushing open the door to enter the private room. Inside, an elder was brewing tea. Upon noticing Gu Changge's arrival, he looked up with a smile and said, "Welcome, esteemed guest. Please take a seat." Gu Changge, feeling no need for formality, sat down without hesitation. "My name is Pu Wenin. May I ask what you wish to consult about?" The elder inquired, sliding a cup of tea toward him. One of the vice masters of Tianbao Tower, Pu Wenin, mused inwardly. The two vice masters are Sun Tao and Pu Wenin. The former oversees commerce while the latter manages intelligence. Both are formidable beings at the threshold of life and death, on par with Su Lianen, the head of the Sacred Spirit Academy. A faint aura of life and death envelopes Pu Wenin, though he is yet to officially step into the realm of life and death. He can already summon a fragment of the power associated with it. "Senior Pu, I wish to consult you regarding the godson Lu Ping of the Wujigong," Gu Changge stated directly. Pu Wenin, caught off guard while sipping tea, replied, "My friend, acquiring information on the Wujigong, a first-rate power, is quite challenging. Moreover, Tianbao Tower seldom sells intelligence from such elite factions." What Pu Wenin said was indeed true. First-rate powers possess beings at the reincarnation realm, and Tianbao Tower would not dare to offend them lightly. However, should the benefits be substantial, Tianbao Tower would still divulge whatever information it holds. "I understand the rules of Tianbao Tower," Gu Changge replied, producing a spatial ring containing 300 million spirit stones. Over the past 6 months, he had slain more than 20 elders of the Wujigong and several hundred disciples from the 4 major factions. Naturally, their spirit stones had been inherited by Gu Changge. 300 million spirit stones for information regarding Lu Ping, he stated plainly. Pu Wenin's brows furrowed. 300 million spirit stones was no trivial sum. "Please wait a moment. Let me seek approval," he said before departing, leaving Gu Changge alone in the room. Before long, the sound of high heels echoed in Gu Changge's ears. A delicate fragrance wafted through the air, and upon raising his gaze, he beheld a woman clad in a qipao. Her alluring figure could incite desire in any man, particularly her slender, fair legs that seemed almost enticingly supple. Zhao Yanran, the daughter of the Tianbao Tower headquarters, was said to have been sent to Qingzhou by her family for training. Her status surpasses even that of the Tower Master, Zhang Shun. Gu Changge recognized her immediately. Zhao Yanran possessed striking purple pupils that exuded an enchanting allure. When her gaze fell upon Gu Changge, he felt as though she could see right through him. However, with the system's concealment, she should not be able to discern his demonic cultivation, he hoped. Zhao Yanran's pupils suddenly constricted, a glimmer of surprise flashing before it quickly dissipated. "Sir, I apologize for keeping you waiting," she smiled, her exquisite beauty seemingly capable of captivating souls. Yet, in Gu Changge's eyes, such allure was hardly noteworthy. Zhao Yanran took a seat across from Gu Changge, while Pu Wenin stood behind her like a mere attendant. It appears the rumors hold truth. Zhao Yanran is indeed the esteemed daughter of the Tianbao Tower's headquarters, and her arrival in Qingzhou is for the purpose of self-cultivation. Yet, will Zhao Yanran divulge Lu Ping's circumstances to me? Should Tianbao Tower disclose Lu Ping's situation to Gu Changge, it would be tantamount to offending the Wujigong. Chapter 28. This individual is destined to stand at the pinnacle of the immortal realm. "Sir, you seek information regarding Lu Ping, do you not?" Zhao Yanran inquired, her lips parting slightly, her voice melodious and clear. Gu Changge nodded, pondering whether Tianbao Tower would be inclined to engage in this transaction with me. Zhao Yanran did not respond directly. Instead, she smiled faintly and extended her delicate hand, presenting a spatial ring to Gu Changge. Observing this, Gu Changge's brows furrowed slightly. It seemed Tianbao Tower was reluctant to offend Wujigong. "Since Tianbao Tower is unwilling to conduct this business, I shall take my leave," he stated succinctly, preparing to depart with the spatial ring in hand. "Please, wait a moment," Zhao Yanran interjected, her tone persuasive. "What does Miss Zhao mean by this?" Gu Changge replied, his patience waning. "You misunderstand, sir. Tianbao Tower is indeed willing to engage in this transaction. However, we shall forego the 300 million spirit stones, considering it a gesture of friendship towards you," Zhao Yanran proclaimed. Upon hearing this, both Gu Changge and Pu Wenin were momentarily taken aback. 300 million spirit stones given up merely for the sake of friendship? Did Zhao Yanran perceive something beyond the ordinary? Behind Zhao Yanran, Pu Wenin was quite astonished. After several attempts at sensing, he had detected no trace of Gu Changge's cultivation aura. Could it be that this dark-clad individual possessed some extraordinary quality? Surely, in Qingzhou, there could not be many who could capture the young lady's attention. Please, take a seat, Zhao Yanran invited with a smile. Gu Changge suppressed his lingering doubts and resumed his seat. What specific information do you wish to know regarding Lu Ping? Zhao Yanran asked. Will Lu Ping be departing from Wuzhigong soon? If so, what is his intended destination? Gu Changge inquired succinctly. Zhao Yanran nodded and instructed Pu Wenyan, Pu Lao. Please investigate these two matters that the gentleman has inquired about. Yes, miss, Pu Wenyan replied without hesitation, promptly exiting the private chamber. Please wait a moment, sir. Once Pu Lao returns, you shall have your answers, Zhao Yanran said, personally preparing tea for Gu Changge while observing him intently. Each time she scrutinized him, a flicker of surprise danced in her eyes. Approximately a quarter of an hour later, Pu Wenyan returned. Miss, sir, I have gathered information regarding Lu Ping. He bowed respectfully. At this, Zhao Yanran smiled gently. Do share. Indeed. Pu Wenyan nodded and continued. After integrating the Great Wilderness Divine Body, Lu Ping plans to head to the Sword Valley for training, with the journey commencing in 6 days. To ensure Lu Ping's safety, Lu Nanjie dispatched 2 elder protectors to covertly guard him, both of whom had reached the pinnacle of the reincarnation realm. Upon hearing this, a cold glint of murderous intent flickered in Gu Changge's eyes. The moment Lu Ping stepped outside the Wuji Palace, Gu Changge was confident he could eliminate him. Sir, may I inquire if this information is of assistance to you? Zhao Yanran asked respectfully. This left Pu Wenyan even more astonished. Zhao Yanran was the daughter of the head of the headquarters, and she rarely regarded the many prodigies of Zhongzhou with any esteem. Yet, the figure cloaked in black before her commanded such deference from her. What was it about this mysterious individual that warranted such respect? Thank you, miss. This information is indeed invaluable to me. I owe Tian Bao Lu a favor, and should the need arise in the future, I will certainly do my utmost to repay it. Gu Changge replied, clasping his fists in gratitude. He then turned and departed the private chamber. As he watched Gu Changge's retreating figure, Pu Wenyan remained entranced. Once Gu Changge exited Tian Bao Lu, Pu Wenyan finally asked, Miss, is this person truly deserving of such regard from Tian Bao Lu? Absolutely, he is exceedingly worthy. Do you know what I just beheld? Zhao Yanran's pupils shimmered with a purple glow, exuding an enchanting allure. Pu Wenyan's curiosity was piqued, his gaze fixating on her. Zhao Yanran's eyes were extraordinary, the Wuwang divine eyes, capable of perceiving the past, present, and future. What did you see, miss? Pu Wenyan inquired eagerly. A figure standing proudly at the pinnacle of the celestial domain. Zhao Yanran exclaimed with fervor, while she could not discern Gu Changge's cultivation level. She had glimpsed that silhouette. The figure galloped through the heavens and stood unrivaled at the summit of the celestial domain. What? Standing at the pinnacle of the celestial domain? Pu Wenyan's jaw dropped, feeling as though he were ensnared in a dream. If Zhao Yanran had claimed he stood at the peak of Qingzhou, he might have believed it. However, to assert he was at the summit of the celestial domain was astonishing. The celestial domain encompassed 9 continents, with Zhongzhou being the most prosperous in martial arts. Qingzhou could not even begin to compare. Yet now, the miss claimed that the cloaked figure could stand at the pinnacle of the celestial domain. How utterly outrageous. What? Do you doubt my judgment, Pu Lao? Zhao Yanran, instead of reproaching him, smiled and inquired. Pu Wenyan swallowed hard and replied, Miss, you jest. With your Wuwang divine eyes, capable of comprehending the past, present, and future, what you have seen must be true. To have a being who stands at the pinnacle of the celestial domain owe a favor to Tian Bao Lu is indeed a sagacious move. Zhao Yanran smiled faintly. Just wait, Qingzhou will soon experience a transformation. In Qingzhou, at Wuji Palace, Lu Ping finished packing his belongings, preparing to venture to the Sword Valley for training. After 3 years of seclusion, he had integrated the Great Wilderness Divine Body, and his cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds. To fully harness the efficacy of the Divine Body, one must continuously engage in combat. As Lu Ping stepped out of his chamber, he was met by the palace master, Lu Nanjie, and the Grand Elder, Si Kongqing. My child, you must prioritize your safety on this journey. Currently, Qingzhou is fraught with peril. Although the Tianya Pavilion has been annihilated, the demonic cultivators remain at large, so you must exercise utmost caution, Lu Nanjie advised, patting Lu Ping's shoulder. Lu Ping was now the sole hope of the Wuji Palace. With an air of arrogance, he retorted disdainfully, a mere demonic cultivator is hardly worth my concern. Should I encounter one, I shall effortlessly slay him. In Lu Ping's eyes, he was the favored child of destiny. Though there were no celestial phenomena heralding his birth, he had since embarked on a path of remarkable resurgence, merging with the Great Wilderness Divine Body and attaining the pinnacle of ascension at a young age. Was he not the favored child of fate? The once radiant Gu Changge had merely served as a stepping stone for this destined one. Now, having emerged from 3 years of seclusion, if he could vanquish a demonic cultivator, he would undoubtedly achieve fame in a single stroke. Hearing this, Lu Nanjia's brow furrowed slightly. Yet he refrained from further commentary. Given Lu Ping's current strength, even an entry-level powerhouse from the reincarnation realm would not pose a challenge to him. If he were to encounter a demonic cultivator, the outcome remained uncertain. Father, you need not worry about me. That demonic cultivator will find himself unfortunate in my presence. Lu Ping declared confidently, a fierce glint flashing in his eyes. With that, he slung a treasured sword across his back and transformed into a streak of light, vanishing from sight. Upon the return of the divine sun, his cultivation would surely surge to new heights. The Wuji Palace was poised to rise to prominence. The palace master has indeed sired a remarkable son. Qing complimented Lu Nanjia. At these words, Lu Nanjia's expression brightened, his heart swelling with joy. The Lu family had given birth to a true dragon. Chapter 29, Lu Ping. Your nightmare approaches. The Sword Valley is renowned as a prestigious training ground for swordsmanship in Qingzhou. Throughout history, many sword masters have honed their skills within its confines, resulting in the accumulation of countless sword energies. Lu Ping, blessed with formidable martial prowess, equally excels in swordsmanship. Thus, he has chosen to supplement his cultivation in the sword arts, wielding the giant shark sword, a weapon of divine caliber, under which many formidable adversaries have met their demise. Within the Sword Valley, Lu Ping, with the giant shark sword slung across his back, closed his eyes. Waves of sword energies surged toward him, intent on engulfing him. However, Lu Ping remained unfazed. As the sword energies approached, he abruptly opened his eyes, and the giant shark sword emitted a resounding roar. Giant shark slash. With a single stroke, Lu Ping unleashed a torrent of sword energy that ravaged the heavens and earth. The Great Wilderness Divine Body was also activated, releasing a massive surge of primal energy, causing the entire Sword Valley to tremble. This strike transformed into a colossal shark, obliterating over 100 ferocious sword energies. A slight smile graced Lu Ping's lips. The giant shark slash was an advanced, earth-tier sword martial art that he had now mastered to perfection. Should this sword be unleashed, even the most formidable beings at the threshold of reincarnation would be unable to withstand it. Outside the Sword Valley, 2 elder guardians gazed in astonishment towards the valley's interior. The power of the Divine Sun's sword is truly terrifying. Indeed, should the Divine Sun ascend to the realm of reincarnation, we would surely find ourselves no match for him. The Great Wilderness Divine Body is indeed as fearsome as rumored. The Divine Sun's strength utterly overwhelms those of the same cultivation level. The 2 elder guardians lamented. Within the entire Wujigong, aside from the palace master and the Grand Elder, these 2 guardians possessed the most formidable strength. Typically, their role revolved around the protection of Master Lu Nanjia. However, for the sake of Lu Ping's safety, Lu Nanjia dispatched them to this place. In a void just outside the Sword Valley, Gu Changge concealed himself. After the system shrouded his aura, the 2 elder guardians were completely oblivious to his presence. I am not yet a match for those at the peak of the reincarnation realm, Gu Changge pondered. His current demonic cultivation was merely at the entry level of the demon monarch realm, with his maximum combat prowess only reaching the minor completion of the reincarnation realm. In order to vanquish a powerful adversary at the peak of reincarnation, Gu Changge's demonic cultivation would need to ascend to at least the minor completion of the demon monarch realm. Of course, despite being unable to confront the 2 elder guardians directly, Gu Changge had his own means to divert them. Adorning the mask of the ever-changing ice silkworm, he transformed into the likeness of the Grand Elder Qing, even mimicking his aura perfectly. After completing this transformation, Gu Changge stepped out from the void and made his way toward the Sword Valley. Someone approaches. The 2 elder guardians, ever vigilant, promptly noticed Qing. The Grand Elder? They furrowed their brows, feeling some confusion. If the palace master sent them here, why would the Grand Elder accompany them as well? The aura is undeniably that of the Grand Elder. Having encountered him before, the 2 elder guardians bowed respectfully. Qing nodded, then instructed them. The palace master has summoned you both. Return to Wujigong swiftly. As for the Divine Sun, leave his protection to me. Upon hearing this, the 2 elder guardians did not hesitate and responded promptly. Yes, Grand Elder. They had no doubts, for they were convinced this person was indeed Qing. With the Grand Elder's word, there could be no mistake. They departed quickly, soon vanishing from sight. Qing grinned, his eyes turning blood red. Lu Ping, it is time to settle the blood feud from 3 years ago. What is not yours shall forever remain unattainable. Today shall mark your nightmare. As Gu entered the sword valley, he happened upon Lu Ping, who was wielding his sword. With a single stroke, the air of the great wilderness erupted, ravaging the heavens and earth. The familiar aura made Gu Changge clench his fists. This great wilderness divine body was originally his, but had been forcibly taken by Lu Ping. How could Gu Changge ever forget that bloody scene? Lu Ping forcibly seized his divine body, trampling upon his bloodied form, repeatedly berating him as a worthless fool. A tempest of fury surged within him, the primal true demon bloodline, thrumming with an insatiable desire to engulf the heavens and the earth. Lu Ping swiftly sensed something amiss. He rapidly extinguished over 100 sword energies, then turned to face Gu Changge. The Grand Elder? Lu Ping felt a flicker of confusion. But upon witnessing the blood-red murderous intent in Gu Changge's eyes, realization dawned upon him. You are not the Grand Elder. Grasping the giant shark sword, a fierce aura of slaughter radiated from him. Indeed, you are the child of fortune, unlike that foolish rabble. Gu Changge's sharp laughter echoed. You are the demon cultivator? Lu Ping remained unperturbed, his eyes ignited with fervent battle spirit. He was supremely confident in his prowess. Today shall be your demise. Gu Changge grinned, the demonic energy within him erupting violently, a blood-red light soaring into the sky. Two demonic swords unleashed their havoc, enveloping the realm in their overwhelming might. A divine-grade demonic sword? You dare wield a sword? Lu Ping's interest piqued further, for in his perception, this demon cultivator possessed merely the foundational level of the demon emperor realm. To Lu Ping, this was akin to an ant. Such audacity. Today, this divine scion shall sever your head, allowing all of Qingzhou to witness my grandeur. Lu Ping grinned widely, the giant shark sword emitting a piercing roar. His eyes narrowed, and with a sudden surge, he lunged forward, the giant shark sword slicing through the air, leaving a trail of shattered void in its wake. Wielding a sword before me? Do you believe yourself worthy? Gu Changge sneered, the chaos sword body erupting with power. Boom. The chaotic sword energy ravaged the skies. The heavens collapsing in an instant, the earth splitting apart. In the face of Gu Changge's chaotic sword energy, Lu Ping's sword energy was utterly insignificant. Clang. The clash of swords resounded. At that moment, the chaotic sword energy surged forth like a ferocious tiger, instantly dimming the radiance of the giant shark sword. Lu Ping was jolted by this chaos, his entire body trembling. Had it not been for his great wilderness divine body, his internal organs would surely have been shattered. With a cry of anguish, Lu Ping was forced to retreat in disarray. In their first exchange, he found himself at a distinct disadvantage. Step after step, he retreated over 1,000 paces, his right hand, still clutching the giant shark sword, trembled uncontrollably. A chaos sword body. How could you possibly possess a chaos sword body? Lu Ping, who prided himself on his exceptional swordsmanship, had yet to manifest even a basic sword body. Yet this demon cultivator before him wielded a chaos sword body, long thought to be extinct. What incredible terror was this? The chaos sword body was often seen during the chaos era, wielding immense power, one that even the great wilderness divine body could scarcely rival. Swish! A shadow struck, and the world was suddenly cast into darkness. A terrifying malevolence descended from the heavens, sending shivers down Lu Ping's spine. With a single stroke, life and death were determined. Gu Changge unleashed his sword, a torrent of chaotic sword energy surging forth with unstoppable momentum. What a fearsome strike! Could this possibly be the celestial tier of swordsmanship? From where did this prodigy emerge? Lu Ping's composure shattered. The pinnacle of swordsmanship within the Wuji Palace was merely of the advanced earthly tier. Yet, the demonic cultivator before him wielded celestial tier swordsmanship with ease. Moreover, he possessed a chaotic sword body. How could he possibly contend with such a monster? He, the esteemed child of fortune, found himself utterly overwhelmed. Chapter 30. In the past, you seized my divine body and humiliated my dignity. Today, I vow to return the favor 100-fold, 1,000-fold. Two demonic swords radiated a blood-red glow, unleashing terrifying chaotic sword energy that ravaged the skies. 1,000-foot-long blood-red sword strike cleaved across the horizon, then descended with ferocity. Boom! The void shattered, as if the very heavens were on the brink of annihilation. As the blood-red sword strike approached, Lu Ping felt a jolt of terror. He dared not hesitate, for this strike carried the scent of death. Any misstep could cost him his life. The giant shark's wrath. Lu Ping summoned all the spiritual energy within him, channeling it relentlessly into the giant shark's sword. Boom! The aura of his perfected ascension burst forth, causing the ground within dozens of miles to crack and splinter. The sword cleaved, transforming into a bloodthirsty shark, several hundred meters in length. Yet, before the 1,000-foot sword strike, the bloodthirsty shark appeared as insignificant as an ant. Clang! Upon collision, sparks flew. The resounding clash of treasured weapons echoed, and the terrifying aftermath swept through the valley, causing it to tremble. Boom. Yet, in mere seconds, the bloodthirsty shark, which had stretched 100 meters, was reduced to nothing but a mist of blood. With a thud, the blood-red sword descended, and Lu Ping's complexion turned pale. He was sent flying, spitting blood. Boom. The reverberations shattered the mountains along his path, and he crashed to the ground. Cough, cough. Blood stained the corner of Lu Ping's mouth, his garments tattered, and his hair disheveled. Where was the slightest trace of a divine son's grandeur? Damn it. I had clearly unleashed my strongest strike. Why was I still defeated in an instant? Lu Ping's expression was one of resentment. He, the child of fortune, had been thoroughly crushed. Were it not for the Great Wilderness Divine Body, you would have been obliterated to mere dust. Ironically, this Great Wilderness Divine Body was not of your own making. By seizing a divine body from another, you narrowly escaped death. Do you not feel ashamed? Gu Changge, wielding 2 demonic swords, wore a cold smirk upon his lips. You fool. Lu Ping spat blood in fury. Indeed, this Great Wilderness Divine Body was forcibly taken from another. Due to his own insufficient talent, he could never give birth to the Great Wilderness Divine Body. What is the point of seizing it? As long as it can be merged, it belongs to me. Today, this divine offspring shall demonstrate the might of the Great Wilderness Divine Body. Lu Ping struggled to rise. The Great Wilderness Divine Body activated, and the aura of the wilderness erupted entirely. The ancient breath was exceedingly robust, as if it had traversed eons. Demon cultivator. Soon you shall comprehend the terror of this divine offspring. In the past, how radiant was Gu Changge, yet in the end, was he not trampled beneath my feet? Whether it is you or Gu Changge, you are but stepping stones for this divine offspring. I shall tread upon your corpses to ascend to the pinnacle of martial arts. A slight smirk graced Lu Ping's lips as he inhaled and exhaled, rapidly gathering the momentum of heaven and earth. Had it not been for the alliance of the 4 great powers 3 years ago, you would not even qualify to stand before me. Beneath the black robe, Gu Changge's eyes glowed crimson, resembling a hellish azura, fixating on Lu Ping. What does the events of 3 years ago have to do with you? Lu Ping's pupils constricted sharply as he stared at the black-robed demon cultivator, feeling a strange familiarity. 3 years have passed. Once you seized my divine body and humiliated my dignity. Today, I vow to repay you 100-fold, 1,000-fold. Gu Changge's voice was chilling and piercing. Boom. At that moment, the primal true demon blood erupted in its entirety. Terrifying demonic energy enveloped the heavens and the earth. A world-destroying demon laughed defiantly in the skies, as if a single punch could annihilate the entire world. Before the world-destroying demon, even Lu Ping, having manifested the Great Wilderness Divine Body, felt an overwhelming pressure. You are Gu Changge. How is this possible? You clearly destroyed your own dantian. How could you possibly tread the path of the demon? Moreover, this demonic might is of the primal true demon. Lu Ping, frightened, retreated 2 steps. His initial confidence had turned into dread in the span of mere minutes. You still recognize me? Lu Ping, today I will make you experience true despair. Gu Changge stepped forward, the might of the primal true demon erupting fiercely. Lu Ping gritted his teeth, forced to slash out with his sword. This strike bore the ancient aura. Even a beginner in the reincarnation realm would surely perish beneath it. Yet, when faced with Gu Changge's demonic might, it halted mid-air. Break from me, Gu Changge bellowed, as if from the depths of the netherworld. Boom. The sword slash was instantly obliterated, and Lu Ping was sent retreating in disarray. Even with the Great Wilderness Divine Body pushed to its utmost limit, he could not withstand Gu Changge's strike. You are a demon. How is this possible? How could this be? You clearly had your dantian destroyed. How can you still tread the path of the demon, and yet possess the bloodline of the primal true demon? Lu Ping's complexion turned pale, a trace of despair flickering in his eyes. After he had stripped Gu Changge of his divine body, Gu Changge had unexpectedly birthed the Chaos Sword Body. Moreover, he has ventured into the realm of darkness, awakening the primal, true demon bloodline. It turns out that all of this was orchestrated by you. That demon cultivator was not Shui Guantian at all, but you, Gu Changge. The 4 major factions have been manipulated by you, causing them to turn against each other, resorting to fratricidal conflict. What ruthless tactics! Lu Ping felt a shiver run down his spine. He could hardly fathom that a mere teenager could possess such profound cunning. What you say is not without merit. However, those who know my identity meet only one fate, death. Gu Changge unleashed the demon wave soul, severing step, and thousands of phantoms materialized, leaving Lu Ping utterly astounded. Yet, as Gu Changge advanced, the murderous aura of demonic energy followed closely behind. This technique possesses such terrifying lethality. Clang, bang, bang. Lu Ping activated the Great Wilderness Divine Body, wildly swinging the colossal shark sword, yet he continued to retreat before the onslaught of demonic energy. Lu Ping, what does it matter that you possess the Great Wilderness Divine Body? Your starting point is far too low, your talent pitifully weak, even with abundant opportunities. I shall relentlessly crush you. Ha ha ha. Gu Changge struck forth with a palm, causing the heavens and earth to tremble, the might of the primal true demon descending. Dimming Lu Ping's colossal shark sword, sending him reeling back, spitting blood once more. Ah, Gu Changge, I will make you pay with your life. Lu Ping spat blood, cursing vehemently, his composure utterly shattered. 3 years ago, Gu Changge made him look up in awe. Little did he expect that 3 years later, the once crippled Gu Changge would become so unreachable again. He loathed this feeling. Only he, the child of destiny, should be so elevated. What is Gu Changge in comparison? Die. Colossal shark slash. Once again, it was that very strike, yet after activating the Great Wilderness Divine Body, the sword's aura had intensified manifold. Still unwilling to relent. Are we? Very well, I shall show you what true disparity means. Gu Changge unleashed the divine elephant-suppressing hell technique, summoning a towering black elephant behind him, exuding an overwhelming aura that gazed down upon the heavens. Boom. Gu Changge unleashed a punch, shattering the void in succession, plunging the world into an abyss of darkness. It was as if the apocalypse had descended. Lu Ping stood frozen in place. He had never witnessed such terrifying power. Gu Changge, despite only being at the initial stage of the Demon Emperor realm, possessed the physical strength of a demon sovereign. Even a fully realized adept of the reincarnation realm might not be Gu Changge's match. Lu Ping could hardly comprehend what Gu Changge had experienced over these 3 years. How could he have transformed into such a ferocious and fearsome being?